Welcome to the Cultaholic Wrestling Podcast. If you like a lot of wrestling on your YouTube, join our cult. Hello, welcome to another throbbing, thrilling, ham and peas pudding edition of the Cultaholic Wrestling Podcast.
Shut your filthy mouth about peas pudding. The worst substance on this mortal plane we call planet Earth. Do you like peas pudding?
I like peas pudding.
No.
And I cannot lie.
Do you know what peas pudding is at home, everybody? Google it, you'll be disgusted.
Yeah, but since when did the ingredients of a food ever stop us enjoying them? I ate Finder's crispy pancakes for many years, and we now know they contain horse.
To be fair, an Iceland's lasagna from like 2012, 2011 that did include the horse, they were delightful. I love eating horse.
Me too.
Up the horses.
Up the horse. Come on! We started the podcast last week with a bit of that, and I thought, as it's a Ross and Tom one again, it's a come on!
We've done our quick line off camera, now we're ready to go.
That's right.
Yeah, you're already good at crosswords.
That's right. Up the coke. It's Tom and Ross, our two favourite bears, joined by Maffew and Joel doing the editing. How you doing, pal, Ross?
Not too bad, pal, as we're just talking up there. Didn't sleep a wink last night, neither did you. The table's gone straight away. Never happens when Jack's here.
Yeah, it's funny that.
Gosh. But I just, we're on the fumes, I think the saying is. So let's power through the podcast.
Boom.
So are we all coming into this with little sleep?
Sleep deprivation.
Excellent.
But that's how you live your life, Tom.
It is. But what's your reason for your sleep deprivation?
I don't know. Probably being overweight or something like that.
No, I mean last night. I don't mean in general.
I don't know. Just one of those nights, wasn't it? In Newcastle upon Tyne, sometimes you get them. There's something in the air that keeps you awake all night.
Yeah, I get that.
Fernando. Yeah, something like that.
I wish it was
us up all night.
chloroform in the air. Whoa.
Oh, that made
Solid
like
8 hours then.
that counts as sleep.
My plan is when I finish this, I'm going to go home and have a lovely shot of night nurse.
All
then
right.
it'll help you
Who's
sleep.
she?
Her name is Linda. No, and it'll just help me settle off later on. I'm up for it. I'm excited for
Can
it.
you mix up the other stuff you take?
Nah, it's not recommended.
Up and down and left and right, and away you're going.
Life is a roller coaster.
You just implode normally.
Thomas blinks. It's Monday morning. He's rest for work. Like, all right, whatever.
How are you, Maffew?
I'm doing as same as Ross. To be honest with you, I've gone round to being tired. Just didn't sleep. I've got all my sleep stuff. I've been kicking sleep's ass the past few weeks. I've been so happy. Like, oh, sorted. And last week it was like, hey, guess who's back again.
Oh.
And it's weird because the body, I don't know about this, it gives you a bit of energy and it goes, you're really tired. And he goes, oh, you're really tired. You've got another full day of work to do. All right, so now I've gone around to being tired to like fully awake.
Yeah,
Ultimate Warrior, run the ropes.
It's like Ross said, it's the fumes.
Up the fumes.
Up the fumes.
Up the nostrils.
I'm tired. I'm tired because I had a very late night last night.
Why is that, Tom?
I went to go and see, and I've sent Joel a lovely picture to demonstrate how lovely my night was, because I had the honor and the privilege of being in the company of Brian Butterfield.
Now, when you shared this picture on Twitter X.com last night, someone replied, "What's Ross doing in fancy dress?" And it is like the ghost of Christmas future, isn't it, for me there? When I leave Cultaholic and become
It's a strong look. So me and one of my best friends in the world, Jojo Hatfield on the left there, we went to go and see Brian Butterfield's business seminar, The Call of Now. And we are both now graduates of the Butterfield University.
He's massive.
He's a big lad. He's a big lad. He's old Brian Butterfield. Ben and Peter and the lads from Triple Jump were there as well. And they're also qualified from the Butterfield University. I've also realised I'm wearing what looks like the same outfit as last night.
Dirty stop out.
I can confirm this is a different shirt underneath this.
Well, we can confirm to the audio
the same
listeners.
pack of 5.
Tom still has the stamp from the nightclub he was at on his hand.
No, that's just that's my Horcrux. That is. Don't tell Harry Potter I'm here. But yeah, so that was Peter Serafinovic's incredible Brian Butterfield persona who took over Whitley Bay Playhouse last night. Call now.
I'm very happy that he's come a long way with that character, which started off just taking the piss out of one advert. That
I
ran
know,
on
right?
Like, I ended up seeing it a lot as a kid because it happened to be on, like, I don't know, ITV2 or something just after school. So me and my dad saw it. And my dad laughing, going, oh, is this guy really selling this? Is this a joke? Have you been injured?
Perhaps you require compensation.
Yeah. No, there's no need to worry. You're like, this is the best guy they could get for this advert.
And Peter saw that and ran with it and created Brian Butterfield. And when I got to interview Peter Serafinovich about it, and he's like, I love the Brian character. I'm desperately trying to get him a sitcom, but like nothing's been picked up yet. So we're taking him on tour instead. It's great.
So I'm forced to do Dark Souls and Star Wars until then. What a weird career he's had.
Does sitcom still exist in 2023?
Yeah.
There's Mrs. Brown's. No, they don't exist. They've
I
been
saw
outlawed.
the trailer for Frasier the other day.
Oh,
New one's
yeah.
coming out. Yeah, it looks whimsical.
I'm sure that's a word he uses in that very same episode. But yeah, I've just finished watching. Jesus. So Tom, this is a table. Now, if you put
here's the steeple, look underneath it. Here's the people.
If you put all your weight on it like that, it's gonna go ka-clunk.
I don't put any weight on. I've just literally rest my hands here.
Yeah, literally, I'm like
This for the rest
I'm playing the piano here. That's how
yes,
lightly I'm doing it.
that's right. So
I'm gonna do it.
there you go. That's great.
Sports commentator for the podcast.
Fantastic.
What's in the
Bit of
wrestling
Murray.
news this week,
I was
Maffew?
about to say, thank you very much. The
Tell us a
news
story,
is
old bear.
CM Punk says he is free for, quote, 2 months. CM Punk's made his first TV appearance since being fired from AEW, returning to the commentary desk at Cage Fury Fighting Championships. Oh, that company. There was some references made to his firing, and it was noted in a joke that Punk would now have some free time on his hands, but only for the next 2 months. So people look in their calendars and going, mein Gott, Survivor Series takes place in 2 months in Chicago. Now, whether...
He's from there.
Is he?
He even goes there.
He should bring that up more often in the promos.
Sky Blue's also from there, the more famous one from Chicago.
That's right.
Yeah.
The only thing to come out there. That and dodgy pizzas. So people are saying, well, it's CM Punk. He is a god's person. Doesn't work if you censor it, sorry. He talks a lot, that lad. So whether he's saying this because it's actually happening or just because he wants people to talk about him, who knows? It's CM Punk. We are contractually obligated to talk about him every single episode, even when he's not doing anything. Samoa Joe also brushed off some details about the altercation by saying not much, really. It was all vague. Punk's a nice guy type stuff. I'm used to that environment, says Joe. Those things don't seem very intense to me, but it could be something crazy intense to someone else. I wasn't really affected by the moment. I was more focused on getting the show back on track and getting us going because it was bell time, revealed Joe. What a nice company, man.
Yeah.
And very boring for news.
Yeah. Also, just imagine it the same thing from Samoa Joe's perspective and little Tony Khan's perspective, and you can see what he means. Would he ever feel in danger, Samoa Joe, ever in his life?
I don't think he's in danger if he doesn't check the crossing and there's a van
Just
with
hit him.
war buttons on the side end awards, and he's like, whatever.
Just implodes on impact.
Yep.
The van, not Samoa Joe.
He's going to Impact.
Oh.
Yes. Let's make the news up now.
Impact are in Chicago.
Are they?
No, they're not. They're in Newcastle very soon.
They are, but they're doing some shows in Chicago. I'm sure they announced some shows in Chicago.
Good for them.
CM Punk will definitely turn up there.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he will.
And play Uno again. Like
Yeah.
he did last time.
Yeah. Dana Warrior among the WWE layoffs. 100+ WWE layoffs backstage have happened for the old people in business because obviously the merging with WWE and UFC to form TKO. There we go, got that in the end. There are 100 individuals being let go from the company because this guy's already got your job. Sorry, bye. We don't need two of you. One of them is Dana Warrior. Yes. So
They
you
already
go
have a
grift someplace else. Go grift your dead, hateful husband someplace else.
Amen, sister.
Yes.
They already have a Dana. That's why they had to get rid of her. 'Cause it's silly.
Oh, we can't have two Danas. That must be it. Oh, well.
If they
Oh,
select
dear.
the wrong Dana, and all of a sudden Dana Warrior's running the UFC.
Oh, the shenanigans.
Don't like seeing her, me. She makes me feel a bit ill.
Why is that, Ross?
I don't know. Stuff you've mentioned there. Stuff,
Yeah.
Let's sit on the fence, Ross.
Yeah, I'll give her 3 days before she's grifting as a right-wing thing. Reason for Santana and Ortiz split revealed. According to one of them rang up Dave, and this is Meltzer. Sorry, actually, beg your pardon, it was Dog Meltzer, of course. That's how he gets the news. Mike Santana doesn't want to team up with Ortiz anymore. That's the basic gist. They agreed to the tag match for London, and now Santana wants to go as a singles. Look, when Santana got hurt, Ortiz became de facto a singles guy, and you saw what became of his career in the last year. He almost disappeared. So him as a single is not good for him, as compared to being in a tag. For Santana, I would say the same thing, but he really wants that. fair enough. I think they just seem to be sick of one another.
Yeah, Mike Santana called up Dog Meltzer, then we learned there, I think.
That's purely speculation.
It's interesting, though, because Mike's got a promo this week was it on Rampage or Collision? I forget which one it's on. Which is, it's still coming out tonight after this podcast, so we'll have to see what he says. Will it be of shoot nature, like their Twitter exchange was? I don't know.
Well, it's AEW, so chances are it's a yes. And then finally, the bit of news that I just have to rub my eyes in disbelief at the world we're living in right now, and this is reality, I guess. WWE trying to bring in Cristiano Ronaldo for Crown Jewel because he has that Saudi Arabia ambassador deal going on. So I guess if they say jump, he goes, yes, sir.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
An extra £1,000 million, please.
And they're like, we have that in our pockets, mate, sure. What team does Ronaldo currently play for?
Al Nassr, I believe it is.
That's exactly right. I just want to see if you actually knew, because I couldn't have told you.
How can you not know about? They're everywhere these days. All the Saudi news, this, that, and the other, buying this player, buying that player, buying the other player.
I didn't realise how out the loop I am. That my mate said, watch out, Saudis are playing at St. James's Park. And I thought my mate was just being very sarcastic, referring to Newcastle United, because obviously they're under them. And he went, no, actual Saudi Arabia playing.
Yeah.
I went, oh. And he said seriously, like, watch out, because obviously be busy. And I saw the photos, and I'm like, yeah, I think I'll manage.
Yeah, there was 5,000 people in the stadium in a 53, basically, 1,000-seater stadium. And most of them were Saudi nationals who made the trip over, by all accounts. So.
Five-star wrestling.
Don't compare 5-star to Saudis.
Saying nothing.
I love 5-star wrestling.
Nah, they're a victim of sports washing. I'm very sorry. And I thought that's the best place to leave the news on.
Yeah.
End on a high.
What's he going to do, Ronaldo, though?
Make money.
He's going to punch Grayson Waller.
Oh, no.
That'll do something. I mean, it'd be great having to do something physical.
Taking moves. Just Gunter chopping him for hours. Just a 4-hour pay-per-view. Gunter chopping Ronaldo in the chest. God.
It'd be like Matt Riddle backstage. Hey, dude, I heard you kick balls. That's illegal in WWE. No, Matt Riddle, I kick these balls. Dude, bro. And it just cuts to all the Saudi people on their phone.
Hey, man. Hey, Ronaldo, I love when you used to play for the Brazilian national team and had that weird haircut at the 2002 World Cup.
Had this been the...
You're my favorite of the Ninja Turtles, dude.
That's even better.
Just
Had
not even they can't even bother putting in the fake pulp. Just nothing.
Just let the silence reign.
The guy at the desk sees the command and just goes, nah. Fires.
That was the news, eh?
It certainly was. Let's move on.
Everybody get excited for the Cultaholic Hall of Fame!
The Hall of Fame. Stop it, Andrew. And condescending order from last week, Will Ospreay's AEW All-In Tattoo, 14%.
Now, I feel there's a strange dark force at work here because we were laughing at that tattoo, and I fear that people might have thought I put it in there for more wholesome reasons as the monitor flashes. Are we still on the air, Joel? We're okay. We're okay.
They've got to put it in the fake crowd pop. Yeah, I didn't realize he deleted the video because it's only been re-uploaded by someone else. Him going, I've just got off the plane, I'm in Japan. Oh no!
My mum bloody hates tattoos.
My wife's gonna kill me. Yeah.
Hello.
Coincidentally,
I went and got a tattoo after my match at All In. It turns out they only got the bloody attendance wrong. Oh, bloody hell, my wife's gonna kill me.
ironically, it's gonna cost 81,000 grand to get it tattooed. What accent is that? Jesus Christ! Sorry, Will.
Grayson Waller was here
14
apparently, yeah.
I need sleep. The Wagamama's Mishap, which sounds like an amazing episode of Scooby-Doo.
It sounds like a band that played at Glastonbury.
Enemy's favorite band of the whatever. 33%. But I'm surprised at this. The Hurricane attempting a double chokeslam on Triple H and a double chokeslam on Stone Cold for 4 chokeslams, the way I've said that. And the O2 Rumble, 53%.
Wow. Nice plug for the Cultaholic Classic Smackdown review.
Yay! That was filler. Yay! Oh, okay. This week, a bit more effort. Because I don't know if anyone else has seen this story. And if you haven't, So, Joe, if you'd like to click the link that I sent you, I will load it up and I will read it with my voice.
Oh, I was going to pick this one myself.
Were you really?
Yeah.
A news channel has been hoodwinked after seemingly being convinced a crater discovered at Dublin Beach could have been the result of a, quote, cosmic event. Earlier this week, a mysterious hole appeared in Portmarnock. Oh, God, I'm going to prove Portmarnock, that makes sense. Beach in the Irish capital. Soon after, Virgin Media News, yes, I didn't know they were a thing either, picked up the story and sent a report out to investigate, and also spoke to a man who was certain the massive hole had been created by an asteroid. Dun, dun, dun.
Have you seen the interview with said man?
I watched all of it.
It is fantastic. There he is.
There he is. That's a screenshot.
The edges of the rock are smooth. Do we know it came through the atmosphere or something like that?
Yeah, he is so convinced. He is absolutely like, yeah, it could be. He went, look how smooth this rock is. Rocks don't get smooth like this by normal. He then cut to present to Hannah Murphy, who said, it's a huge mysterious crater that looks out of this world. But is it? And then he says, yeah, the unusual hole in Portmarnock Beach stopped local astrophysicist enthusiast Dave Kennedy in his tracks yesterday, and he's certain that the small but heavy rock inside it came from up above. Dave was then shown explaining, as you can tell by here, there's a scorch mark. So that would have been the angle it came down at, and it's weighty. I'm not sure of its composition, but we are definitely going to have to find out. The report then showed passers-by inspecting the hole, who are apparently hoping that they are witnessing the aftermath of a once-a-lifetime cosmic event. Pause.
Here's a perfect hole, to be fair.
Here's a picture. Pause. Pause. Days later, maybe even hours later, the hole was the result of a man-made event. A group of mates sticking up during a beach day with plastic toy spades. The real cover of the game was revealed by someone on social media saying, lad, I'm in bits. He's going down as a picture. The revelation unsurprisingly sparked a huge response, especially from the original poster who shared some follow-up thoughts. It's a huge mysterious crater that looks out the world, but is it? No, it's a hole in the beach, they wrote. Dave is, by all accounts, is just a guy who got excited when he found a big hole in a cool rock. People have been doing that for thousands of years. You beep holes, don't be beep. Someone else added, I love Dave and I will fight for his honor and the right to dream.
In all fairness, the precision they've got there with plastic spades is incredible.
Imagine you just go out for a day on the beach and you just with your mates, you have a few of the, the ciders, and just be like, hey, we should just pick a dig hole. Well, really? I go on then. Me band's got some plastic spades, and you just go at it for a while. It looks like, and it's very well done.
It's beautiful.
Perfect.
And you take some photos of you and your mates going, "Oh, remember that time we dug the hole in the beach?" And you probably go home to your significant other, and she goes like, "What? You spent 3 hours digging a hole in the beach. There's washing to be done." All right, whatever. And the next day, aliens. You'd be so proud of yourself. Dave on the news. No, for something good this time.
That's fantastic.
Oh, love it. And again, that poor dude just being like, yeah, I'm convinced. No human being could have done this.
It reminded me a few years ago in a newsroom in a radio station. I won't say who and where because they were very embarrassed by the whole thing. I won't.
Get it out there.
But it was a story in the Northeast where jellyfish were washing up on the beach.
Uh-huh.
And somebody had sent in a picture, said, "Oh, yeah, it's to a young news reporter." They sent in a picture to the social media saying, "Here, I've taken a photo of one of them." And she said, "Oh, thanks, I'll share it." And she stuck it on our channel. Thanks to Mike who sent in this picture of a jellyfish washed up on the beach. It was a flashlight.
Yes.
How'd that get on the beach?
And she didn't clock that it was a flashlight.
If you don't know, you don't know.
Believe me, the comments did.
I'm not well versed in the world of flashlights.
I can tell by your lack of reaction, so it's all right. Let's leave it at that.
Don't they come in a plastic tube with the rubber bit at the end?
So basically, yeah. So the rubber, and it was in the water.
Oh,
so
bobbing along.
It was slightly a lot. It was, yeah.
See
So
it.
It was on the packet because an alien had just had sex with it.
It was a very simple mistake to make, but it was very funny.
Yeah, we've all been there.
We've all mistaken a jellyfish for a flashlight.
Whoops.
Oh, so
that's the last time I go to Milton Keynes.
Doesn't have a beach, does it?
Oh, it was good, and it. So
nobody asked.
So my pick for Hall of Fame is the big hole that people thought was aliens, but was two lads in a spade.
So what
a toy, like a green or orange coloured spade. It was like, again, a kid's spade.
So what are we picking for runner-up, Ross?
I've just sent mine to Joel on Slack because I'll be honest with you, I've pulled a jack this week and I forgot to
that's
come
nice.
with one.
Oh, sorry.
All right, not that way.
Oh!
So Newcastle made their return to the Champions League in the football this week, and pictured in Milan was this dog. So I'm going to nominate this lovely, I don't even know what colour Labrador that is. What is that officially?
A black and white one, obviously.
Yeah.
Yes, black and white makes ginger. A ginger Labrador wearing a Newcastle shirt, a vintage one as well, in Milan this week. What a wholesome dog.
Oh,
I'm glad Newcastle are
Did he
putting
eat
out
Dogba?
Newcastle putting out their top team against AC Milan.
how do they do?
They drew 0-0. They got battered. They should have lost about 3 or 4-0, but they hung on for a point. Defended valiantly.
Oh, well, that's good. 'Cause I know, because with dogs like that, they are good at dribbling.
Yeah!
Puns from the Beano. Only here in the Cultaholic Wrestling Podcast.
So there you go.
They want to mess with them, though, because there was a boxer on the team. Sorry.
Right.
Sorry.
Puns. Dogs, Hall of Fame. Yeah, that's my nomination this week. I'll try harder next week. I don't even know if we can use that picture. I think that's from the Evening Chronicle. But I've nicked it now. Oh, well.
It's ours. Ha ha. All property is theft. What have you got for us, Dom?
So, third place in the Hall of Fame. See, this is it, because I had one. I don't know whether because I'm not winning this, because you've got a brilliant story about a fake asteroid. You've put a dog in.
I've taken his tactic.
I know. When in doubt, dog.
Mine, I wanted to nominate the level select cheat from Sonic the Hedgehog.
I'll just sit with
Only now. There's a reason. It's nothing to do with the actual video game itself. It's more to do with a bigger study on life and simplicity and that sort of thing and brain.
Look, Ross, he's going to try and bollocks it up. Go on, Tom.
Right. Okay. So, I was playing Sonic the other night, and I thought I don't want to do Green Hill again. I want to go straight to Scrap Brain City. I want to go Scrap Brain Zone, and right at the front of my brain, up, down, left, right, A and start on the title select screen, down to Scrap Brain. And I just thought of all the things that I have known, remembered all my life, and things I've forgotten, that is always there. That is a RAM, that is the bit of the ROM, the bit of the RAM that immediately shoots out. I forget my keys. My wallet has been lost several times on many occasions. I forgot important birthdays, important meetings. I've missed flights. I've missed trains. I've missed. My brain has let me down on many occasions.
Yeah,
but
that was
for
just
some
today.
reason, that was just today. But for some reason, up, down, left, right, A and start.
Yeah.
That's the level select cheat for Sonic the Hedgehog.
I do know what you mean. I still remember the Aladdin level skip cheat without checking, because
Yeah.
it's A, B, B, A, A, B, B, A. It makes a little sound, because I had to use it, because I could beat all the levels in the game apart from one. And I also remember little weird things as well, like just get stuck in your head via repetition. Live and Kicking used to do the jingle to ring up to call Blobby's Baggage, which I'm not giving a touch. And I still remember the jingle for that. I don't give it out now because it might be someone's real telephone number. But yeah, it's just because the stuff that sticks with your head. What's a weird thing that sticks in your head, Ross, from years ago that's completely useless?
I don't know. Why even begin with that sentence? Every day something pops in my head from years ago that's got nothing to do with anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've got one of those brains where something just goes in there, then replays over and over again, then I have to act upon it, such as playing a song on the Amazon device or something like that. I don't know where to begin with that question.
Yeah, you have
Maffew.
to act on it, don't you?
Yeah, just to get it out there.
Yeah.
Shake it off, as Taylor Swift once said.
You did? Oh, that's a song. I'm going to play that now.
Joel, I've just sent you my actual Hall of Fame pick because we had a mailbag submission this week. And I was scared to click on it on my personal computer at home. So I've waited until I've got my work laptop here. It comes in from Maffew Bladenborough.
Wait.
So is the dog not
The
going
dog's
in?
not going in.
Okay.
Oh, people are there. People are already voting.
No, they're not.
They're on the page are going, oh,
Joel,
It's not gone live yet.
Joel, can I change mine to the dog
You little git.
from the Newcastle match? So mine is the dog. Forget that garbage about the level selection. The dog from the Newcastle game is my
mate.
Hall of Fame.
Anyway.
now.
Ross, what if it wins?
I've got the mailbag submission here.
You're going to kick up a fuss if Tom's Ross's pick wins.
No, because it's a moral victory for me. I was the OG pick of the dog. But he says, Maffew says, diddlers, there's no preamble I could possibly give. They'll be more important than the content of the video itself. But just in case this email sends without a visible thumbnail, I promise it's not porn. Just check out these really fat bears. Godspeed, Olympic gold medalist in doubles tennis, Jack Sock, a.k.a. Matt from Tampa. So I was too scared to click on this video
Thanks,
at
Jack.
home in case it was porn. But now we're in the office. It is just a series of fat bears who have gained a lot of weight over a period of time.
Are we sure?
Okay.
Let's play the video.
Okay, but like...
It's Fat Bear Week. Hall of Champions.
The champion.
There's Otis in 2014.
Wait, there's a league?
Yep, that's Otis a couple of months apart. There's Bead Nose a couple of months apart again. Look at these fat bears. All the
Sorry.
salmon in the
That was
world.
me scratching my back the other morning.
Otis gained a lot of weight. There's fat Otis.
It's always funny seeing like bears do that thing Baloo does in Jungle Book. Actually scratches his back. It's like, oh, they actually do that.
There's Bead Nose again.
Oh my god!
Ding dong.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see the appeal there.
pretty eyes. Hello, Ollie.
7 for 7.
Christ! Oh, love him. Otis is back.
There he is, 747. Imagine if he could fly, and that's why it was called
Imagine that
747.
coming at you. Who will be the 2023 champion?
Well, it's either Bead Nose or 747 for me if I'm going to vote. Up the Bears.
Well, it's the thing is, if we're going for the fattest bear, then it's 747.
Runner-up Airbus.
There we go. There's my Hall of Fame
Mate.
pick. Fat Bears.
Fat bears.
I've never known an animal so big it's named after a vehicle. Bloody hell.
Oh, wow. I love the fat bears.
There you go. Who knew salmon was that bad for you?
God, you can fit 300 people in a 747. And also the plane. Yeah, whatever. Shut up.
You can fit one fat bear in a 747.
Oh, thank you for, is it Jack Sock?
It's Jack Sock, former Olympic doubles tennis champion.
Oh, of course. Moving
Yeah.
on to that now. Are we
Yeah, of course,
fantastic? Thank you, Jack Sock. Thank you, Jack Sock, for the soft porn. What a wild and wacky.
So to recap,
The winner. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
the winner.
How are we going to word it? The Irish beach alien hole that turned out to be 2 lads for Spade.
Okay.
The Irish Beach Alien Hole, which turned out to be what?
2 lads
2 lads
with a spade.
with a spade. I've gone for Fat Bears,
Fat bears.
and Tom's
I've
gone
gone
for
for the Newcastle United dog.
Newcastle United dog. There we go.
Wow.
Made a note of them there.
There's a chance yours might win because people might get bored halfway through reading mine. Apart from that, I'm looking forward to the results next week.
Yeah.
And the new place you can vote for them is patreon.com/Cultaholic.
This week in the wrestling. It's this bloody week in the wrestling.
This week in wrestling, written by Jack, who's not here. He's just here in spirit, like the end of Return of the Jedi. So thank you very much, Jack. Hope you have a nice time wherever it is you are.
Just like the end of Return of the Jedi, yes, I do agree.
Yes.
He's watching over us like he's in a silhouette and he's just nodding as all the Ewoks dance.
Yeah. Obi-Wan's going, my trusted companion, the guy who trained me, and a puppet. Smackdown, here comes the Dwayne.
It's a pun.
It's good, that.
Smackdown. Is that a pun? That's not.
Here comes the Dwayne, yeah.
Here comes the Dwayne. Here comes the pain.
Yeah.
Dwayne.
It's a pun.
Rain, Spain. I'm not with it. Let's crack on.
I like you yelled,
doing
it's a
great,
pun.
Andy.
Wait, is it? You really have got the Jack nervous
I was going
energy
to say
here.
that was a
like,
Jack tribute, that in a weird
It
way,
was.
wasn't it? I've said a thing that's true. Is it though? I don't know.
for Jack. Thank you. Pat McAfee opens the show because he was working nearby earlier in the day. Oh, that's the reason why?
He was down the road, an hour away from the arena, interviewing Dwayne from Spain.
Oh.
Who brings the pain?
I did not know that. Oh, okay. So he's not back full time or anything?
No.
He just
I
showed
don't know.
up.
Just I think he was there because The Rock was going to be turning up apparently or something.
Oh,
like
you've
that.
ruined it. He's interrupted by Austin Theory, who mocks him. Pat says SmackDown is an Austin Theory show. It's the People's show. And you know what that means. And before we got the big pop, no one knew what that meant.
No.
Because Pat shockingly brings out The Rock, who's here because there's a strike happening in the other place he works at. It's not quite the get, really, is it, for wrestling, is it?
He saw John Cena come back for completely and also, comparative
That's
wholesome reasons. Nothing to do with acting or anything like that. And he thought, I want to slice that WWE pie. That's what he said.
Yep, the People's Scab is here to run down Theory. In a promo before hitting him with a spine buster and the People's Elbow, Pat hits a bonus elbow too. Oh, why not? Obviously, the crowd are losing their effing minds watching The Rock back. He's 50. He's all natural. And he looks great. And
where's this sassy bitch come from?
he goes on talk shows and talks about, wow, he's all natural.
No, I meant you, not The Rock.
Oh, bless. People are losing their minds going, bloody hell, it's The Rock. He sounds amazing, looks amazing. It's The Rock. It's The Rock. It's The Rock.
loved it.
Even though if people watching this on TV, which I know most of you are, we heard about half of it due to a lot of a-holes needing to be censored because this is still a PG show, even if The Rock is there.
And not a single beach involved.
Hey,
It's a callback to the Hall of Fame, kind of.
I thought Austin Theory held his own magnificently against The Rock. Yeah.
I think he's done a wonderful job of sharing the ring with Stone Cold, Cena, now Rock. I'm sure there's more, and still no one gives a hoot about him.
Yeah.
They're obviously still keen to really get him over, hence why they're putting him in these circumstances.
To be fair, it was good when he went, it doesn't matter to The Rock himself.
Yeah, I liked that.
That's his catchphrase.
I think that's the only good thing he's done on the mic in months.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful because The Rock just absolutely buried him. And sometimes when this has happened in the past, it's been like, when he did the Rusev and Lana really weirdly and Baron Corbin and whatever, you're like, it's nice that Rock comes back and buries some guy. Yeah, but it's Austin Theory. Who cares?
Yeah, who cares this time?
Yeah.
It's fine.
Get the glue factory.
Yeah. It's just the fact that when The Rock got in the ring, Austin Theory's first line to The Rock, this is your big moment, don't blow it. Do you know whose ring you're in? It's just generic heel bollocks. There's no imagination to it at all.
He's a guy playing a wrestler.
Amen, sister.
And The Rock is, thank you. And The Rock is a wrestler playing whatever.
A Rock. A Dwayne.
That's a Rock, yes.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
I felt bad for Kevin Patrick, though, on commentary, because when Pat was making his entrance at the start, Michael Cole goes, maybe he's here to replace you, K-Pat. Imagine being as
Echoing the thoughts of millions.
But you know what? I'm really happy that we've reached that point in the circle of wrestling life that Michael Cole has his own Michael Cole.
Yeah.
I think it's nice for him.
He's like, this is great having this power.
Remember when Michael Cole was the Kevin Patrick and everyone was just like, shut up, Michael, you're rubbish.
whatever.
Do you reckon
He has his own Michael Cole now.
on SmackDown, when he's not talking Cole, he's just hitting the mute button and just directing into Kevin Patrick's ear from next to him. Say this, damn it! Putting on the voice and everything.
I reckon he's doing what Daniel Bryan did to Buddy Murphy that one time. Read it. Also, Graves getting a dig in at Pat. He's got a 9-figure bank account and a double-digit IQ.
I thought a lovely way to start the show. Pat and Rock's interview was good. That was on the Pat McAfee show, which is abbreviated as PMS, which always makes me smile.
That makes you smile, doesn't
Pat
it?
McAfee show. It was PMS.
And who was in that? It was Jackie,
Jacqueline and Terry.
Terry, and Sean Sajak as their meat, which means they'd shag him.
Yeah, that was it.
That's what it meant. 1998, eh?
But it was in that interview where Rock said that the match with him and Roman had been locked in for Mania at the start of the year.
But
They couldn't find anything to take it from great to extra great. He wanted it to be they wanted to create more than just a match. They wanted a moment that would springboard the future. And I think they just went. And even Rock, and they're funny because Rock said, we had these chats, and Rock went, there's a merger coming up and all this stuff, so let's hold off for now. So Rock knew about the merger before we all did.
That's amazing if he gets done for insider trading.
Yeah. Somehow Rock bought lots of shares just the day before.
Also, wait, The Rock said it was locked in.
Yeah, he said it was locked in.
And then it didn't happen.
Yeah.
I'm not sure you know what that term means, Rock.
plans always change, Maffew.
It was locked in, but then we crowbarred it open. To use a technical
Got the
term.
key.
That works better as well.
No lock stays
I like the
locked
idea of The
forever.
Rock, if he just gets mad at a lock, has to break it with a big crowbar.
I'm just like myself. I was trying to think of who used to present through the keyhole, and I can't remember that.
It was
that
the
moody
guy who
man.
used to do the sauces.
Oh, that moody man.
Lloyd Grossman.
That's it.
Lloyd Grossman.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, Richard Nixon.
You're just a...
Richard Nixon, Lloyd Grossman, yeah, whatever.
Lloyd Grossman.
They're both dead.
Why did you burn the tapes?
I'm saying when Lloyd Grossman does it, it's not illegal.
I didn't want anyone knowing that I'd stolen the recipe and that I'm a fakey cake maker and I ain't got time for you.
You're 2 for 2 of you, Vic and Bob.
I know, right?
50-year-olds love this podcast.
Yes, I do.
Finn Balor beats AJ Styles after distraction from Jimmy Uso. Later backstage, Balor thanks Jimmy, who says he was just returning the favor from last week. Now they're even. Balor tries to convince Jimmy that he and Jay could reunite as part of the JD. Jimmy is skeptical, but Balor stresses there are no leaders and no Roman. Ooh, he's a leader. This seems to have Jimmy's attention, but Paul Heyman approaches him as Balor walks off.
Was Heyman meant to be in that shot at the start? Because he was just sort of lingering in no man's land, and Finn Balor goes do past him, and he just sort of like doesn't react to Finn walking past him. It looked a bit weird at the start of the segment.
I thought he was just doing reconnaissance. I'm so happy about that word. Oh, I nailed that word, by the way. He's watching. He's observing, going,
reconnaissance. Right. He was Sniper's tag partner in the Truth Commission.
F's sake. Yes, that's the analysis.
There was a match, wasn't there? There was a match. There was a bit where AJ Styles knocked Balor off the top rope and almost got a shoot Styles clash off the back of it, which was a lovely moment for all to see.
Oh, yeah.
But then it's becoming, I don't know if it's just me, but the WWE at the moment is becoming a little bit too predictable for me, because I could feel that Jey Uso interference coming a mile off. I could feel it in me bones.
Yeah, you are right, but this is part of the long-term story that they're doing.
Yeah.
And when I put in the long-term storytelling, because it's like, all right.
Let's find that balance between long-term storytelling and doing the same thing most weeks. Because we had AJ Styles getting interfered by Jimmy Uso, a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? So we're going round in circles. Circles. I don't know why
That's what Finn Balor said. That.
Round in circles.
When we're digging that hole.
Yeah.
So we have to do the bad Irish accents because Jack's not here and he loves doing it. So.
Yeah.
Backstage, The Rock is approached by John Cena, who's also a scab. They have a tense stare down, but Cena welcomes The Rock home, and they have a lovely hug.
Cena was very animated during the hug. Like he really had issues at home or something, and he was using The Rock to console himself.
Oh,
yeah.
Sometimes
you've been my Rock.
He was asked, The Rock to be his Rock.
Yeah.
Sometimes a hug is more for the hugger than the huggy.
To be fair, though, after Total Divas, I reckon just living day to day with John Cena or being John Cena living at home must be a struggle with his list of rules. Do you remember that?
I remember Mrs. Promos mocking him.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Fantastic, I've just said
I
that.
like that. Fantastic. You're good when you're tired.
Fantastic.
F sleep, all right?
Yeah, lists.
The LWO could have promo in the ring. Oh, this will help you sleep. Santos talks about how he respects Ray. He also wants a shot at the US title. Ray is like, I can't believe you do this. Yeah, sure. Because remembered mid-promo that he's Rey Mysterio and that he's going to win. They're interrupted by Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, who challenged the LWO to a tag match. The Profits beat Wild and Del Toro, before beating them down afterwards at Lashley's urging. Ray and Santos try and save the day but get taken out too. I'm just going to take a wild guess here and say that The Rock went overtime and they just cut the balls out of this just to make up the rest of the show, because they did a lot in about 3 minutes. So I think the most important thing was that it is going to be hard getting the crowd to boo the Street Profits and Lashley, though.
He got a Bobby Lashley pop. Did Bobby Lashley when his music hit?
Yep.
One of those noises. I just love the fact that Ray was at the start of his promo. He's saying, like, without going into too much detail about that thing that we all saw on Clash at the Castle like last year, without going into too much detail about it, which feeds into the time being strapped off this segment. Santos' heel turn is still a thing that is going to happen, I think, but it's going to happen in a very honourable way by saying it's his dream to wrestle Rey Mysterio, and he might hoof him in the nads or something. I don't know. Yeah.
I have to beat you, Ray. I have to beat you like nothing else.
And then does the LWO...
That's just, we're hearing Wild in the background singing it. Ray's just like, where's that coming from?
Does then Santos leave the LWO, or do the LWO turn heel with him?
I reckon, they've got to be a package deal, haven't they?
Yeah. From that lad from the Philippines. Yeah. It'll be about the original LWO trying to recruit Ray, but without the title. Actually, doesn't make any sense, does it?
Yeah, and it could work. But it was interesting that I think they're still trying to go for the heel turn with Bobby and the Streety P's. Because after the bell, they did do a pretty heelish beatdown. We had Tez sort of holding on to Ray's leg, which allowed Dawkins to crack him in the jaw. But it's going to be an uphill struggle to turn them heel, I reckon. Just going off the crowd reactions for the last month. Yeah. Longer, however long it's been.
It's okay because Bobby Lashley's built like Sisyphus, so he can push that boulder up all day. LA Knight beats The Miz before calling out various champs in WWE, including Roman Reigns. Ooh.
Yes, he did.
Backstage, Solo wasn't happy about this, but Heyman says they have bigger issues to deal with right now, like Jimmy Uso. He told about the Judgment Day. To which Solo should have said, right? And the fact that John Cena is back. Oh, all right. Solo says he'll sort them out tonight and storms off. A worried Heyman calls Roman's phone. It's funny that seems to be the end of the segment is call Roman, and then
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, because
Imagine
he's
Roman
not
at
here.
home. Like, God, he's ringing again. Like, he's 5 times today. What?
It's so.
Oh, LA Knight said he wants a fight. Great. Cheers. I'm watching it as well.
He's not watching it. He's shagging or something.
That's what when Roman does come back, it'd be so great. He goes, "All right, Heyman, what have I missed? What about all those phone calls you had? I don't read voicemails.
What does Roman Reigns do in his spare time?
It's Canasta.
Super Mario Galaxy on Twitch.
he streams. He
Hey gang, how's it doing? He's actually really happy. Yeah.
I should have read the room before asking that question. It was always going to go down that route, wasn't it? Oh, he's got his SNES out.
He's just on Twitch pretending like nothing's happening on TV. Yeah. Oh, good episode, Smackdown, yeah.
Acknowledge me. Let's play Kirby's Dream Course.
Yeah. Did you see this week's TV? Yeah, sure. I love the real life Squid Game. Oh, it's fantastic.
I tell you what, though, the amount of times The Rock, in my eyes, said it doesn't matter after his match with The Miz on SmackDown. The amount of times he said it doesn't matter, it wouldn't be a surprise if at WrestleMania 40 we do see The Rock versus The Rock, and my head will implode. Oh boy.
It could happen.
Because The Miz almost ended The Rock's career during this match, you know, with that drop off his shoulders, but The Rock managed to rotate himself enough to land on his shoulders. It was horrible.
He's okay.
Yeah.
He can, even when he lands on his head, he lands on his feet. That lad.
Yeah.
I thought the match was way better than the payback match because no John Cena to get in the way. So it's just these two having a lovely story.
That's what I've written down there. A ding-dong battle that was better than the match with Cena at Payback.
Yeah.
Rocky hanging on in the face of a long beatdown and then turning the tide with some BFT. I'm a sad man writing that sentence down. Yeah. But it was good for the Solo Sikoa promo because he wants to batter, as we thought at the time, LA Knight, but Roman Reigns needs to give him the green light. So he's ready to go.
So I'm ready to go. Oh, yes.
And then we've got Jimmy now, who thinks he's in the bloodline, but then Paul said Jimmy isn't in the bloodline, but then Solo thinks that Paul, Roman, and Solo have to tell Jimmy that he's not in the bloodline. That's where we find ourselves currently.
Yeah.
I think they should have just maybe had Cody win.
Can't you just finish the story? It's all been fine.
Because on Raw, it's interesting. On SmackDown, we've got convoluted bollocks like what Jey Uso thinks and Solo thinks and Paul thinks and Roman thinks. Whereas on Raw, what Kevin Owens thinks about Jey, what Jey thinks about the locker room, what Drew thinks about Jey, that all makes sense on Raw. On SmackDown, it's just a higgledy-piggledy mess.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a writing issue?
Yeah, they've gone on strike, haven't they?
That's why all our favourites are coming back to play.
It's a bit of a mess, though. Like, I don't know what to think about this Jimmy Uso thing at the minute.
Do you think maybe because like John Cena coming back has caught them off guard? Because it feels like he's been shoehorned in to programming. Like it feels like there was an opportunity to bring him back. It's like, okay, why wouldn't you? We had all these plans in place, but how can we weave him into them? And it feels like it was something that was dropped on them. Oh, John Cena's free for the next month because SAG-AFTRA.
I agree with that, Tom. I also think that because of Roman Reigns being out for longer, it's like this going to just like delay it.
Is he injured? Or a holiday?
Roman? I thought he was injured.
I don't know.
He's on a Roman holiday.
I like that. Yeah, we'll do that now.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Again, we're going back in time with our references. That's something from the 50s.
Yeah.
Data Roman.
When I was in my 50s.
But it's interesting that Solo's making calls by himself because now you'd think Roman would be upset, come back and fight him, slap his bitch ass and all that kind of stuff.
Adam Pearce meets with Pretty Deadly backstage and tells Elton Prince that the medical team are confident he'll be cleared to compete in no time. He wonders why Elton needs a wheelchair for a shoulder injury.
This should have been my Hall of Fame pick. This was Oscar worthy.
It really was.
At least an Emmy. At least.
Yeah, like a small Oscar.
I'm a shell of a man that I once was. The horror, the horror. He's on about, what was it? Ridge injuring him. Ridge injuring, not like really. Because Ridge had
okay.
You remember when Ridge had to defend himself on Twitter by saying, no, it wasn't this bit here. He injured himself before that. But now in kayfabe,
I
Ridge
injured him afterwards. You know.
It's got the intensity and clarity of a fresh moving flower on a warm spring day. He's doing that while moving his arm perfectly. Lovely classic wrestling bollocks.
All right, you two lads, just do what Americans think English people are. Oh, okay, whimsical. God bless the Queen and
That's
the King.
The one thing we evoke on this podcast.
Oh,
is
absolutely.
Whimsical and flamboyant.
I'm pretty and he's deadly. Hey up.
Gotta go down the pub to your pal. But the big news from this segment was that we're getting training montages incoming because they're training for the comeback now. Pretty
Oh, we have some.
yeah, they're going to be oily.
Oh,
I hope so, anyway.
well, we will be
Pretty
watching it at home. Dakota Kai tries to fire up Bayley ahead of her match against Asuka, but she's been so distracted recently she isn't sure if she's ready. And then during the match, Shotzi jumps out the crowd to scare Bayley. Woohoo. Asuka catches her with a backslide shortly afterwards for the win. Wow.
I thought it was interesting how Bayley was saying she didn't know why Io called out Asuka when she hasn't wrestled a one-on-one, as if that was like a thing she shouldn't be doing by herself. Dissension. Whoa! I don't know what I'm doing here. I thought Bayley sold Shotzi being there well, which she didn't do initially, like the fear of this crazy spiky head lady. But I guess she failed to soften up Asuka for Io next week, so Io will lose. I don't know. That was just me saying.
No, I agree with everything there. Yeah, just okay, let's just have this nice match and see what happens. Ooh, some stuff happened.
It did happen.
It's now time for the Grayson Waller effect with special guest John Cena. Grayson mocks Cena, who takes his shirt off to fight, but Jimmy Uso interrupts. He tells Cena that nobody wants him here, and he calls him Kangaroo Jack, which I thought was a nice tribute to one of the greatest films of all time.
My girlfriend says that. I went to Blythe Cinema to see that film, and I can't remember.
I knew somebody in the podcast who'd seen it. Yeah.
I can't remember. This is obviously when it came out, like 2000 or something like that must have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to rewatch it though, because she says the same thing. It's the greatest film that's ever existed.
Yeah. The only thing I know about it is the fact that I remember as a kid watching the trailer for it and thinking, "Ooh, that looks like a nice, friendly film with like, a wacky kangaroo with a hoodie and he's got shades, is cool." And apparently that's not what the film's like at all. And it was an adaptation of something, and they just decided to market it like that. I think it's fascinating. That's basically lied to kids. I would have been furious as a kid if I'd seen it and it wasn't about a talking kangaroo.
You see the video Grayson Waller shared? He's like, the next time somebody calls me Kangaroo Jack, it's just this big Australian fella. I can't say what he said because there's swear words in it. But it's worth a look if you're on X.com.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know why I even brought that up.
Do we get Grayson Waller and John Cena in Perth
Hopefully.
for Elimination Chamber?
Yes.
As
When is
announced
it?
today?
Truth.
February.
Oh, that's a while away.
Yeah.
What if the strike finishes? Which there's been speculation that it is already.
Oh, in that
looking
case,
forward to
no,
it.
we're getting nothing out of Cena then.
Yeah.
In February.
To be fair, he was in there last time they were down under, wasn't he? With his KO.
Yeah.
His one contribution was doing that.
Yeah.
It was so great.
I've made that sound like Keyhole as well. It wasn't anything Ketamine related. It was a
You
big
could have fooled me.
punch. To be fair, when he landed, it would put Elias in a K-hole. I don't know what I'm doing now.
Solo arrives and is about to attack Jimmy, but super kicks Cena instead. Solo rejects a high five from Jimmy, but they beat Cena down together until AJ Styles make the save. I realized I made it sound like Jimmy called Cena Kangaroo Jack. He called Grayson Waller Kangaroo Jack.
Yeah, the Australian
Kangaroos are from Oceania, Maffew. John Cena is American. Cena and AJ clear the ring, and the show ends with Solo saving Jimmy from an AA.
I like the line from Solo earlier in the night that made his appearance a bit like, in jeopardy, like what he said. I know what I need to do. I need to finish this tonight. Is this him attacking Jimmy or him attacking somebody else? We didn't know who he was going to go for when he came down to the ring, but it was set up nicely. That's all I've written now.
Nice.
Yeah. Cena didn't really do anything apart from take his shirt off, which was nice. Waller got most of the segment, which was good to see.
Yeah.
I'm guessing we're getting AJ and Cena versus Solo and James soon.
Weird seeing and Styles and Cena teaming up. Like, wow.
I hope they get a lovely, short-lived tag team name, like Y2AJ.
Oh, yeah.
AJ.
What?
AJ.
It's an Italian trying to get the attention of one of the Usos.
An Italian with a stutter. AJ. Oh dear.
So it was bringing Nia in a way of getting cozy with The Rock.
Surely not.
No one else put those two together yet? Okay, huh?
Maybe, yeah. Maybe it makes sense. I did see on Lena Fanene, a wonderful surname, her Instagram, that there was a video that involved Dwayne's mom. Like in her mom. And she was there also. So maybe they live together. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up now. They live in this studio apartment.
How dare you, wrestling journalists. We don't... only sometimes do we do that.
Maybe it did. Yeah. No, I don't know. Who cares?
The one thing that came from The Rock's SmackDown appearance was Alex, my good lady, this morning. She firstly said to me this morning, she woke up, she was like, "What's happened to The Rock's daughter?" I said, "What do you mean?" Everyone's online saying that no one's told The Rock that she's in a cult. I was like, she is and she isn't.
Hey, she might not be for much longer. That was a shocking turn this week's NXT, as we'll talk about later on. I'll tell you what was interesting about The Rock's return, though. I've obviously go to Newcastle matches and pals I go with don't watch wrestling on the weekly. But the two examples this calendar year that have gone, that happened last night, was KSI and Logan Paul at WrestleMania, and then The Rock coming back on SmackDown. That's the only two things that brought up to me without me going, we should watch SmackDown. It's lovely.
Yeah, that's the one positive. The one negative is, of course, because you get some little clicks, that we are going to now see even more clicks about when we're going to get Rock versus Roman until it happens.
And The Rock versus CM Punk. So CM Punk can avenge.
Oh, that's right. Punk Rock. Until Black Adam 2 gets greenlit. AEW Collision. Slap my tits off. It's time for AEW Collision.
I tell you what, lads, it solidified itself in its new role as the very much B show. This was very rampagey for me this week.
I would think so, yeah. I saw many people thought that was a good thing.
Oh,
I saw some people say that it was a bad thing. So let's have a look.
I've got to say, I did enjoy when Punk was there, and it felt good. It felt like on a similar, if not bigger level than Dynamite.
It felt like there was an energy like they were trying to make a better show than Dynamite.
Yeah.
Whereas here, it just kind of felt like, as you say, like Rampage Plus.
Yeah, which is not what you want to see.
No, especially one on the real Rampage. We saw Jay Cargill's last AEW match, which I don't know if it was this is so last minute, we don't know what to do. So putting you on Rampage as an insult, or it really was that last minute.
I think from what I gather, the contract was up at the end of the week, and there'd been interest from WWE, so she was kind of like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go in a minute." So they're like, "Okay, well, let's do the right thing all the way out." So.
It'd be funny if it was like any late. It's like, welcome back to the brand new special episode of AEW Dark Elevation.
Just because Jade doesn't work weekends, that's the thing.
Should she?
She wants double time.
Can't wait for her to join WWE. Ricky Starks and Big Bill cheat to win against Bryan Danielson and Claudio Castagnoli in the opening tag match, with Starks getting the pinfall on Danielson. Oh my God, Ricky Starks, you are the future now. Danielson gave him a giant swing, and Ricky Starks was... I messed up everybody's name last second. Claudio gave Ricky Starks...
punched one of the aliens from Aliens.
Gave him a giant swing, and Starks, getting swung by Castagnoli, was doing his poses.
Yeah. It's the little things. The little things.
He is a big little thing.
Ooh. Claudio nailing a TKO on a massive man like Big Bill. Oof. Who, once again, by the way, was moving like he's never moved before. I'm a big fan of Big Bill in this.
Yeah.
He seems rejuvenated, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Who would have thought, when watching SummerSlam a few years ago, that we'd be excited to see this rematch years later?
Aye. Oh, my God. Brian. Goodness me. Speaking of Brian, my main takeaway from this match is how much Nigel's trying to get a match with Brian.
I got that.
Yeah.
To the point where I think it's probably going to happen.
Yeah, he was on about Danielson luring Starks in for the strap match to All Out, saying Brian had an unfair advantage for the match because he's been married since 2014, so he's been whipped for 9 years. Yeah.
So do you think, Tom, do you think you're partly to blame for this? Do you think Nigel McGuinness saw that due to social media powerhouse Tom Campbell, Grado managed to appear at Wembley, and that's why Nigel's posting pictures of himself going, I'm fit and healthy.
Well,
He's making me boxes.
I fear that I've had a few messages from people since then going, can you get behind this tweet of this to get this match booked? I'm like, I'm not Moses. Like, I can move some mountains and I can shift some oceans, but not only if Grado's involved. It turns out it's a weird superpower. I can book matches anywhere in the world as long as Grado is involved.
3 words, Tom. Up the fee.
Up the fee.
So it'll be a triple threat match: Grado versus Danielson versus Nigel.
Oh,
There
yes.
you go. That's how we get around it, right? Okay. Hashtag book Danielson and McGuinness and Grado in a triple threat match.
There you go.
Oh, and Jeff Jarrett as well. So 4-way.
Yes, because he'll make it happen.
You cowards.
There you go.
That's the
There's just
hashtag.
enough room to fit that hashtag in a tweet.
That hashtag in there on X. Word for word.
It was a really good match, though, to go back.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Every man got their time to shine.
Yep.
I don't know why.
Just stop it. Stop down yourself after everything. You're making good points. The Young Bucks and Hangman Page, Boo Hiss, challenge Mogul Embassy to Ring of Honor 6-man tag title match next week.
This was the moment where I was like, yes, I miss CM Punk. Because this what have I written down here?
Go on, say it.
Popping the boys, wanky, self-congratulatory in-jokes that pop the boys. I'm not a fan of being on like the weekly shows. It was cringy. And I know all about that, Maffew. I am Captain Cringe.
You're not. No. Cringe is never a problem for the person being called cringe. Cringe isn't a you problem. It's a me problem. I mess it up. Bollocks.
Oh, because of how you interpret me. Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
I got confused. I did that bear thing from The Simpsons. You said you, referring to me. I meant you. Bollocks to this.
But anyway, I was
Stop being
thinking,
sad.
surely, don't want to say sacrifice and CM Punk. You know what I'm trying to say? Punk leaving wasn't to make way for crap like this. Ooh, hit the red button, Brandon. It's the red one. Ooh, get out of town, will you?
Yeah, I'm with you. I've never really been a fan of the Young Bucks doing these backstage stuff anyway. But now with all the knowledge we know all the stuff going on backstage and all this stuff, and the fact that this was supposed to be a different show, them still doing this, it just rubs even worse.
Yeah.
Especially when they're like, oh, Kenny, go, I need a drink. Go. This Pepsi tastes bad. I'm like, oh, come on.
I'm obliged to say, I read a comment saying that didn't happen after Punk leaving or something. I don't know. I didn't watch Being the Elite, but I saw a comment.
No one watches Being the Elite.
But just...
Barney the Dinosaur was less
referencing-
condescending than these bits. I'm a grown man with a bad back. I'm going to watch his crap.
But then, do we see a bit from Swerve at this point of the night as well? 'Cause
Oh, thank God, yes.
This fed into the stylistic choices of the evening, which I believe were deliberate. The whole Take 22. The fact that when Swerve was cutting his promo, was it around about here? Because I've written down Swerve's promo at this point of the night, and I don't know why.
Swerve got a promo after a match, after the FTR thing later on. So then he...
We'll talk about it then. I've made a mess.
Yeah, no, it's him. Yeah, no, it's bad. We all know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Anyway, Powerhouse Hobbs and Miro have dueling video packages. Oh, they're so good. Hobbs wants to continue causing pain and says nobody is safe. Miro says he can Hobbs. Hobbs is now a verb. Thank you, Kevin Nash. We'll meet again further down the line, but now wants to focus on his wife. He asks why every time he tries to get away from her, she comes along to pull him back.
It was interesting, wasn't it? Because Hobbs was all about moving on. Like he's starting a new chapter in the book of Hobbs where nobody's safe. He's going to rip people's arms off. And then Miro, he wants a match with Hobbs because the journey up to heaven, then back down to hell, didn't make Hobbs humble. There's a tongue twister for you.
All
It
done
didn't
for
make
saying
Hobbs
that.
humble. But yeah, Miro's was unbelievable. Because it all made sense. Because we're a bit scratching heads going like, oh, what's CJ doing here? How does it make sense? But it's the fact like at all out when I was at my weakest, you delivered my temptation. He's still in a feud with God, and God delivered CJ, but CJ doesn't know that God delivered her.
That's what he said. That's what he said, Ross. Yes, have faith.
You're speaking words. You're like, you sound like a pretentious arsehole.
No.
So Miro
When you
versus
look at
religion
sound like
is the
Miro,
thing.
you can say whatever.
No. But he's still feuding with God, and that's why CJ's
He's
there.
still feuding. Yeah. Hobbs, I'll beat you. The next week, God,
Aye.
you're on notice.
So he's going to put people in pine boxes and send them to God.
Love him.
Yeah. Big fan.
Big fan. And our Powerhouse Hobbs, yeah, it was funny. Was it supposed to be like that? I was like, yeah, well, I'm moving on. He was like, I'm not.
Yeah.
Hobbs going, I'm going to
Hobbs
fight
going,
anyone.
oh, God, oh, really? Oh, sorry, can I redo my promo? Oh. FTR successfully defend the tag team titles against the Iron Savages. Yeah, crowd were not buying what they were selling. It turns out doing one little kind of viral moment where it says, I'm going to eat your ass, or whatever he said last time they're on AEW Collision, isn't really enough for a sustained push. Or, again, a tag team title shot? It's a bit much, isn't it?
Well, the whole storyline's FTR, like, giving new tag teams a chance in this. I guess it kind of works in that sort of thing.
Okay.
Who's
all right.
Who's the third Iron Savage? You got the big bear lad, you got the ass-eating fella, and you got the other one. Why is he there?
The Otter.
I think it's 747.
Yeah, he films them. But then, sadly, the Workhorsemen come out afterwards and respectfully shake hands with FTR and respectfully ask for a tag title shot as Aussie Open watch backstage angrily. And the crowd go, who are you? To the Workhorsemen.
This is JD Drake.
Because they've only appeared on Ring of Honor TV last few months, which doesn't exist, and also AEW Dark before that, which also doesn't exist, literally. And I get what they're trying to do, FTR, but giving anybody a tag team title shot surely dilutes the purpose of getting a tag team title in the first place. And yeah, I don't blame the crowd for chanting "Who are you?" because they've been given no build whatsoever, but heartbreaking for someone who watches them and thinks they're mint, and they're really good at bowling as well.
They're really good at bowling.
Yes, they used to do the VXV, which is this World Tag Team Tournament Festival that's happening this weekend as well. So they don't do bowling anymore. Shame. But yeah, JD Drake had the record for a while there. So
Did he actually?
He did, yeah.
He does strike me as a guy who'd be very good at bowling.
Strike, There's the Ross magic.
There we go.
There you go. And so,
yeah, I thought that it was funny during the Cash's entrance there, him screaming, "Let's effing go!" Then seeing the little girl going, "Sorry,
so great.
sorry about that one."
Hello.
Slip of the tongue. There was a lovely double back body drop on Cash, which was massive. I get proper like heavy machinery vibes from the Iron Savages, which is a good
I
thing.
like that as well.
As we said earlier, the lad did too much arse licking in this match. It was fine as a one-off, but doing for every single move.
It's like, remember the thing? And people are like, no.
And Beefcake Boulder, to give him his full name, the big old bear, the 747 with a springboard moonsault, was a good thing to see. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they lost in about 3 minutes. Good for them.
Yeah, he took a good bump as well for the power and glory.
They did.
Yeah.
It's just like, I think it was just, either the crowd was really quiet or there wasn't much of them upon the photos, but they were just like, nah, we're just not buying it. Sometimes it happens, I guess. And then what happened?
I reckon that must come down to AEW not introducing teams, like, because you can't have like a storyline like, oh, we're going to give all these new tag teams a go, but give them a big promo package to show them what they're about. And
yeah, with that one match they had the week before, right? That would have been better than anything.
They kind of get wrapped up in a lot of media buzz. So like the I'll eat your ass comment, which has got a lot of traction.
Yeah, which they didn't show on this.
Which they
program.
didn't show,
Right.
but I think it's the argument with the Tony spends too long on Twitter and goes, well, they're popular, let's give them a tag match. You go, bear in mind that Twitter, no matter how noisy it is only a small percentage of the people that you're serving.
Yeah, you're right, Tom.
Tiniest percentage of the people that you're serving. And then if you're going towards them and you're going, hey, what do you reckon to that? Then everyone else is going to go, I don't know who they are.
It was so weird seeing Tony Khan reply like Bixen span. You're like,
what did Bixen Span do?
oh no, it was like, this is like a while ago, but it was just like Tony Khan's talking to Bixen Span. Can you book the show? Like, what? Really? You're on Twitter doing this? Oh, okay. So weird. Then Shane Taylor interrupts a backstage interview with Keith Lee. He introduces new ally, Lee Moriarty, formerly of The Firm, I guess. Remember that? Keith doesn't seem bothered. Shane of a stare down. And I don't blame you if you saw this promo and don't remember anything about that, because all people were focusing on was the weird stylistic choice, and I still don't know and can't tell, because AEW gets too cute for their own liking as far as I'm concerned. If this was deliberate, but this is one where they went, all right, take 22, click. Like, was the joke supposed to be that Keith Lee, who just goes indubitably, had to do 22 takes to do this one promo or whatever? Like, I thought that might have been the bit. Most people seem to decide, no, these bollocks it up.
No, I reckon it was a stylistic choice just to go like, this is a shoot.
Thank you. I'm glad someone
it's
was,
one take. It's like, yeah, you can see where we start and then there's where we end. It's one take. It's from the heart. Let's go. But then later in the night when Swerve cuts his promo that we'll talk about later, he had legitimate sound issues, which makes these stylistic choices look like mistakes. But they're not.
That.
Yeah.
I said that.
Who to? To me?
Online.
Online, all right.
To the
I
void.
was going to say,
I'm glad you echoed exactly what I said before. Thank you.
No, I think that was what they were going for, but it was just a shame that they had a legitimate mistake in there, which ruined everything else.
Yeah.
They did it twice.
Like,
didn't they?
you can't be cute and doing stuff like that if you're then doing rubbish stuff elsewhere. It's like, oh, so your gimmick is the production's rubbish? That's the difference between Collision and Dynamite? Okay.
That's not a great gimmick to go down, is it?
Yeah,
we're a bit crap.
Yeah, just to make it look good. It's the red button, Brandon. Shut up. You're right.
Yeah, fine.
Before his match with Anthony Bowens, John Silver reveals a contract which states that Max Caster and Billy Gunn are banned from ringside. Evil Uno interferes and helps Silver get the win to further establish that the Dark Order are bad people now. Don't take what they say on Twitter too seriously. They're playing bad people.
Yeah. Maffew's friend looking like a dominatrix on a job interview according to Max Caster, which is a nice line. Evil Uno.
Who hasn't been there?
Yeah, Hunky, still very likable as a heel, though, in the ring for me. I need to decipher from that. Saying, I Googled scissoring and you're doing it wrong.
God help me. I only just got what that meant now. Right.
He's been on the dirty website.
Right, yeah.
I thought the match didn't get going until Bowen started his fight back. Hunky's beatdown was a bit of a chore to get through because it's weird seeing him as a heel, like wrestling like a heel, because he is like, let's have a line of coke and then wrestle from the 80s. Yeah. Not actually taking coke though. So it's weird to see him doing these like long plodding beatdowns like a heel does. Yeah. But then he started doing some of his sick combos and that fed into Bones' comeback, and that's when the match really got going.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah.
Eddie Kingston cuts a backstage promo on Claudio, hyping their title versus title match at Grand Slam. He says Claudio is right. Eddie always pushes his friends away, but he still has New York. New Yorkers are built on cold and misery, and nobody can beat him there. Claudio later gets a promo of his own where he says he knows Eddie better than Eddie knows himself, and he'll beat him yet again.
Eddie won the promo battle here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. You're not, you're the best wrestler in the world. You're not ready for the cold and you're not ready for the misery of New York. Oh, it's so good.
Castagnoli left potholes in the road that they had to follow, and now he's supposed to fix it.
That I liked as well. But I think Eddie was very Eddie here.
Yeah. I wonder what the "don't edit this out" bit was about. What thing have they edited out in the past?
Probably a lot of him. But it's just, I don't know, when they did the sit-down thing last week, and it's like all the other sit-down backstage pre-tape stuff they've done in the past where it's clearly been hacked to pieces. And you're like, can't you just play all of this? You don't have to have 120 matches or stuff. Can you just play this in full?
They should start it with a take 23. That's how we'll know.
And then Claudio and Eddie going, all right, so we'll pretend to hate each other, right? Hey, mother! Yeah.
It's probably more a fear of people switching off. I think a lot of shows are edited now in such a way that, like, quick, get to the things, keep them guessing, keep them moving, keep them there, keep them there. Whereas if you, and I think there's a general intrigue in just having the camera and just filming it all, like warts and all. But I think the fear would be, people will get bored and switch off. I said, well, you know what? If you're putting on something compelling, you might be surprised what people will sit and watch.
Well said, Tom. Case in point.
One camera, the whole show.
Don't want there used to be two?
Yeah, and then we did like, sorry, this week it's only one, and then everyone was just overwhelming, like, no, it's way better with one. And we're like, oh, okay, sorry.
And Richard was like,
oh no, I spent 3 hours hitting the 2 buttons to change the cameras and people don't appreciate it.
I'm like, yeah, sorry, it's a podcast, it's not Citizen Kane. Hook shares some Doritos with orange. That's a good Tubman impression. I'm going to Japan, I'm so sad. Hook shares some Doritos of Orange Cassidy. They agreed to do a tag match or something next week.
shocked it wasn't an orange pack of Doritos that Hook was eating because of his dad.
No, because you would have kicked off.
Yeah, he's eating a purple packet, whatever flavour that is over there in America. I'd take a guess at Texas barbecue or something like that.
That sounds American. What about you, Tom?
Thai flavour.
Joel, could you Google American Doritos packets and see what the purple one is, please? It's the most important thing about this promo.
Yes.
Ooh,
Joel's on it.
Joel's excited.
It's spicy sweet chili.
Oh,
I said Thai. So I wasn't a million miles off.
Spicy sweet chili was the answer from Joel there. I keep forgetting he doesn't have a microphone. We should get him one.
I forget. I keep getting told, yeah, thanks for asking when Joel says something. He was here, off camera. I'm like, oh, right.
You're like one of the teachers from Charlie Brown. You can't say that, Joel.
Yeah, Joel, you stop swearing.
Joel!
You're a racist, Joel.
What?
Whoa.
I do hope that their tag team name is just something like a tag team. Hook and...
that would be good.
Hook and, what's his face? Orange Cassidy. I forgot his name there for a second. Purple Cassidy. No, not Purple Cassidy.
Purple Cassidy!
Rest in peace, Purple
He's going into gyms and looking nonchalantly at people's muscles.
Move on. Aussie
That's
Open.
why he does the,
Can we please move on?
He's feeling people's calves, isn't he?
Aussie Open squash some local chaps.
Squats, he just goes...
They want FTR and Macho Wrestle Dream, whether the tag belts are on the line or not. FTR later confirmed backstage that they're ready for the Workhorsemen and Aussie Open. Well, as long as you're ready for the first one, the second team should be easy. I liked Aussie Open's, hey, FTR, are you paying attention? That was nice. And they went, we're going to take on Grayson Waller in Perth.
I thought it was another match. I know you have to do these sort of matches to further along storylines and set up bigger matches to come, but the overriding emotion for me during this collision is, wow, this show has fallen off because it was just Aussie Open versus some men. And Aussie Open's finisher was nice, the sort of butterfly suplex thingy into the spine buster, whatever it's called, I don't know what it's called. But yeah, it was just another thing that sort of was just like, oh, we're setting up someone else, but it wasn't in a very compelling way, if you know what I'm trying to say.
That's fair enough. I'm all right. It sometimes just needs to be as basic as that. Hey, how about have this tag team that we're building up just beat some dudes and look cool? Fine. Doesn't have to be a million different things or, well, hey, silly gimmick time. I'm going to eat your bum hole with me wacky camera. Take 22. Going to eat your bum again. I'm surprised you got any bum left. No, it's just some dudes beating up dudes.
If someone mind clipping that and just sharing it somewhere.
Please do.
There'll be another cue.
Next Wembley. Hey, Maffew, where's the bum eating?
Yeah, we've learned all about the queue.
That was quite the cue.
Yeah. RJ City hosts a sit-down interview with Tony Storm entitled Portrait of a Star. Of course they got RJ City to do this. He gets all the references that Tony Storm does. Tony denies that she's changed. This business has changed. She says AEW wouldn't know talent if it slapped their tits off.
This was wonderful. I love the Tony Storm stuff right now. It's so good.
It was
I love it.
everything from where the interview was with the view of, I don't know, it looked like Paris to me, but I doubt it was. It looked like Paris in the background, moaning about the lights being too bright, the garish lampshade behind her. The couple of quotes saying, is this an interview or not? This is an interview and not an interrogation. Like people like back from then would have said, I imagine.
Yes, I also think, I hate to knock the production again, I did think they messed it up a bit. They already had the, what's the term, the fuzzy picture or like Vaseline on the lens like they used to do way back when. It already looked like that. And she said, can we not make it better like this? And it just looked the same as it was. So were they going to add that effect after she requested it? Or was it a joke that even if this fuzzy looking, it still wasn't good enough?
Or she's
whatever.
She's that tapped, I believe the kids say.
Yeah.
That she believes it's there, but it's not.
That'd be funny. I
don't
like
know.
that. But yeah, you're right. I'm loving this because it's not anything like the previous thing she's been doing, which was boring me.
I reckon RJ could be her like butler or whatever.
Oh, yes.
What would the phrase be? You know, someone who follows an actress around from way back when and
A creep.
gives them a Haribo. A creep.
A personal assistant, a PA.
PA, yeah.
PA.
PA,
City, yes.
Hell yeah, PA City.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the Nasty Boys finisher?
Well done.
Thank you very much.
Speaking of boring, Scorpio Sky gets a video package where he tells us he's ready for his return
He
match.
had back-to-back injuries. That's not boring. That's exhilarating.
You could have fooled me.
He really
look,
likes
Scorpio
what-
Sky's new gimmick of being Scorpio Sky. That guy is not exactly amazing, is
No, he
it?
reaches for the sky. Like
And he
Woody.
missed.
Like Woody.
Yeah, like Woody. Yeah. No, it can't be true. Yeah. That's Buzz, isn't it? Anyway, Andrade. Like Woody, he had no buzz. Andrade shows Sky respect afterwards, but is interrupted by Bullet Club Gold, who do have buzz. Jay White introduces all of the members in turn, including Cardboard Jay White, before challenging Andrade for next week.
I like Sky's promo at the start because the go home, like, yeah, this is the full stop on the promo was, this time I'm not coming back. I'm here. And then it cut. And then he walked out. What does that even mean? You did come back, though. You are also here. It wasn't like...
Yeah, I'm here. The claps. Look, see, told you.
Yeah. Bit
I thought it was
weird,
supposed to be
thought.
it.
So the idea that
Crap.
you thought it was a promo for a comeback, and then it was like, hey,
I came back.
here I am.
Yeah, just a bit underwhelming for me. Didn't quite slap.
Yeah.
Wasn't slapping my
I like
tits.
the concept of it. I see what they were going for.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's Scorpio Sky, though. I remember that promo he cut a few weeks ago and he was waiting for his right moment to strike. Like, yeah, crack on. Let's go.
I'm ready
What you
to
waiting
lose
for?
to Andrade in a match where no one will react, even to the Eddie tribute spots. But they did like the figure eight, so maybe they're all fans of Charlotte. I don't know.
It was interesting how Andrade was like being the sort of baby face at the start, and then Sky rejected his handshake, which was quite heelish. Because there's not much storyline from Sky and Andrade going into the match that would make Sky reject the handshake. So is Sky a heel? I don't know.
He better go back to being one because him as a face isn't working.
Aye, it's not. You're right there, pal.
I think I try. Tony Schiavone is backstage with Shibata. He uses the voice app on his phone to announce that he'll be at Wrestle Dream. Hey, remember when Lou Tez announced he was going to take on Farmer Burns with that old...
Using a rotary phone.
That's yeah.
I'm ready to compete against Farmer Burns.
You heard it here, folks.
Do you remember that when you could text off your landline phone? Do you remember that from back in the
Rubbish,
day?
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was terrible.
Hello, Mum. I'm going to be at my friend's. Yeah.
Because the day where to spell that, you'd have to like press 4 3 times.
Yeah.
and 5
Oh,
times.
that's right. Oh.
It's just quicker just to ring your mum.
Yes, it was. The Righteous win a tag match against the Hardys. They address Adam Cole and MJF afterwards, calling their friendship fake.
Oh, I need to say before this Shibata promo, we had that little bit of the show where Kevin Kelly was on about where the returning Santana is a fantastic story.
Yeah.
Clearly gets a thing in his ear. Shut up talking about him. Now we have to go and see things about Kota Ibushi and Kenny Omega.
You know who I think's a great tag team? Kenny Omega and
What
Ibushi.
happened there? What was that about?
I think he just lost his mind. No, maybe there'd been a change, and then just we're
It's
not doing
part
that.
of the fun gimmick of Collision is badly run.
The production's bad.
Tony, we really love the idea, the concept of Collision, that it's just really poorly put together. Yeah, that's right. It's a concept.
It's so meta. The kids love the meta.
Kids love meta.
I'll tell you what, why is Kevin Kelly on commentary and not Big Ian? Big Ian Riccoboni.
Ian has other commitments.
Does he?
He is I forget what it is, a guy who helps schools and stuff.
Santa Claus.
Basically, yes.
The baby Jesus.
Yes, we get the nuts and bolts, yes.
He's the Santa Claus. So, like in September, he's just rushed off his feet.
Oh, kids.
I'm the
Oh,
spirit.
kids.
Oh, kids. Not even ho, ho, ho. He's a Santa that's in a rush. Ho, kids.
That's all the heels in bloody December. I hate coming to Chicago. It's full of ho kids.
For God's sake.
The Righteous, speaking of ho kids, win a tag match against the Hardys. They have a lovely theme song. Don't know anything about them. Maybe it's a good look. I don't know.
What do you mean, Maffew? They cut a promo after their match which told you everything you need to know. It's meaningless
Go on.
gob. He swore there. It's because they're talking about being prisoners of false icons and listening to the devil on their shoulder and other things. They're two believers who seek truth in the liar's eye. It's all bollocks we've heard 1,000 times before in wrestling.
Yeah. Those sound discarded Harry Potter titles. Harry Potter and the Liar's Eye.
Harry Potter and the two believers who seek the truth.
Harry Potter and was it one of the greatest tag teams of all time, or they called the Hardys, who look like Sunday Night Heat versions of themselves.
Hey, Jeff looked good in this match compared to what he has done recently on TV.
Keeping it nice and simple. Good.
Because it wasn't Matt just doing all the work while Jeff just sort of stood there and gone, wee, Swanton, that'll be me done for the night. Dutch has got a lovely boss man slam. That's the bigger one in the Righteous. I feel a bit bad for saying they're two definitive characters. I thought the finisher was a little bit weird, like a step-up cutter, so he stepped up off, sorry, I said Butch there, Dutch's chest. Butch is in another thing.
That's right.
And he did a cutter, which was, I don't know.
I think way too many people in AEW do cutters.
Sammy Guevara loves a cutter.
Sammy, Andretti, Moxley, Phoenix. Yeah, that's half the bleed roster.
Moxley's doing cutters in every match. That's part of the problem.
And in the main event, Chris Statlander rolls up Britt Baker to retain the TBS Championship, and they shake hands to end the show. And I know a lot of people were surprised at this. They thought, well, it's Britt Baker, hometown, the dentist. She's going to do her thing here. She didn't. No, it was a better match than we've seen out of Britt Baker. I wouldn't call it. I don't think I liked it as much as people online seem to rave over it, because she didn't look that bad. But she's not as good as she was last year.
Who, Britt
Chris
Baker?
but Chris is awesome.
I think she's hurt, isn't she? Or has been hurt. She was certainly in the...
I thought she's been saying stuff like, "Oh, I'm not hurt. Look at this, Irish whip."
But we believe everything that the dirty
Yeah, but then when they lie, you're like, "Oh, I don't know."
I think Statlander just not Statlander. I think Britt Baker needs something different. I think she needs a fresh painted coat, as it were. I think that she's been doing the thing for so long now. I want like a new story she can really get her teeth into, new twist on her character. Like, I feel like she needs something.
I agree with that.
Maybe
Yeah,
she
Chris looked great here, though.
Just become the Isaac Yankem of the modern day. Just become the evil dentist. Go full in, all out. Shake it all about.
That's it. Like, where were those promos?
The Nova King.
Your teeth
All
will be
in.
all out. Yeah.
Pull all the teeth out.
Wrestlers waking up with all their teeth missing. Oh no!
And a tenner under the pillow.
Oh no! Britt Baker must have been round.
I'm going to get you.
How did she do it without waking me up? I don't know.
Oh, climb the ladder and get my teeth out of the jar. That's the spirit of the ring.
She can team with Danhausen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There you go.
He loves teeth, that fella.
I'm teaming up with Danhausen. How I have Velociraptor teeth.
Every
I'm not
week,
going to pin you, Brett. I'm going to eat you.
every week, Danhausen's mouth gets like bigger by 10%. 1 year down the line, he's just a full-on
It's
mouth.
really crowded.
Got a mouth for a head.
Danhausen has to have people cut promos for him with the phone because he literally can't speak anymore.
But I thought that Baker made Statlander look really, really good because she threw everything at her, and there were a couple of kickouts where I was like, oh my God, she's going to lose the title here.
Okay, yeah.
Statlander, but she kicked out everything. And then Julia, I've written down Julia Harry was watching on from the
Julia
crowd.
Harry?
I was typing quick and missed.
Oh, fair enough then. Good. Yes, Julia Hart
Hart.
was watching.
But just before this match was the second example of the promos backstage. And this time we had it with Starks and Big Bill. And Big Bill at the start literally goes, "Get out of the shot, man!"
Yeah, so people speculated that the first Keith Lee thing was a mistake, a genuine one, and this is their way of going, no, silly, this is just... Because it, like, didn't impact at all. Like,
No. It was a
The
bit
fact that
weird.
Big Bill will tell someone to get out the shot is like, no, the way it works is, pal, we do this and then we come out. And also, it's funny as well. Are people still using old school clappers like that? Is that just something that they have to keep around in production?
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
Joel,
Oh, okay.
you're a man of film. Are the clappers still used like they once were?
I think so.
Joel says he thinks
That's
so.
just something we keep around? Oh, okay, great.
Because it's easy.
Is it like a digital clapper or anything
It's the
like
idea
that?
that you can put it on the screen and it tells you all the details. It's got a little digital.
Oh, yeah, you got a
it's
visual
like
audio marker. It's
little
just...
LCD marker on there these days, so you can program
Yeah.
it accordingly, and it's got the sound that it makes.
Right,
which is
right.
that.
Yeah.
So it's all there.
It's just funny, like everything else gets updated or changed into outsourcing to something else, but we still use
There's
clappers.
something about that as well. I think there's a nice old school value to using a clacker board.
That was the main event of Collision we were speaking about there, and clackers were the big issue of the day.
Cultaholic Wrestling Podcast, clacking with the naggers.
Kind of felt Collision was a bit of clackers this week. I'll be honest. It's just
Well, some bits of it I like. With again, they are building stuff. They are building people again in a nice normal way, like Aussie Open, and then it's just AEW being like, you know, what would be funny? What's that AEW production? If we were crap, right?
No,
That's a good look.
If they start everyone with the clacker and everyone's ready and Big Bill's not going, get out of here. What are you doing in the shop, man? I think it'll work. It's just the fact that, we said there was a legitimate mistake, which blurred the lines too much.
And we don't like blurred lines, do we?
No, we don't. Robin Thicke is a dirty man.
Hey. In which Monday Night Raw, in which a plucky young rookie by the name of Natalia gets the chance of a lifetime. Ooh.
I've never been more invested in Natalia in all my life after what she was doing on Raw this week. She was standing with NXT, and therefore I'm Natalia's biggest fan. that what she called her, a gingerhead witch? Yeah, she is. That Becky Lynch.
No way.
Ben Bexty.
Stop quoting Joel.
It's not N Bexty, it's NXT. It's
That
not
doesn't
just
roll
her
off the
shit.
tongue at all. In NXBT, what?
N Bexty.
That's rubbish.
That's a new T-shirt.
I'm not buying that.
Yeah, me neither. Get her out there, the gingerhead witch. As Natalia called her, not just me.
Cody Rhodes opens the show, but is interrupted by Dominic Mysterio. He reveals that Rhea Ripley isn't here tonight because she was injured by Nia Jax last week, but he'll dedicate his win over Cody to her. Cody implies that Rhea actually has eyes for Jey Uso, and they argue over whether Jey will join the JD or not. Balor and Priest arrive to back up Dom in his match. With NXT's Dragon Lee watching on from the crowd, Cody beats Dom with the Crossroads in about 2 minutes. The JD try to beat Cody down afterwards, but Owens and Sammy run down to make the save. And then this segues into Owens asking Cody why he thought it was a good idea to bring Jey Uso to Raw. Cody argues that the fans love Jey, and he deserves a second chance. Sammy agrees. Kevin isn't so quick to trust Jey, however, he does trust Sammy and Cody, so he hopes they're right. This was a nice way of getting a bunch of stuff done at once.
Yeah.
Nice, and way with people acting like human beings.
Yeah.
As opposed to SmackDown, where it's all speculative.
And you can all see where they're coming from. Every single one of them. Kevin Owens is vindicated and not liking Jey. Jey is vindicated and being like, oh, well, I've changed. I'm not who I used to be. I'm fine now. Trust me, please. It was interesting. Well, bruised ribs is why Rhea Ripley's injured. And Raquel Rodriguez got whiplash because of the Samoan drop. That's what they said on the air. That's for her injury.
But I think they are not real. Luckily.
No, I'm just saying that's the reason they gave in
yeah.
kayfabe. Whiplash off a Samoan drop.
Fucking.
Do you think that's
Anyone
it?
else delivering a Samoan drop, I think it was cobblers. But Nia Jax doing it, I kind of get it.
Do you think that's because the WWE Tag Team division is so cursed? They're bringing in Nia Jax and going, what's the reason for this? It's Nia Jax. It's now just 911 in ECW.
Yeah.
In ECW, we never like, oh, that guy's leaving. All right, we'll have 911 choke slam him. That's it. He's never seen
She's
again.
a shoot 911.
Nia Jax is the thing that wiped out the dinosaurs.
Nia Jax cancelled Hannibal. That's the first TV series I can think of. I'm really sorry about that. All right. Let me assure you. There's Hannibal the elephant, Hannibal the TV series, Hannibal the film series, Hannibal the books before that person's ever mentioned.
There's a Manchester United player called Hannibal as well.
All right.
Hannibal from the
Imagine
80s.
calling your son Hannibal.
That's right, yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible Hannibal.
No, Hannibal.
Hannibal the Incredible. I thought it was interesting how Cody made that little quip from the Judgment Day last week about Rhea having eyes for Jey, like it's an official thing now. Or was it just mind games for Dom?
I think
Because
it's
it needs to
games.
be. We need to define their relationship now because apparently Dom's more into Mammy than Mammy is into Dom.
That's just, how dare Cody say that?
My God.
He's just making stuff up at this point, isn't he?
No, he's clearly jealous because they've got a proper relationship, whereas him and Brand. I'm going to stop there.
Yeah. Oh no! Don't do the me saying about bloody Rollins and Becky.
Let's will it into existence. Let's have Rhea come out and then have Brandy come out calling her ratchet or whatever. That was great. Let's do
told
that.
you it was open mic night, bitch?
Then Rhea just power slams her through the stage. She's never heard from again on
And then
television.
Nia Jax just shows up and goes, "I did that."
In that voice as well. I did that.
Hello.
It's Rhea. You did that for the Nia.
Yeah. But no, I liked Kevin going out. Wait, that Jey Uso that cost me the title like 5 times.
I'll just
that
pretend
guy.
that didn't happen. That's what Kevin said here.
Yes, it is.
I'm just
Thank you. That's how Kevin talks.
I just had a thought about Nia Jax. Can I share it with you before it falls out of my head?
Tom.
Right.
We are recording.
Nia Jax returned on Monday.
Uh-huh.
The Rock returned on Friday.
Uh-huh.
I think they went, Rock, come see us Friday. Yeah, you know what? I'll come back. I can't wait. It's a good excuse to catch up with Nia Jax. I've not seen her in ages. I'm like, oh no, we sacked her. Oh no, we can't tell The Rock that we sacked her. Quick, hire her back immediately. There she is on Raw where she's always been. Yeah, that's fine.
Keep her away from everybody because she's not faxed.
She must be now, though.
You think so, right?
Unless if she's not on an overseas show, then you'll know for sure.
That's right. Yes. Will she be at Perth? Let's find out when it happens.
Will she be at Perth?
But on the things making sense. Cody's also making sense with the second chance thing because he razzled Cody at one time as well. I said, Kofi, that's a different man altogether. And then Sami Zayn's always like Jay, so he's got Jay's back. It's nice to see. It's all layered like an onion.
They're serving lots of masters.
Onion.
There's a former cricket commentator called Michael Holden who, when Graham Onions played for England, he would say, Graham Onions
That's
running
right.
in. And I've just in me head now forever.
I remember someone saying it like that. Like the Sonic 1 cheat code from before, but I couldn't tell you who it was or why it was said like that.
Graham Onions.
Thank you for translating.
Fantastic.
Adam Pearce tells us that the New Day that Eric isn't cleared to compete. Oh, so the tag match will be like a dodgy wrestler cancelled. And it'll be a singles match between Kofi and Ivar. That match is right now. And Kofi wins with a Trouble in Paradise. And that sentence doesn't begin to sum up how good this little match was. Was not expecting this, but bloody hell. We had the Big Bear Splash, the Big Bear Irish Whip where he's fallen over, the Big Bear Moonsault. Grr. It was all here, and it was all big and hairy and fat. And I loved it. And I'm like, oh, I forgot these guys could actually probably wrestle. Well, not going, yeah, I'm a Viking from the Midwest. Actually, like, they can be quite competent. And Kofi held his own. Crowd were really into it as well. Win with a sunset flip powerbomb. Fantastic.
Yeah, there was the spinning heel kick as well, which Kofi made look like a finisher the way he sold the thing. Like a decapitated, like a Viking spear through his head. I try to make it relate to Vikings, not work.
good, that, yeah.
The double underhook powerbomb thingy from Ivar in the midst of doing a thing as well. I'm really good at wrestling analysis, me. And then Valerie
You need to
Haller.
be so negative about yourself. You've been really negative this week. You're being great,
I'm
Ross.
just too
Stop it.
tired. Valerie Haller actually did something as well this week, which she never normally does. She was like, Ivar, don't do a splash, do the moonsault. And then,
That's what Jim Cornette did to Vader at SummerSlam 96.
I was about to say, she was every bit Jim Cornette this week.
That's Valerie Haller and Jim Cornette.
Jim Cornette and Valerie Haller. I can't think of anything they'd have to talk about.
The reaction from the crowd when it actually we watched War Machine and people have teams them before, and just to see the crowd go like, whoa, you got a Bobby Lashley pop for doing the moonsault. Yeah. Whoa!
That's what they did.
Kofi shouldn't have kicked out from that though. I'm putting my Jim Cornette hat on.
Cornette hat on. That is a hard thing
My
to say.
Jim Cornette hat on. He should not
Cornette
be...
hat on.
Kofi. Oh, let's end the podcast. That should be able to pin Roman Reigns a moonsault from bloody Big Ivar.
What, from Jim Cornette?
I'm still thinking about a Jim Cornetto.
Jim Cornette hat. It's like those goofy hats you get from Disney with his eyes here.
Jim Cornetto, you take a lick and then you're a bigot.
I was going to say don't eat it while watching Dynamite because it'll repeat on you.
It's actually just Sprite and EOD on it every time you take a little sip. Was it Sprite EOD done back in the day?
Oh, yeah.
When he was working for WWF back in the day?
Yeah.
Yeah. He had to go to hospital or something, didn't he?
I'd forgotten that story. Yeah, he drank so much Sprite. The doctor was like, you're more Sprite than man.
As he's drinking more Sprite.
They got to drain blood and it's just, wait, hang on. The hell's
Just walking
that?
around everywhere like this. He's like, God damn!
I thought people were just saying I was nice and sprightly every day.
No, we said you were nice and spritey. What the hell?
That surfer guy turns up. Oh no, is that 7
No,
Up?
7 Up.
Cool spot to 7 Up as well.
No. Sprite didn't have a mascot, did it?
Should we make
It should have been Jim Cornette.
Cornette.
He kept doing business.
Imagine drinking a Sprite with Cornette's face on it.
They had a lemon, didn't they? Could have Jim Cornette as like a human lemon.
Hello.
Some say you're an idiot.
Drink some Sprite.
It's just drink some Sprite, you beep, 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 beep. Jim Cornette drinks Sprite. And he isn't getting paid.
The same recipe it was in 1985. Which means it's great. That's why I like it. Not like these modern pops.
This is a pop we used to get in Tennessee.
That's why I like Iron Brew.
My Jim Cornette sounds a lot like Michael Jackson for some reason.
Get yourself some Sprite. Shamon. If you want to do the time, think about the crime.
That was a Bo Selector, wasn't it? Michael Jackson on Bo Selector.
Hi, I'm Jim Cornette. Drink the Sprite, Shamon.
My least favorite wrestler of all time is Kenny. There was an attempt. In a backstage interview, Ricochet says if Nakamura wants to play games, that's fine with him.
If that's...
And this is, look, we take the piss.
Fantastic.
We take the piss, but this is actually what he said.
You should say it like Jim Cornette would say it. This line here.
Yeah, because like my promo, it's bad. Because I'm a cheat code, and tonight it's game over. Then he lost. You bum. Before the match can begin, Seth Rollins charges the ring to attack Nakamura, who bails the outside. Agents and officials drag Seth away. In the match itself, Nakamura tries to use a chair on Ricochet, who ends up hitting Nakamura with it instead of the DQ. You lost. Ricochet argues with the referee afterwards, but is blindsided by Nakamura, who destroys his leg with a chair. Seth reappears and tries to pedigree Nakamura in the chair, but he reverses it into a backdrop. Officials try to separate them, but Nakamura still manages to suplex Seth onto the announce table. Backstage, we see Seth struggle to walk to the medical room. Yeah,
I'm
cheers,
a
Ricochet.
Big fan of this storyline now, because we were sitting here a couple of weeks ago and saying Nakamura had a title shot on a plate and he said no. But now he's doing everything he can to injure the back even more. So when he's ready to have the title match, Rollins will be more knackered than he would have been a couple of weeks ago. So it's all come around and makes sense. Up the Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
And he almost wants Rollins to make the match himself. And they're like, right, come on, we're having a match. He wants Rollins to just almost beg him for a match because he wants to get his revenge.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep hitting you in the back until then.
Yeah.
He's going to hurt him physically and now mentally.
Yeah.
Raw is telling great stories and a lot of stories, but they're able to tell it in a simple way. I think this is sometimes where AEW goes a bit wrong, where they're telling lots of stories. It's quite convoluted, and you almost get punished for not paying attention.
They're overthinking it.
And WWE are really good at just sort of guiding you through the story.
Yeah.
And sometimes even when they overlap, you've still got a vibe of where everything is and how it all
She's not the
fits.
Bloodline one anymore.
The Bloodline one is slightly less so.
That's a too much Sprite.
Yeah. Plus,
Going round in circles.
plus Raw's like, John going, I missed last week. What happened? Beep, 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 beep.
We missed everything.
But you go, don't worry, folks. Here's some recap packages. Here's a nice, sexy video package. Here's a, hey, did you miss that thing earlier? Let's replay it. So like, oh, I know exactly what's happening. Apart from with this, I gotta stop doing that.
Easy as 1, 2, 3.
I actually,
But Nakamura's reaction when Rollins' theme hit in the ring, 'cause he's doing the old Nakamura pose.
I was about to say,
oh my
yeah.
God, it was meme worthy. So
Yeah,
it was.
so he's upside down doing the, oh, look how hot I am. And then, Rollins music plays like, "Argh."
And it was good that Wade on commentary as well was making a note of saying Nakamura never was going for the win against Trevor. He was just trying to hurt Trevor in the back, like he wants to hurt Rollins in the back.
God damn.
All the while Trevor's there going up, down, left, right. Quick load the sound test.
Why would you get
1965 09 17
A-B-B-A-A-B-B-A.
the scriptwriters of Raw have given Trevor a hospital pass there? Because why would you that is in the football term. That might sound like a free pass.
Oh,
to
you've
hospital.
said this before. I remember
Yeah.
now.
I thought
Yeah.
what they injured him.
It's in football. You pass a bitch. Pass a bitch. Did that come out? Pass a bitch. You pass the ball a bit short, which means the player gets tackled as they're receiving the ball at the same time.
Right.
So why would you give Trevor, who's not really good at the promos to begin with, a line like, "It's game over"?
I feel like they've done that with Trevor for a long time. I remember during the lockdown era of Raw, and Ricochet would walk down to the ring cutting a promo, and they'd always be rubbish.
Flip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it'd be little puns and stuff. And I feel like, I don't know whether they're just trying to get Ricochet to be good at promos naturally.
It's not going to work.
The best bit of promo work Ricochet ever did was, do you remember he was challenging Brock for the title at the Rumble? And it was like, everyone thinks I'm going to lose, but what if I don't? And it was like, the whole thing was like, hey, you know what? This could be that one time. What if I don't? What if I do it? And I went, oh, he might. Oh, no, he's lost within a minute. But you had me in that promo. Like, oh, okay, I like that.
I like Ricochet existing like this because Jack looks at him and go, but he's an alpha male and he's so hot and cute. How's he this bad at promos? I don't get it.
How is Ricochet an alpha male?
Well, because he can smile, I guess.
Is that the bar now for alpha males?
Apparently.
Smiling.
Hey, it would be smiling on command. I think is an underrated skill because I can't do it.
Make it convincingly, yeah, it's hard, man. You don't feel like Tony Blair, you know. Yeah, right, yeah.
Jeez.
Ross, take a phone with me. All right, Ross.
Like that one you
That's
had
what I
last
just
time
got.
I was on.
Give it the old Zoolander. I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, the one I did where I looked like it was on the Gorilla Biscuits. God, where we at?
It's a worry that Shanky has more like on-screen chemistry with your soon-to-be wife than you do.
Ew.
Oh?
You what?
Oh, right, Samantha Irvin.
Samantha
I
Irvin.
think we're talking to one of us.
No. Well, we all have on-screen chemistry with Shanky.
Oh, big fan of Shanky.
No,
like.
so Samantha, so the shorts and TikToks of Samantha Irvin doing the fantastic announcing. She is the best on the planet right now, and I love her work. But then, therefore my algorithm became like Samantha Irvin announcing videos. I'm like, great, I like watching her do that. And then one popped up, and it was Shanky getting Samantha Irvin to dance with her at a SmackDown taping, and it was a bit too long. Like he was dancing with her for like about 4 minutes, and you could tell this was meant to be like a short fit.
4 minutes dancing.
It felt like 4 minutes.
Workout.
And then my algorithm maneuvered again, and there's loads of videos of Shanky dancing with Samantha Irvin at different episodes of SmackDown.
Aw.
So I'm like, there's more. I've seen more chemistry out of those two.
There's a storyline, though. Trevor getting cheated on.
By Shanky.
Shanky.
Trevor and Shanky.
In front of him.
In plain sight. Trevor and Shanky.
Speaking of the algorithm, I think someone on one of the unsuccessful unpopular wrestling memes posted that they watched Maven, obviously king of YouTube's right now.
Yes.
But one of his videos is like how to get women or whatever, or his love life. And he says, yeah, but you click that and all the if you like this video, you like this, was just like incel videos going, this is why women suck and they're terrible and they'll be blamed for everything wrong in your life. It's like, yeah, cheers, Maven.
Cheers, Maven, you've ruined my algorithm.
Yeah. Byron interviews Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. Chelsea says they're best friends. Piper asks if she knows which country she's from. Chelsea has no idea. She guesses.
England, Ireland, Florida.
Yeah. They have a tag match against Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark, but Nia Jax runs out and beats everyone up. Oh, no.
She gives Chelsea Green a Beal that frightens me.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I got worried.
Everything she does, people go, oh God, here we go.
I get
I
nervous.
don't like how this. You go back to Trish Stratus being betrayed by Zoe Stark, which is then set up the tag team of Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler, of course, beat Ronda Rousey at SummerSlam, and now we finally get them together in a tag team match, and it's used to make Nia Jax look good. So we've sacrificed Trish, Ronda, and built for a few weeks to make Nia Jax look good.
And to make The Rock
Come
feel
back.
comfortable. Yeah, right. Yeah. That's the important thing you're looking at.
It's just such a shame, I think, just the way this segment panned out, because it was all about Nia when it should have been about Shayna and Zoe and how they've, overcome their biggest rivals or whatever, and then they've come together and whatever.
You say that, and you are right, but the other thing to think about is it is the women's tag team title division.
But it could be good.
It could be good.
They can make it good. They don't have to make it bad. I know they've not had the best of luck, but...
Do you remember during the pandemic, and it was Bayley and Sasha as women's tag champs, and it was amazing. Every week on every show, they were going for it.
Was that the one run we've had that was good?
Yes.
Because, okay. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, we don't talk about, the good old days of Shayna and Nia Jax holding it for like a year.
That was lockdown.
Oh, that's why she came back? Oh, no, we'll have that again.
Like she gave a little towards Shayna when she was attacking folk, didn't she? Did Nia. The callback that everyone appreciated around the world. But yeah, you think about the Iconics, when they got the titles, like, oh yeah, here we go. Now they're going to get going.
Oh, that
Didn't
was
get
because
going.
of the Ryan Satans of the world saying, and then Sasha Banks was blocking the entrance to the locker room at WrestleMania.
On the
They were
floor crying.
with the tears flowing like Alice in Wonderland, and certain wrestlers having to fight for their lives to swim out the arena because she was crying so
Cry
much.
like Snoopy with his head.
Wrestler in the ring go, wow, look all sweaty and ready for this match. Like,
But I tell you what, Chelsea Green is on fire at the minute, I think. A promo where she's on about Brian instead of Byron, just on about friendship when it's not there, getting the questions wrong that was asked of her in the promo. Then her selling in the ring as well is a big thing for me as well. Like, I think she's one of the better things on Raw at the moment is Chelsea Green.
she's the highlight of a non-existent division.
Yeah.
Backstage, Chad Gable, emphasis on Chad, asks Adam Pearce how Seth is doing, but really he's angling for another shot at Gunther. Bronson Reed walks past and tells Chad to get to the back of the line. Chad says he made his name suplexing big boys like Bronson, and they argue until Pearce books a match between the two. Fair enough.
You say Chad on the emphasis being on Chad. The way he was like, if you want to be next in line, brother, it'll be my pleasure. Why did he say it like that?
As someone who's mispronounced nearly every word this podcast, I'm going to refrain from comment this
He
time.
did it on purpose. I just didn't want if it was a reference from a film or something. Brother and pleasure.
Oh, that'll be Brother Pleasure, the 1973 sex comedy starring Arthur Askew.
It was a lesser known gimmick change for Brother Love.
His non-union Mexican equivalent. There was a strike on in '89, you see, and he couldn't use him. So,
Brother.
and The Rock wasn't available that time, so they had to use him.
I shag you.
Damian Priest meets with Jey Uso backstage and tries to convince him to join the Judgment Day. He says that they could be the family Jey has always been looking for, and he wants an answer from him tonight. I bet he's not getting it. Later, Kevin Owens can't bring himself to be in the same room as Jey and storms off. Sammy tells Jey to relax and hopes he makes the right decision.
Just funny how Kevin was like, I think you're with the JD. Or will you be? Or won't you be? You can't do anything by yourself. Piss off. Justified. Owens is fair. Jey is fair. Need to have a segment with Dr. Shelby. That's what we need. Obviously.
Obviously. No.
Do you remember? It always takes me back to when Sasha and Bailey were having their big feud on the main roster.
Yeah.
It's all good, hell for leather, personal jives, all this sort of stuff. Then it builds to Dr. Shelby. They completely misread the situation.
Yeah. They'd be like, no, that's not what. No. Wait, what are you guys watching? Yeah.
But
it's a bit
Kevin
weird,
and
though.
Jey could make it work, though, I think. It's not that serious of a feud yet, is it?
Yeah, you know what? Kevin Owens can make anything work because he's either really good at being really annoyed at somebody, like an Ezekiel or an Elias or a Riddle, or, yeah, it's just him being the one sane man going, no, I don't like Jey because these are very normal reasons. And him being mad at Dr. Shelby could work really well.
Yeah. Hope Dr. Shelby's okay. What does he do? What is he?
He's a doctor.
I thought he was an actor.
Doctor Actor.
Dr. Actor.
The sequel to Brother Pleasure. There were a bunch of them. They weren't very good. Chatty Daddy loses against Bronson Reed. Backstage, Tommaso Ciampa also wants a shot at Gunther and says he'll get one after beating Vinci tonight. Which, how that works, mate. But whatever.
Bronson was amazing in this match. I
like
thought.
this.
His
Yeah.
power slam, the whip and the snap. I've written down the nay as well. It was great. Chad taking nice bumps off like the Brett Turnbuckle chest first bump. He was taking his beating very well. There was like a piggyback slam, I've called it, where Bronson just, I think Mankind used to do it back in the day, and he just fall backwards.
Yeah.
Obviously Bam Bam and Taz, that sort of thing. That's what
That's
I'm
right,
talking about. That was very good. And then Reed won, which was a massive WTF moment.
Do you think so?
Yeah, because
Chad's been on a roll.
Yeah, but he's had his shots against Gunther.
But his
he's
kids
lost.
were crying, Maffew. He's going to fight back. He's going to fight back and avenge his kids.
Not right now, he ain't. He should
Clearly
wrestle
not
harder then, eh?
Clearly not wrestling. Losing matches like this one, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, we can't do this over and over again, surely. I mean, if we're going to save it for a bigger pay-per-view, or, Gable can't go to Perth, then, yeah, it makes sense to live late and have something else. Don't
guess
run it
they're
in the ground.
Going to knock him right down, aren't they? Have him lose to Chelsea Green. I'm trying to think of who's Akira Tozawa. Yeah, you go. Yeah, that
building
makes
back
sense.
No
up
one
again.
does that. How dare you?
I think Wade Barrett was the true winner of this match because for the first time, I think in 3 years, he got to call her Tsunami.
yeah.
He hasn't done it since Bronson's NXT run.
He does it every night when he gets in bed. Oi!
Oh my God.
Mrs. Wade, I'm coming to bed.
Is that,
I'm going to have to wade through the tears like Sasha Banks at WrestleMania 35.
That asks a lot of questions. I've got to wade through the tears.
I didn't
to
think
come
this
to
one
bed.
through before I said it.
When you say he says it in bed, is it like as they've had a nice night together? And it's
No,
Just
when
jumping
he
off
gets-
the chair.
I've got my PJs on and I'm ready for a good slap.
Yeah.
Slap, nap.
Good slap.
I said sleep and nap at the same time. I need some sleep. Tsunami anyway, Mrs. Wade Barrett, if he even has one.
If you were a VCR, my granddad would take his slipper off and hit you over the head with it until you started talking properly. But no, you are right, though. Every wrestler, clearly, when they get into bed, jumps from a chair or whatever things that walk around to jump off and go, wee, to pretend it's the ring.
There won't be a single night in the history of man that Jeff Hardy hasn't swantons bombed himself into bed.
Good,
Every night. Da, da, da.
Matt Hardy,
good night, Mrs. Hardy.
Matt Hardy every night as well. He goes, oh, does the old leg drop. That's why Rebel, whatever the hell the name is, that's why she's like she is.
Rebby.
Rebby.
Rebel is Jim Ross's
Oh,
wife.
yeah. Boomer Suda. What a lovely arse. His words, not mine.
Boomer Suda.
spoke-
What a lovely ass.
We spoke about last week on the podcast, in case you missed it. Rebel shared a picture where her booty was flowing in the wind. And Jim Ross quoted it, saying, Boomer Sooner. Just to
Happy
set the
emoji face
Oh,
with
yeah,
the
happy
cowboy
cowboy,
hat.
yeah.
That's how you know it's Jim Ross.
I like to think he was sat next to her when he said that.
I hope not. Makes it even worse.
It makes it even creepier. I like
If he's
it.
just going, hey, Rebel, look at this.
Show us about your ass. Cover that in.
Oh,
Don't remember, we'll enter my ass.
My ass.
Yeah, so good match there. Becky Lynch wants to give a title shot to someone new. Stop it. Someone who hasn't had an opportunity like to stop it. The challenge is answered by Natalya, although reports indicate it was meant to actually be Tegan Nox. Becky says she respects Natalya, but she wants an opponent who hasn't already been here for 15 years, which is true. The longest, it's the longest run of any women's wrestler in WWE history, I think. Natalya? It's got to be. I can't think of anybody more. They argue.
Mae Young.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, right. They argue Natalya shoves Becky, starting the match. In the end, Becky, amazingly, somehow, against all odds, wins with roll-up to retain the NXT Championship. Good for her. I did like Becky going, there's no better place than now, no better time than mess that up. It's just Natalya who's explaining.
But it was the Tegan Nox thing is intriguing because apparently until like 10 minutes before they started letting fans in, Tegan Nox was down to do that match. And then somebody backstage went, actually, no. I have a feeling that this might have been a reward for Natalya.
That's what people have been saying online.
Because she
all right.
stepped up in India to do 2 matches for that night when Becky couldn't travel. So I feel like it was a little something for like, hey, Natalya will give you a title shot on TV and make
Which
it
she
look
brought up,
competitive.
kind of, didn't she? Like, I've been working hard. in
Yeah.
India.
So I think it might have been to do with that. I think there's at the moment, it would have been something that certainly would have relaunched Tegan, but whether or not they had any plans for after that for Tegan.
Right, that's what I mean.
the
If,
one,
if there's no current plans, it's just a match.
Yeah.
So might as well just have Natalya out there.
Because Tegan's doing hardly anything. She's popped up like 2 or 3 times on main event.
Yeah.
She was last on Raw in July. I don't even think she's doing many live events. So I think they don't quite know what to do with her. So unless they had a solid idea of what they were going to do with her, they decided, I'll just take her out of the match until we know what we're doing with her.
You know what? I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I thought it was a nice little segment though. Like Becky started off saying why she went after the NXT title, saying like you got to take things while you can. Then there was like a pregnant pause. It's obviously like a reference to Bray, whatever. Got to take things while you can. You don't know what's coming next. That sort of thing.
okay, I
That's
didn't
the way
think
I read
about
it.
that, but, yeah.
Then she puts over NXT like nobody else has on the main roster ever, saying it's the hope, the hunger, the passion, the progress. It's the future of the business. I'm like, yeah, Becky, you get it.
She said that because she saw the ratings.
Over 1 million, wasn't it? When the first week she was on, 800K this week. I thought so. It's nearly on Dynamite levels, and people
Kaboom.
say nobody watches her.
Yeah.
Becky spoke about last season, never got an opportunity, and then Natalya showed up and cut the promo of her career, where she's on about Becky being hypocritical, taking opportunities from people waiting patiently. In NXT, the hypocritical ginger witch. Up there, Natalya. I stand with Natalya. That title shot was Kiana James's, not Becky's, or someone I don't know. Insert NXT wrestler here.
Yeah. Well, when you sold it to me like that, I agree. And I'm just saying that because Natalia follows me on Twitter for some reason.
Does she?
Yeah. No idea why.
She must appear a fair amount on there, does she not?
Oh, you bitch.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But I thought the match was good as well. Like, for as short as it was, they laid it in, brothers. Brothers.
Yeah, they give it to
No
us.
pleasure,
Stop it,
though. Just hurt her. No pleasure. Why did Chad say that like that? If you know, write it down. In the comments.
Write it down on a piece of paper.
Fold it up.
And throw it away.
Yeah, throw it away.
You know, and that's all that matters. Throw it away.
And then Dom interrupts a meeting between Dragon Lee and Adam Pearce. God knows what they're talking about. He complains to Pearce that he only lost tonight because Rhea Ripley wasn't there. It implies that Pearce hasn't punished Nia Jax heavily enough for attacking her. It's a fair point. Dragon Lee tells Dom he's going to take his title next week. And Dom's like, who are you again? Oh, yeah, you have that mask. That reminds me of my bastard dad.
That's a direct quote there.
Yeah.
But it makes no sense, though, does it, Dragon Lee being the guy? Because Dragon Lee, Ali should be the guy here, not Dragon Lee. Ali won that match where Dom was the ref.
Ali does bring this up on this week's NXT.
Yeah, this makes no sense.
The sliming heel politician was actually right, and they said, yep, great.
NXT,
Yeah.
where the impossible becomes possible. Politicians speaking the truth.
The unwritable gets written. Ciampa beats Vinci with Gunther watching on from the back. Afterwards, we see an interview with a pained Seth Rollins. He says maybe it's time to put the ball in Nakamura's court and lets him pick the date and stipulation of their rematch.
I thought Vinci and Ciampa was one of the matches of the week, not the matches of the week.
Oh, you think so?
There was an uppercut, like a shootish uppercut from Vinci, which made Ciampa gob all over the front row. You saw a spit fly towards the crowd. It was gnarly.
Sounds disgusting.
Then there was Vinci using a shoot lariat. Like, his modelling work is clearly drying up, so he's taking out his frustrations on wrestlers in the wrestling ring. Then we had a shearer, which I like to call it, from Ciampa, where he just kneed him in the head, like he was Neil Lennon playing for Leicester in 1990.
I love it. Yep.
And I like the Sicilian stretch being his finisher as well. It's very regal.
You know, it was technically a good match, but after the Bronson Reed and Ivar match previously, I'm like, okay, yeah, cool.
That was like the third filling of the sandwich.
Yeah, you're like, I could have done it. I'm like, chala, you know.
You got the bacon in there. You got the Tommy K. This was the cheese.
Yeah, the waiter's looking at you going like, mate, are you going to eat it? Or can I take it off your plate so I can eat it in the back between my breaks? You know, that type of thing.
But it also feeds into Vinci potentially leaving Imperium, which has been a slow burning storyline for a while now because they're getting fed up with it, aren't they? Gunter and Ludwig.
Yeah, because you're sick of the
He's
sick.
one of the closest to being out the door.
The sick of the people coming up, they're going, hey, Da Vinci.
Oh, God.
It's like, enough. He's like, it's not my fault. I didn't do it. It's you. We blame you.
But as for the Rollins promo, I like how he's going insane, but in a different way now because he, went insane the sort of Joker route, wearing flamboyant clothes and whatnot and making annoying noises. And now he's just going proper mad, like when he's looking down the camera. It's like, yeah, you are a bit tapped, aren't you? Is tap the right word? I hope it is because I've used it twice now in the podcast.
I'm going to let you keep on doing it.
Aye. I don't know if it's right. We'll see. It's like I used the word spackling, like Ryan Dunn uses when he's shoving a toy car up his arse in Jackass 1 to display how I was feeling like I was excited to see what was coming. Like I was spackling. And I learned it doesn't mean that. It means something completely different.
It means to shove a toy car up your ass.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, that's a term for that.
It's just the way when he's got his legs up and he's
I
shoving the
remember.
toy car in there. It's just like, oof, how you feeling, Ryan? Ooh, I'm spackling. I was like,
What does that term mean?
I don't want to say on the podcast.
Oh, okay.
But I learned what it meant and I shan't use it any longer.
Well, that's so good. You only said like 5 times there, so no worries.
If you enjoy spackling, write it down.
On a piece of paper.
Not the
And throw it
same
away.
one, though. That would be weird.
No, write it down on a telephone box with your phone number. Someone will come calling.
Write it in the Dog and Handgun Inn on Leicester Road. Just in the third
Is that a
cubicle
real
to the
pub,
right.
is it? The Dog and Hang?
No, it's a bottom reference.
Oh.
It's a bottom
I'm
reference.
not familiar with Bottom.
One of the pubs
As I
next
should
to the
be.
Lamb and Flag.
Ryan Dunn is.
So is that lad off AEW Collision.
The Judgment Day are ringside for Jey Uso's main event match against Drew McIntyre. Eventually decides against joining the group and super kicks them off the apron. Oh no. This allows Drew to hit Claymore for the win. Oh yes. The JG beat Jay down afterwards while Drew is conflicted about helping him on the ramp. Cody Rhodes is good and American though, so he runs down instead to save the day to probably give us a few more 6-man tag match against the JD until I guess Rumble season starts.
Yeah, the JD being down there at ringside didn't do much for me because I don't think there's any chance that Jey Uso will actually join the Judgment Day. Is it just me?
Oh, after
he's
he
not
super kicked them, like no.
Well, no, but like at the time we didn't know that he was going to super kick them, did he? Did we?
Did we? Well, that was
did we?
Nah, I didn't think at any point Jay was going to. It would be such a stupid fit.
It would.
But I enjoyed the story of like the heels, just courting the new talent. But it was never going to be that way.
But again, it's those layered onions. Once again, because Drew McIntyre is fully justified in not helping Jey Uso when he was getting his arse handed to him by the Judgment Day. It all makes sense. Lovely.
Yeah,
Monday Night
and
Raw.
they bring up on commentary, again, we're saying before, about to be like feeding you and going, yeah, Clash the Castle happened. Guess what? The Usos and everybody else ran in to make things bad for him. So why would he not want that? In his hometown city of Cardiff.
Try this on for size, right? Imagine, right, because Cody was the one who came out to save Jey Uso. Imagine now, for the foreseeable, that Cody takes care of Jey. And then when Cody's just about to finish the story, Jey whizzle-wazzles him. And we go on for a third WrestleMania of Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. Imagine.
No.
I don't want to read any more of the story.
Yeah. I want to go to bed now, Dad.
Yeah,
Stop reading me this.
I don't want any more stories.
Tsunami.
On that happy note, I think I'll have a small break.
Piss me off.
There you go. We just had a little break. And guess what? Mustafa Ali has just announced on Twitter that he has left WWE, or is no longer with WWE. What's that effect? And we are now scrambling. We now have a backup mic on Joel, which we're going to test now.
Hello, Joel.
Hello.
How does it sound on the podcast? Are you
Test
well?
1, 2. I'm very well.
Joel finally has a voice, but not yet a human body. He's really just a presence in the distance.
But he gets stronger every week.
And he will get stronger with the amount of vocal cord use he's about to do, because if another release happens, there is rumours going around today, wasn't there, Tom, that mass releases could happen?
It was expected that some releases were coming as a result of the staff releases from last week, and it's a potential that it may start now as we're recording the podcast. So we have furnished Joel with a
I'm
roving
on it.
recorder mic.
I'm ready
So
for
when
the
he
breaking
sees
news.
something, Joel will just shout, "Hey up! It's happened again!" That's
hey
too
up.
playful. That's too playful.
Too playful.
Yeah, maybe not.
Well, Joel will interrupt us. We're going to
Joel's
carry
going
on.
to sing Another One Bites the Dust to get our attention.
Bye,
Yes,
I
there we
cannot
go.
believe it.
We're going
Right.
to carry on the podcast as per, but then should things
Right.
happen, this is and it's awful things happening. We're sending best wishes to people who will be affected possibly now, then or later by the releases. But this might be one of the very few times that we somehow meet the podcast curse.
Catch
at
the
pass.
curse, yeah.
And because all news is done on a Friday, the fact that they're doing them today would suggest that they've got a big 2 days lined up. This is recorded on a Thursday. So, yeah. Mustafa Ali, what a damn lovely man you were when you had the chance to shine. It's not your fault you had to deal with retribution. Bless you. But, yeah, he was given a few chances and then had those chances taken away from him. I think he did a lot with a little, I should say. And God, he's a handsome man.
And he could have done a lot more, couldn't he? With these, I remember back in the Smackdown, like 2016, 17 sort of times when he was cutting those promos in the garden. I remember being in the shed and he was just cutting these lovely, wholesome babyface promos that, didn't feel forced or anything like that, but they never really utilised them on there. I was excited about his new gimmick on NXT and where that could have gone. Because my initial first thought when I saw that tweet was like, is this part of the sort of lying politician thing going like, ooh, I'll just say something.
Yeah, that's all, yeah.
Yeah, but no, it turns out that maybe it is real. I don't want to fully commit in case he turns around and goes,
I'll commit. I'll use my little rep. Yeah, this is real.
Well, initially we did because the first tweet that he put out said, "I am longer with WWE," which we interpreted as maybe him playing a bit of silly buggers.
Yeah.
But then he would later, a moment or two later, go on to put, "I am no longer with WWE," to correct it. And apologise for any confusion that was caused.
It's a shocking timing as well because he's got the appearance on Raw next week. He's got a title match at No Mercy. He's just been given the new politician gimmick on NXT as well. So, yeah, odd timing. What a shame.
Yes, also in related news, TKO stock has not reacted well to SmackDown news with a double-digit decrease in trading of $90. And someone just done a picture of it. It's
What's the SmackDown news?
apparently it did good numbers because it had the bloody Rock on, but they said it was going to be even more. So even though it was an increase, it wasn't the increase that they said it was going to be.
You can't see the stock numbers that Maffew was talking about here. Imagine Oblivion from Alton Towers.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like that. Anyway,
It
shall
begins.
we
Anyway, so-
crack on with the podcast? And then
Yes.
obviously, as things break, we roll with the punches and we do what we do.
If you hear a Bayek, you know what's coming.
Yes.
Hear by Ek,
Joel's
watch
got
your
to
neck.
Joel's got to a good bit of the book he's reading. Where's my NXT? Here we go. So do we just want to skip to the Mustafa Ali bit? How we're talking about him?
Yeah, might as well.
Bring it up, so, no.
We'll just do it in order because he has multiple appearances.
Oh,
doesn't he?
God, yeah. I've got a long NXT years. Becky Lynch opens the show, on NXT. Say you will, say you won't, say you'll do what I don't, say it's true, say to me. NXT.
Racial profile from Jack there. Oh, God, I had a stroke saying that.
Like
Richard Nixon.
That's right. He used to present through the keyhole.
Yeah,
That's right.
oh.
Becky Lynch opens the show by calling out the NXT women's locker room in rhyme.
There was no excuse for this. There was absolutely no excuse. This is one of the worst things I've ever seen on NXT in all my years of
covers a lot of
watching
ground.
the Rainbow. This is worse than Come Tuesday's initial babyface run in the woods with Kyle O'Reilly. There was no excuse for this to happen. The man has never looked like a bigger nerd. She's meant to be cool and badass, but no, she's out there making rhymes.
The nerd is back. That's what she should have said. Yeah. Ah, well, at least she's fitting in with NXT.
The Irish jig was more palatable than this promo for me.
Becky brags about beating Tiff Stratz, although she admits she pushed her to the limit and has earned a rematch.
She did bring it round at the end by calling Tiffy an arsehole to give it the full beans there. But yeah, Tiffy's right as well when she came out saying if she never mentioned Becky, she would never come to NXT. And she's just looking to, she would have been looking for another Hall of Famer for the clout, like Trish Stratus, that sort of person. So up the Tiffy Stratus.
The Becky rhyming thing kind of really instills the fact that it is a completely different set of writers for NXT. They just sort of drop characters in and they just write them how they feel they would be in NXT world.
I reckon this was real life Becky getting to do her own stuff because she loves a pun.
She does love a pun.
So I reckon this would be her going like, I'll give it a new try. The college try.
But now I'm not being monitored. I'm just going to...
But when you're the man, you cannot be making little rhymes like that.
She tried harder than two men with a plastic spade between them. Had nothing to do for an afternoon, all right? Tiff interrupts, says doesn't want her rematch tonight. She wants it at No Mercy. Becky agrees and says Tiff won't win because she isn't hungry enough. Becky starts a brawl, but Kiana James runs out and helps Tiff beat Becky. Becky grabs a chair and fends them off.
She did do that.
She did do all that and more.
Interested to see Kiana out there. Didn't think that would be allegiance would ever see in NXT, Maffew.
No, I mean neither.
They seem two ladies cut from too similar a cloth to get along.
You nearly had it. You nearly had it.
It's happened again. I've lost faith mid-sentence.
Tony D and Stacks are deciding on their next challenges and say they're going to offer all their worthy opponents a seat at the table. Presumably not the one where they give free breadsticks and lasagna and other meals like that. Just saying, Jack. Just saying. Just because Tom's not covering for you this week doesn't mean we haven't forgotten about it.
I believe it was 2 years this week, Maffew.
Yo, 2 years?
2 years this week.
Don't be daft. It can't be.
I've read that somewhere. It might be in this
2
week's
years?
mailbag. I can't remember, but I've definitely read 2 years since he said he would do the thing.
That's shocking, that.
I feel horrible.
We need a kid. We need to kidnap him and take him.
Yeah.
2 years?
Yeah. We'll have to make him do it.
God.
We'll have to pin him down. Give him a good Jack treatment.
Force him some gabagoo.
I'm worried he might enjoy it because I personally like going to the restaurant on my own.
No, but he's not going to a restaurant. He has to go to the restaurant, open his laptop, order a drink, and then leave after said drink. He can't have a meal. He's got to do something.
Because I think in his head, the owner's going to come out and goes, what? You don't want the food? How dare you come to my restaurant like that?
Super Mario?
Yeah, like that thing, that's what he thinks is going to happen. Like, how dare you? You come to my restaurant and order the drink. It's like, that's not going to happen, Jack. They're going to go, okay, thank you.
Cheers for your money, piss off.
Yeah, exactly.
Clear the table. But will Jack get some tortellini made by Uncle Cesare? Who knows?
We have an update.
Oh, Joel has made a noise.
Sean Ross Sapp has tweeted, I am told by WWE that Mustafa Ali saying he's no longer working with WWE is not due to any broader talent cuts.
Oh. So he's left of his own accord.
Maybe.
Okay.
So may not be anymore today.
Well, that's good news.
Do you think WWE are going to go, oh, yeah, we'll show you Sean Ross Sapp?
Challenge accepted.
Wait, we can make you look dumb and fire somebody at the same time. Well, don't see any negatives here. Ooh.
That was Joel's voice on the podcast for the first time.
Thank you, Joe. Did people hear that? Is that going to be heard?
Yeah, it was on his microphone.
Because that's going to be so bad. It's just wow, great news, Joel. People just furious going, this is the worst podcast
That
of
is
all
just
time.
my normal voice.
Should we repeat in case there is a microphone issue? Sean Ross Sapp said Mustafa leaving WWE today is not a sign of wider cuts to come. That is what Joel said, which you might have just heard already, but just in case you didn't,
Just to make
there
sure,
it was.
yeah. Well done.
Champion.
Anyway, they decided to let the last two teams fight it out, Hank and Tank and Nima and Price.
They're weird as champions, aren't they? Because they like all of their challenges.
Yeah, because we have to be told that they're good guys, despite the fact that they kill people.
Well, a try.
They're bad at what they do.
Pretty deadly followed through. But
I hate it when it happens.
That's a shame for him.
but what's his face didn't. 2 Dimes.
Oh yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, 2 Dimes is dead. So yeah, they do kill people.
Yeah.
I'm talking nonsense.
Yeah, thank you for backing up what I said.
Yeah.
In a backstage interview, Ilya Dragunov, who's looking sexy every week, says he's keeping an eye on Carmelo Hayes' match with Dominic. Becky Lynch interrupts to call out Tiffy and Kiana. She wants a handicap match to the main event tonight, and I like the fact that because they're good guys, Becky Lynch said, "I need the time," and Ilya went, "Okay."
Yeah.
At this point in that, I was fuming because this was feeding into the narrative of the hypocritical ginger witch that Natalia was speaking about on Raw, that she was taking opportunities from the people who were waiting patiently in line in NXT. This is the title feud, Ilya Dragunov versus Carmelo at the moment, and Becky just waltzes in there and takes his TV time. That's what I was thinking at that point in the night. It obviously brought itself round towards the end, and I'm fine with it now. But at this point, in the words of Jack the Jobber, I was fuming.
He just
Fuming.
Yeah.
And then she said in the promo, Maffew, which I think you might have been just about to say, were you? Because I've cut you off because I'm doing a Becky Lynch impersonation right now.
You're so fired up. I'll let you do it if you want.
She said she's going to take on Kiana and Tiffy, 2 of the biggest names, the Sisters of Destruction in NXT, or the Sisters of Construction, because Kiana does the buildings, doesn't she?
Oh.
2 of the biggest stars in the
Sisters of Construction.
They love building. They're the 2 of the biggest stars in the game, and she thinks she can beat them both at the same time in a handicap match. The gall, the gumption, whatever was said on Drag Race back in the day, I'm too tired to recall it in full.
The
I could
Lion,
not
the
believe it.
Witch, the audacity of this bitch.
That's a good stable name.
But I couldn't believe it from Becky. I was like, you're burying the entire roster at this point in the night. At this point.
Well, she's trying to bury them, but they're all right. They've got the digger.
Can I have the keys there, please, Kiana?
The Sisters of Construction.
Beep, beep, beep. Oh my God, that music can mean only one thing. This is the
does.
construction.
Oh, yeah.
Damn it.
The Sisters of Construction a segment this week where they go, "Hey, that was a good trip to Ireland that we had. Hey, I enjoyed digging that hole on the thing."
If you thought that segment was silly, the metaphor up on the crowd platform, dressed as the Matrix.
Now I imagine Noam's promo was spot on, but of course, like most films, I've never seen The Matrix.
Not even the first one.
Not even the
You
first
don't even
one.
see that. That's well worth a watch.
I'll put it on
probably.
my list. I've got a long list that's growing. We're currently still.
That happens if you ignore them.
I know. We're still going through Harry Potter's at the moment at home. Me.
What? You've been doing that for a while
I
now.
know.
You're like neck and neck with like Jack in Italy. What one are you up to?
The 6th one is the next one on the list. I've been
Right.
after number 5. I was so let down by number 5. It's put me off a bit, and now Saw has been added to Netflix, and apparently I watch all of them before Saw 10 or whatever comes out in the cinema. So Kayla doesn't have to go by herself. Because I was like, I don't like
Harry
scary
Potter
films.
and Saw. Oh yeah, they go great together. Wait, do they even follow a thing? Saw?
I don't know, but apparently I need to see
Saw
them all
1 and
before.
2, kind of, and then it doesn't just go off the.
It's still like the memory of or inspired by Jigsaw. So Jigsaw is sort of whether he's there in person or not, he's kind of the overarching antagonist.
I just had a random memory when I worked at the Odeon Cinema. We had a big old picture of Saw V, big Roman numeral, and like Jigsaw's face there, and some lad walked past and went, "Get in, Saw 6." He realised what he said and went, "Oh."
He then dissolved into the earth. That embarrasses lack of knowledge of Roman numerals. Caesar and Horatio just off the side going, "Get a load of this tweet."
Oh yeah. Oh, the metaphor. Yeah. So the Matrixes are. Oh,
The Meta
yeah,
5 are on the crowd.
That's it.
And the platform.
Can I just say what I wrote down for me note
Oh,
there?
God, what?
Read that out.
They're dressed like the quote. They're dressed like the Matrix, and I imagine Noam's promo was spot on because I've never seen the Matrix because I'm a massive virgin. Yeah, but your reason for not seeing the Matrix is Joe's laughing. Joe's laughing at a microphone. So,
Sounded like a moose mating.
the reason I haven't watched the Matrix, Matthew, is that me and my lovely lady are too busy having fun together. It's like, hi. Oh, yeah, all right, yeah, okay.
Yeah, we love a tsunami.
Yeah.
Tsunami.
Yeah, but they were there. They all looked fantastic.
They did. I like actually like the idea of you trying to say, of course, to Matrix. She went, oh, it's not violent enough for me. Anyway, so it doesn't matter if the tournament winner comes from Group A or Group B. It's if they take the red pill or the blue pill. It's a bit forced, that reference, to be honest with you, but whatever. The result will be the same either way, losing to him. That's not what that means. He's entered by the entrance of Butch, whose match is next, and it's good because, like, Vic's like, oh, that was No, I'm Da, and Booker's yelling, Neo, Neo Da, Neo! Because the Booker must be like, I know that reference.
He's so excited. He spilled his chicken.
No, he was ordering a coffee at the time, and he was like, Neo! Oh, Nero! Nero!
Oh, there you go. There you go.
To which Jeff Hardy turns up.
Brother Neo.
Cafe Nero, I knew you'd come.
Hey, their white chocolate mockers are like said substance because they are fantastic.
Hang on, what?
White chocolate mocha from Cafe Nero.
He said,
Are they
come.
nice?
Yeah.
Oh.
Unbelievable.
Oh, well, I've heard that rumor. Backstage, Dom tells Trick he knows how he feels, living in a shadow. Trick doesn't rise to Dom's mind games, saying nothing will come between himself and Carmelo Hayes. Dom says he used to think that same thing about himself and his dad. And I love Dom, just having it like, whoa, and no one falling for it. Anytime I was like, shut up, Dom.
Yeah. It was good, like, because when Trick's on the phone at the start, and he's like, he seems disappointed that Melo doesn't want him there by his side, but he's gonna carry on, dog. Because Trick can't fit in no shadow, dog, to give him a.
Because he's
quote
big.
there. Yeah, big boy.
And Dom's little. Except he's not, he's bigger than the Mammy, whatever. Anyway, Booch beats Tyler Bate to win Group A of the Heritage Cup Invitational and move on to the final. And it was funny last week, they went like, that's right. Are you ready, kids? Match of the year. Back. We're doing it. And crowd like, oh, it's Butch. Right, yeah, I remember who you are. And then they had this lovely match here, which the crowd were a lot more receptive to.
Yeah.
Because in NXT, Butch isn't Butch, is he? Butch is Pete.
Butch is Pete Dunne, yes.
Butch is Pete. Up the Pete. But I know there's so many highlights in the match. Like there was a head scissors takedown from Tyler when he was in the middle of an arm drag. Don't know how that works, but it did. The chops from Pete were sensational. Gunther levels of noise. There was a delayed suplex from Tyler, which is great. I've written down, Sheamus' character is whack, yo. Because that's how I talk now.
That's how you say it.
Joe Coffey is ready for a match in the background of the viewing party thing, and he's still got a massive stein in his hand. The man's got a problem. Help him out, Sean Heckenbottom. Heckenbottom, get the beer away from the man. And yeah, there was
like Hickenbottoms up.
that's what he wants to say. I like the ending as well with the bitter end failing, so he went for what Vic called the better ending.
I wasn't sure if that
Slightly
was
different.
deliberate or not, or if that was just, or is that's the variation. The bitter end didn't work. How about the better end?
Fantastic from Vic. I reckon
The best bit of the meat.
But I was like 11 seconds left on the clock, so you went
Yep.
for a slightly different variation of, I guess, the same move, and it was it delivered.
Like the better end, it delivered,
Yeah, like Postman Pat.
Or Cafe Nero.
Yeah.
Hi. Yeah, lovely. I don't think it's going to matter anything in the long run, bless them, because it's just matches. But it's like, oh yeah, remember these lads and their lovely matches and the nonsense. JC Jane takes Thea Hale shopping for new clothes.
Oh. Where's the nonsense coming?
NXT UK.
Oh, right. Sorry. I thought you were... Yeah, right. They're not nonsense. Tyler and...
No. God, no. Tyler Bates too busy like having ham and jam sandwiches with the Toads to be doing that type of thing.
Toad nonce.
And Boots just goes "Rrr" when he's on the main roster. So what's that going to do? JC Jane takes Thea Hale shopping for new clothes. JC picks out cool leather outfits for Thea. Although we don't see her favorite one just yet. Yeah, we did.
No,
What?
because right at the end, so they're trying different outfits on, and I noticed that they get more, they get less clad as the ones reveal. So the last one we just see sort of Tia's head poking through the curtain, and then she steps out for the curtain, and we just get JC's reaction, which is wow, and.
I thought we did see and she walked out. And I thought
we saw a few of the outfits, but then the last one
I know.
see.
But I thought she walked out and the thing was, the joke was it had the U on it. Like, the university thing, and the joke was she was wearing an evil. Did I dream this segment or what?
I think you dreamt it.
I can't remember.
I thought that was the thing, Sean. All right, whatever.
I
then.
was just looking.
Oh, if my dreams about NXT
The last
UK.
time-
I'm quitting.
I was sat there like
quitting
this the
podcast.
entire segment because I thought it was disgusting. This is a children's show.
I watched it.
I thought it was supposed to be I thought the thing was the final outfit was an evil version of just the U.
Oh no, the last outfit she had on was
Oh,
like
look at me
like
looking into this
was
like
a short
it's-
skirt one with like like it was almost like an Austin style vest.
I believe the subtext of the
Yeah,
red
that's
lazy
it.
outfit was that she's becoming a bit of a slag.
Yeah. On a march to the Kurosawa film. My wife's a slag. Thanks, Jack.
Just when she's screaming, I'm not a little kid anymore. And I'm like, you're at uni, you tit. You're not a little kid anyway. You're at the Chase U. You've worked hard to get there and you're throwing it all away to dress in a saucy manner. The subtext is
Does your mother know? Like Abba said.
do what a tune that is, by the way.
It's the Sisters of Deconstruction. Oh, whatever we call them, I'll bollocks it up. Daigle Hudson heroically
The
beats.
Sisters of Deconstruction. They're the Sisters of the Construction's arch nemesis. Everything they build up, they slowly
No,
meticulously
we just
take-
made the building. They've taken it
You
down.
put all the pipes in a neat pile to the left.
There he was laughing. Ha ha ha. Dagville Hudson heroically beats Joe Coffey in Group B, meaning it's a three-way tie between Hudson, Coffey, and Nathan Fraser. Thank God they signposted this last week by bringing this up in that mass promo. And to minus is bloody happening, I would have been like, oh, all right. Fraser was interviewed and can't wait for the signing triple threat match next week, but learns that it's actually tonight. Uh-oh. He runs off to get changed and look even more miserable than he did before.
He is a child. Thea Hale's going, I'm not a child anymore. Nathan Fraser, the way he writes his character is very, very unlikable and forced and childish and horrible. The way he runs off at the end. Ooh, got a match. Whee!
He wants to be a YouTuber, doesn't
In
he?
the bin.
He wants an NFT. He wants to be in Coffeezilla in a bad way.
So do
wants to be
I.
that type of YouTuber.
I'll take anything at this point, Maffew. We're clinging on. But as for the Duke versus Joe match, what a slobber knocker this was.
Did you like it?
Duke did a shoot Hurricane Rana, and I don't say that lightly for a man. who
Oh, God,
stands-
yeah, he did, didn't he?
6'5" Maffew, a shoot Hurricane Rana. And the other bit I really liked was Joe Coffey does this like running spear thing, but he doesn't do it like Roman and everyone else who does a spear. He does it like with his head first and goes, eh. And doing it on Duke, who's massive and big and strong. It looked really silly, and I thought it was very funny.
Oh.
It's almost
I
like the
thought you were giving
junkyard
him-
dog thing, but
Yeah.
a bit upright.
But
I
Coffey's
was
like,
going to go with the Zinedine Zidane special, but I mean, that
Coffey's
works.
built like a French bulldog, isn't he? Not like junkyard dog. Rawr.
Oh, no, it's my nemesis, the French Bulldog.
Cousin of the British one, of course.
I'm JYD. I'm going for the title.
Je m'appelle le title shot.
Je dois meat pies.
J'adore le crack cocaine. Oh, sorry, that was JYD, a big pun. Robert Stone provides an update on Von Wagner's condition. Quote, it says, Robert Stone says Von Wagner, not good. I mean, it's just,
This is Terry Spunk we're talking about here. It's
we were
heartbreaking
talking
to see.
about him.
It's
Quote, not good.
it's not good.
I think that's a direct quote from Von Wagner. Not good.
Stop it.
Skull sad.
Stop it. That man had his head squashed by some steel steps. No, not more than 2 weeks ago.
My brain hurt that bad. This week's podcast made sense to me.
Brain doesn't cry. I keep getting wrong cucumber.
How did Alien go to Ireland?
I like that dog in Newcastle shirt.
How did it get on the plane?
Does he have a dog passport?
I feel like leaving the podcast. This is one of the 4 pillars of NXT. We're talking
pillars.
Four pillocks.
Yeah, 4 pillars. We had Cum. We had, who was at the start? Tony. We had...
Tony.
Who was the 4th pillar? It's been that long, I can't remember. LA Knight.
Yeah, are you saying pillar or pillar?
I've said
thank you,
the
yeah,
four
yeah.
pillocks of NXT.
Yeah, that's
all
what
right.
I used to call them back in the day, the 4 pillars.
I had forgotten we said something that funny.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's all from me. I'm the funny one. here.
Yeah. Ross, we all believe that, and we
Who
support
were
that.
the other 2 pillars? I can't remember.
Tiff Strats.
At the start of NXT.
Joe Gacy.
Joe
then.
Gacy and
Yeah.
Andre. That's who it was, the four pillocks.
Look how far they've come. Bloody hell.
How far they've come?
There you go. Anyway,
About 30 yards.
anyway. Take care of yourself on.
Yeah.
Be better, mate.
God, the way he said not good, though.
Not
I
good.
Nearly started crying.
I'll do that when I have to watch NXT as well. Sorry.
Learn his brain
Roxanne
is sad.
Perez beats Lola Vice with a roll-up. Vic Joseph says Lola was close to causing an upset, but Roxanne overcame the odds once again, contradicting himself entirely. Yeah, Lola was close to causing an upset. But,
Lola was like prime Farouk at the start of this match because she did the old, what Farouk used to do, the old pick up and that's all slam. She did one of them, nailed it, fantastic. I thought it was a decent little match where Lola, I assume she's relatively inexperienced. She didn't look out of place against Roxanne, but who had, of course, had to resort to the shoot pin to win the match. So fair play, Lola, with your Farouk-like mannerisms.
Yeah. I do miss the...
Another update.
Oh, Joel's back.
Sean Ross Sapp, going back on what you just said.
I love it, yes.
I've been told there was a misunderstanding and there are rumblings that there will be some talent cuts today, unfortunately.
How very...
He's covering his ass.
How very Meltzer of him.
No, nothing's happened. Sean Ross Sapp has gone, I'm going to go the right tit if someone gets released now, aren't I?
Yeah. That's like when Dave goes, here are the plans for this wrestler, but plans may change.
Thank you, Joe.
And now we're going to Anfield Park where to be told by there's been a red card. Sean Ross Sapp. I don't know.
Don't know, Jeff.
We're going to the NXT locker room.
Sean Ross
Get your hands
Kamara.
out and how many people are there.
Sean Ross Kamara now, is it? Oh, well, Joel, if you just joined us, Joel is keeping tabs on.
You just joined us.
Some breaking news. I mean, I must admit.
Flicking through channels.
Well, I say that because sometimes I fall asleep listening to podcasts like this.
Oh,
so
people
therefore
do.
I miss big chunks. of it.
Stop it.
There will be people that fall asleep listening to this in a nice
Well,
way.
obviously we create babies on this podcast, Tom.
Yeah,
Do you remember?
exactly.
Who was it again? I forget the name.
Devil Morocco.
Devil Morocco.
I'll never forget that name.
That baby must be about 2 years old now.
Oh.
That kid's first words are, why Jack? Don't go Italian.
His first words are not good.
First word is come.
No, don't make it
Come on,
weird.
Dad. Come on, Dad.
No.
Joel's back.
I'm back. Emma's gone. Emma's been released.
Oh, dear. They are doing match releases.
Carrying
though.
crosses.
Emma.
Right?
Australian Emma.
Yeah.
No, that's Scarlett. Who you're thinking of.
No, that's IRL on TV. It's
Emma.
Marka Moss. Sorry, Marka Moss. There we go.
Tennille Dashwood.
Yeah, Tennille Dashwood.
Yeah, Tennille Dashwood, otherwise known as Emma from the SmackDown
Yeah,
roster.
I remember
has
her
been
appearing on
released.
TV, and I think I read one comment that was like, Matthew's an idiot because she appeared on TV and goes, "It's me, Emma, the first Australian WWE superstar," and I'm like, "Who?" Was it this year or last year? Yeah,
She was brought back by the Triple
yeah,
H
she was brought
regime,
back,
wasn't she? Yeah.
and it was just like, "Oh, hello."
The most
And
TV
she didn't do
time
anything.
she got was like becoming Madcap's both in real life and on-screen girlfriend. And then she was a bit heelish. He was still babyface-ish, and it went nowhere.
Yeah,
It's a shame, like.
he was a Moss, she was an Australian. All right, well, sorry to hear about that. And in fairness, it not sounding like a dick, but she hasn't been doing anything for a while. It's like I can't remember.
But on a
last time I
day
saw
where
TV.
you announce like you're doing this super show in Perth, you could maybe,
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, you're doing one in February, and there's a lot of time between now and February to sort of to build up some local heroes.
But that's it. Don't they go, well, we've got Bronson Reed now and Grayson Waller.
Yeah, it's good to
They're
have
from
Rhea Ripley.
Oceania.
Rhea Ripley.
Rhea bloody Ripley.
Well, Rhea Ripley by headline. that show.
Dakota's also from, over
yeah.
the water, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Okay, so
that's it. If you're like, oh, okay.
Joel will keep us moving.
Oh.
with that.
Yeah,
Thank you,
cheers,
Joel.
Joe. Oh, this is going to get worse and worse. This podcast
It
goes
is,
on.
man.
And we'll ruin the NXT.
We're doing
segment
kangaroo
for you.
jumps down this podcast. What are you on? We stop.
Eddie Thorpe.
Eddie Thorpe goes to check. Stop. Eddie Thorpe goes to check on his tree.
Is his tree next to the Schism tree?
We were thinking that last week. Yeah.
It must be in the same forest.
You said a while ago about doing like an NXT map.
Yep, there's someone who is in the mailbag this
Yeah.
week who was responsible for said map, yeah.
Yeah.
I hope it looks like the Alton Towers map they give you.
I want it to be like Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins. Where like you can do...
There you go. Oh. Ross looking
The
up.
reference I've missed again.
All three of my friends will know that as well.
Dijak whipped a tree last week. Eddie Thorpe is upset. He says Dijak desecrated sacred land and he's desecrated his culture. So now he's challenging him to a strap match.
And the way he set up the strap match is by saying, "I will whip the flesh from your body like you took the bark from my tree."
I don't know much about Native American customs, but I don't know our trees.
Oh, God, there is real life implications, isn't there? I shouldn't be laughing as overtly.
I'm only doing this because I got that message one time and it was just me. By the way, last few months we've been calling him DJ Yiff, and then someone went, "How dare you?" We, the collective we. The same way that the French Bulldog says it. I've been saying that, oh yeah, DJ Yiff, and then someone said, "How dare you desecrate the Native American people? They've had a lot of hard stuff." I was like, no. Make fun of him being a furry.
Oh yeah, I don't mean that. I just mean like we had a
Maybe because he's a furry, that's his favourite tree to urinate on.
The words of Maffew.
There you go, Matthew.
I was just laughing because
no issues there.
We had a fully grown man, a 6'7" Croatian man, whipping a tree with a belt last week to set up a fight with with another man. What's wrong? Are you all right? What's wrong? What?
You've awoken a kink in him.
No, it's because it's so like, this is your favourite tree, isn't it? I'm gonna whip it. Him at home going, bastard.
Not my favourite tree. Love that tree.
Alan Titchmarsh at home. Oh, I don't like to see this. It's a bloodbath. I can't do it. Charlie, do this. Chase a channel, Charlie.
It's a bark bath. The thing is, because this is wrestling, I'm expecting the tree to run in and attack DJ Yiff.
Played by Kevin Nash.
It was a setup all along. The tree is with a Dijak.
In fact, no, I want to see the Great Khali play this tree. He made a very good tree with the Great Khali.
Oh, as Cole would say, the limb-like legs and arms.
The limb-like legs. The limb-like legs.
To be fair, the box-like structure that is the Great Khali these days. You see, he's like that now.
He's a unit, isn't he?
The box-like
He's like
structure.
Mr. Strong.
But with the deftness of a Mr. Tickle. That's the most important thing about the Great Khali. Deft man.
Ilya Dragunov sits at ringside for Hayes versus Dominic. Carmelo throws Dom into Ilya. Stop it. So Dom does the same to Carmelo.
Just think about being tickled by the Great Khali.
By the way, there was a segment with
That's
Becky
on
and...
someone's hit list, that is.
Is the Becky and Roxanne segment in here because my hatred towards Becky at this point in the night got even worse.
Oh, I know the one you mean.
Roxanne offers her services to Becky.
Later in the locker room, Perez offers to team with Becky in the main event. Becky appreciates the offer but tells Roxanne to get her injured arm checked out instead.
It's the way she
fair
said
enough.
it though. It's like, no, I got this. They don't call me the man for nothing. And then she looks off as Roxanne walks away like,
Yeah, it was
you know,
really
like cringy 80s superhero does. But yeah, so between the rhyme and taking Elias TV time and then just telling Roxanne to piss off, this was, I was fully against. I was fully with Natalia at this night, yeah.
Burying the roster.
She was. At this point in the night.
That's enough for Dragunov, who interferes in the match and batters Dom. He sets up for Torpedo Moscow. You'd think of it named that something else by now. But Dom pulls Hayes in the way of the move and bails to the ramp. Dragon Lee comes out and super kicks Dom before raising the North American title. Later, as Carmelo leaves the building, he says he'll remind Ilya who the champ is at No Mercy. Okay.
I thought Dom started off the match really well. His opening flurry, he was just going like the clapper, so he was. He did a lovely shoot DDT after a stiff kick to the gut, did Dom. And then Mello, the way he threw Dom into Elias' head, there's no one of those veins were popping because that must have hurt. His face was a picture though, Ilya.
He always looks like that.
You ever seen that Randy Orton thing where it's like how Orton turns himself into a heel, like when he like holds his breath and like makes the blood goes to his face and all that
He
sort
told
of
me
stuff.
about it before.
Yeah, that was a sort. Oh,
Ilya just does that all the time.
must be close to fainting though.
Ilya's tag partner is the vein on his forehead.
Like plankton controlling him. Who was that? The vein.
Go get me the secret formula of NXT.
It's just a can of Foster's the writers are drinking. Oh, I'll do.
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? Oh my God, that's Ilya Dragunov's music. SpongeBob Scum Cock, as we established beforehand. The German dub. Making a welcome return.
Who lives in a pineapple whipping a tree?
DJ Yiff Yiff. In the locker room, Joe... Oh, as if the stupid shows are getting in. Joe Gacy and Ava Rain.
Hang on. What's happened with you in NXT? I feel like you're being very scathing towards NXT.
What's your malfunction, sir?
I know.
Take that, tree.
We have long been the only podcast in the world that gives NXT the only time of day. The time of day it deserves. The coverage.
I agree.
The coverage it deserves. We are the only podcast who do it. What's happened?
When it's good, I'll say it's good. When it's bad, I'll say it's bad.
So it's only been good, yeah?
Yes. Joe Gacy and Ava Rain tried to recruit Trick Williams. He says that just because he decided to be his own man doesn't mean he's alone. He tells them he's staying loyal to Carmelo, although he looks uncertain about it. Yeah, right.
I thought that the way Joe spoke last week at the funeral for the tree that had fallen over.
Why is everybody feuding with trees?
Yeah, because the two...
There was a sale.
Two of the...
That's a tree shop.
The 99 tree store.
We're cutting our prices.
Can we get serious? Because last week at NXT, two of the four roots that made up the schism tree left.
They made like a tree and split.
Leaving only two of the four roots in place, and Joe seemed very down on the idea of sticking around with only one of the root.
All the good ones have gone.
All the good roots have gone.
None of the good people came.
Exactly.
He's like David Brent sat with Swindon Brent.
But then this week, he wants to recruit Trick, so he believes in the tree again. The tree's coming back to life.
Well, because his name's vaguely similar to Tree. You could be Tree Williams. I'll think about it.
Tree Quilliam.
Lyra Valkyria is like, there's three of them. What? She's Irish. Oh,
man, that was just a combo of crap there, wasn't it?
Oh my god.
No wonder people
I feel
fall
like
asleep
whenever I'm on
with
this podcast, it goes into a different stratosphere when NXT comes around.
We're fitting we're like chameleons. We're adapting the weirdness of this show. Two feuds with trees.
Yeah.
Delightful Hudson is exhausted.
This is where we get serious. No. This almost brought a tear to my eye as well. I was sat on my seat this morning.
I'm surprised at the left of you about NXT, the tears and the
this
mopping.
morning, I felt like punching a hole through a wall after watching this. This was fantastic.
All right, serious. Be serious, Tom. Delightful Hudson is exhausted before the triple threat tiebreaker. He doubts he'll be able to win, but Andre Chase reminds him that he's the MVP.
MV tree.
No, there's no trees involved in this one.
Most valuable tree.
He gives him a pep talk and tells him to get out there and win one for Andre Chase University. Yay!
You can see why he's the dean of the university and how much of an idiot Thea Hale has been by passing all this up to dress like JC Jane. It was unbelievable, this promo. He was talking about Nathan Fraser being faster than Usain Bolt. He's known now as the spoiler. It was a rip-roaring speech, and I reckon I could run through a wall for Andre Chase.
Yeah, he's the spoiler. He spoiled Thea Hale's run.
No, Duke's
threw the towel in.
Yeah, he's the spoiler, not Andre.
Oh, sorry, that doesn't make any sense then. I
Andre's
retract
the
my
leader.
statement, Your Honour.
The leader. Andre's the leader. I wish he would lead this
Leader,
office.
leader.
We need a new leader. Andre's the man
Yeah.
to take Cultaholic forward.
Andre's less right wing.
To clarify, Adam
Patrici is not.
No, Tom, no. Scripps, Neiman, and Price with a game of dice in a shady back alley.
It's scripts with his people. It's scripts with his people. What more do you want?
They count
He rolls the dice and it says lick eyes.
They
What does that even mean?
What?
Simpsons reference that makes me smile.
They count their winnings and talk about succeeding despite a life of hardship because they all have a close bond. Hank and Tank are interviewed backstage and say they might be easygoing guys, but they're looking forward to feasting on the opportunity presented them by the.
They have quite the appetite. They finish off that promo by saying, so they're ready to eat. It's good. They're big, muscular men. They're called Hank and Tank. Their names rhyme. What more do you want from a tag team?
hairy.
They are hairy. Hank and Tank.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So they're having a match to determine who sits at the table.
No, to determine who fights Tony Stacks.
Yeah, they're not literally sitting at a
I thought the
table.
winners would go to have a dinner with them.
No, they're going to have
You know
dinner with
what?
Jack.
That's the same for next week. Well, we won. He goes, yeah, you're going to sit at the table.
Yeah, but the thing is, no, in NXT, it's not out of the realms of possibility.
You know what,
Where
yeah,
a team
you-
would have a match where the winners go for dinner with the tag champs.
What do you mean no on NXT? It's the best promotion in
I
the world.
never said it was a negative.
They want, yeah, Hank
I
goes,
just know
I can't-
the rhythm of the show.
You're all right.
I do like how they've got a new name now, Scripps and his boys from the street who play the Cribbles or whatever the game was. Not Cribbles. Bernard Cribbins. That's what they were playing.
Play Bernard Cribbins.
To win lots of money.
He's really popular over there.
OTM. That's the new stable name. OTM.
Oh, Tree Man.
Oh, dear God.
Shut.
NWO.
I nearly swore at the time. nearly did. Kayfabe. Swear I'm not on the air. Off the air.
Right. No more trees.
I'm trying, man.
No
I'm
more
just
trees.
grinning.
No more trees.
And Ozzy Osbourne, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No more tears. That's good, yeah.
Trees.
Don't you dare. Don't.
No more
You're the
trees.
sensible one. Joe Coffey wins the triple threat match against Duke and Fraser. Butch comes out for a stare down ahead of the final. Yeah, he does.
It was brave that they put no time limit on this match with Becky Lynch's match coming up afterwards,
Yeah.
which I thought was brave. I've said that twice in the same sentence. I'm good at talking words. I thought it was a really good match that was really well put together, but because you couldn't see who was going to win because of the nature of the tie-break situation that was at play. Dull had a lovely spinning Uranagi thing. I don't know what to call it, but it was like he span around loads and did a sort of standing
Like
Uranagi.
the
at
Black
the
Hole
end.
Slam type thing.
Yeah. And then a sell off the Shoot Hurricane Rana. Dull Hudson is the wrestler of the week, if that's even a thing. But his sell where
It used to be.
he did the pack, but he's 6'5".
Yeah.
It was incredible. And the finish was breathtaking because Joe Coffey stole one, despite being pissed as a fart.
Yeah, he's the Sandman. But I'm like, all right, I was okay. I was looking forward to, okay, I can take Nathan Fraser because, whatever, they're doing something with him. Dival Hudson would be a great pick. Joe Coffey?
Hey, yeah. I think it goes.
Yeah.
They've been nowhere for a while with Gallus as
We have
Joel
an update.
picks up the microphone
We
again.
have updates.
Rick Boogs has been released.
I mean, again,
Another
another
one that
guy who I'd forgotten was on the roster. No
But-
offense to the lads, but
Another guy who had a good run was Shinsuke Nakamura and is very charismatic, but was just given bollocks towards the end.
Well,
I'm boogsing out. That
he's
was-
one of those guys where you can directly look at the. Thank you, Joel. When
Thank you, Joel.
he got injured at WrestleMania, and that did it for him because by the time he came back, Pat McAfee had gone, Nakamura had moved on to other things, and it was just like he came out and he go, "Hey, it's Rick Boogs." Crowd like, "Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, we like the package, not just your cell. Sorry, pal." And then he had the thing. I remember this year, him and LA Knight. And you could tell maybe WWE was like, "Oh, good. LA Knight can make Rick Boogs look good. That's how this is going to work." Crowd like, "Nah, mate. Nah, it's not working." So, Boogs, thank you for the memories. Thank you for going "Meh," and stuff like that with guitar.
It's a case of what might have been for me, Rick Boogs. I think he's very charismatic.
Yeah.
I like the 80s cocaine-fueled wrestlers, me, and he was one of them.
So just the
Without
80s.
Without the cocaine.
Uh-huh.
Or maybe he did. What do you mean, oh? Is Elvis here all of a sudden? What's going on?
I just thought I'd say something and try to be funny, but I don't think it was very funny, so I'll retract it.
Ali?
Yeah, my mates are get ready, Maffew. I was like, yeah, I see, cheers. So.
Yeah.
And then, yes, the bit that's relevant now. Ali is annoyed that Dragon Lee has a shot at the North American title, saying neither Lee nor Dom deserve to hold the belt. You'll deal with them both next week on Raw.
I don't think he will somehow.
No. This was the most presidential he's been. He called, Mackenzie referred to him as Mr. Ali. He referred to Mackenzie as Miss Mitchell. And he makes a good point saying, how did the man he beat get a title match before him?
He's right.
Maybe that's why he left. This makes no sense. Bye. I'm off.
Yeah, hang on. I think I'm sensing something in the waters here. Yeah, bless him. So, a shame because as we saw in the last few weeks, maybe months, on NXT, he's been doing this heel character. Crowd's still been cheering him. Got that massive pop when he first showed up in NXT. Was off as a regular. And again, even if he's being a dick, pushing people like Action off the top rope and cheating and whatever, crowd, yay, you won. It's like, oh, okay, I have to do a dodgy politician gimmick to get, so you guys can get a hint.
He was hitting his stride, though, I thought. With the gimmick, it's just a shame here. We're obviously not going to get to see any more of it. Unless he takes it somewhere else.
I think he'll be magnificent wherever he goes.
Yeah.
I think he was held back by WWE, to say the least. So
Amen,
good,
sister, again.
Good for you, Ali. Backstage, Tiffany Stratton and Kiana James agreed. I said, good for you. That's not. It made it look like he was done with the company. Whatever. Sorry, you know what I mean.
I know what you meant.
Aye. Backstage, Tiff Stratton and Kiana James agreed to put the differences aside and work together against Becky in the main event. Oh, okay, right. I'm glad they did that. Elsewhere, JB blames Fallon Henley, there we go, for trusting Miles Bourne last week.
Maybe he was doing a delightful pun, Fallon, because just fell off with his letting Miles in, and then Miles whizzle-wazzled him.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Fallon still thinks he's a good guy. He's just hanging out with the wrong people. Basil Corbin interrupts and says they're arguing has interrupted his massage.
But he doesn't care, though.
JB squares up to him, but Corbin laughs it off like, whatever.
There was a good line from JB where he's like, I'm surprised you could hear. I thought Bron had popped one of your ears last week by slapping him in the face. And then JB mocked Baron Corbin for getting a sports massage. He's like, you call the rest of the locker room soft and you're getting a massage? He's never had a sports massage.
Yeah.
Oh, they're awful. They
I can't have
are.
any of them, yeah.
Bloody Nora.
When a few years ago, Alex and I went away for a weekend, and I booked Alex a massage. Like as it was saying at the spa, and I said, I booked you a massage. I said, oh, that's lovely, thank you. Unwittingly, I'd booked her a sports massage.
Yeah, it's not a massage.
Oh.
She was, bless her, she was very polite about it when she came out and said, I think you booked me the wrong massage because I'm in agony right now.
Do you not
I
get
was
the hint when she rocked up in a wheelchair?
She looked very uncomfortable afterwards, bless her.
So she's not going to play the game.
No.
God bless. And then the main event, Tiff Strats and Kiana James attacked Becky Lynch during their entrance and beat her down. But Lyra Valkyria, there we go, close enough, runs out to make it a tag match. The good guys win, but Strats beats Becky down with a chair afterwards. So Becky announces that their match at No Mercy will be Extreme Rules, which means bins and Singapore canes, then I guess.
It does. It does, yeah. Those things do get
It's
used.
a bins and Singapore canes match.
Yeah.
Maybe a tabla as well. No, we made that point last week, didn't we? People can't use tables now because of Come Tuesday.
Yeah.
Even when they try to use them, they don't break because he's the only one who can break them.
That's right.
It's a wonderful gimmick. You be table.
He says table, but it's clearly a desk. But that way.
But this is where the whole Becky Lynch shtick turned around for me because it was made a lot more palatable that Lyra Valkyria came out and made it a tag team match because those are two of the biggest stars in the female ranks of NXT.
But it took Lyra not even asking her and just saying, right, I'm running out and I'm helping you. We're a team now. Get over it.
Yeah, and she was good in the match as well. Lyra, like her shoot strikes with her educated feet in her hot tag was sensational. Kiana did a lovely gut wrench power bomb on Lyra, where she proper shoot lifted her up like, by the gut, if she has a gut. Toned abs, a toned abs bomb.
The base, what they call it, which is the incorrect usage of the term, but it works, doesn't it?
Tiffy's swanton bomb is still on point, and it was nice to see Lyra getting the fall as well, just sort of pulling it around even more for me when it comes to Becky Lynch stealing all the TV time from the NXT roster. I'm the only one in the world who thinks this. Me and Adam did a news video earlier this week where we talked something about NXT, and all the comments were like, you don't speak on behalf of everyone who watches NXT, Ross. And I was like, oh, fair enough.
I think you'll find Ross does.
And Ross says, I'm 50% of the people who watch bloody NXT.
When it drops below 0.6, it's because Ross isn't watching.
Hey, there was 800,000 this week, nearing Dynamite levels. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Nearing Dynamite levels.
Tom got a Grado book for Wembley. You got people to watch NXT.
There you go.
I don't know if I did.
I don't
reckon
think
it
we
was more
realise the
Becky
power
Lynch.
that we have in
Becky
this
Ross.
office.
Hey, I made Shane McMahon the best wrestler in the world. I'm sticking by that.
Oh, yeah.
Made that a thing before it happened. But yeah, Tiffy Strats went to the Hulk Hogan School of Chair Shots as well with her assault after the match. Bip. Bop. I'm not advocating that she actually, paralyzes someone with a chair, but
Sounds like you are.
lay it in a bit harder, Tiffy. Why
How
not?
dare you? It's clearly the Landstorm schools. But I. AEW Dynamite Grand Slam. Let's see if we can get through this without something else getting released.
I doubt
Eddie
it.
Kingston finally beats Claudio. Yay! To become the new Ring of Honor World Champion. What a lovely, magnificent contest this was between one miserable bastard and a healthy individual who hasn't done much wrong, but we're going to boo anyway, I guess. So, yeah, this is everything I wanted from these two hard-hitting lads. And again, let's go back to Chikara in 06, 07.
Oh, yeah.
That's how far this goes back, which is crazy. And yeah, it's everything I wanted to be. Crowd, overwhelming support for Eddie, but still go, all right, but Claudio was good. So, and lots of tributes to Kawada Misawa, because again, Eddie bloody loves that Kawada lad. Northern Lights Bomb gets 2, Eddie the back fist, and the power bomb. Again, Kawada style. Finally gets it. It's our 300 years in the making, it feels like.
It was sealed with a handshake as well, which was...
And they shook hands afterwards. Thank you,
I think they
Ross.
call that a white touch.
Yeah.
Down south when they can't say their R's properly. A white touch. Claudio warming up by smashing Yuta around again was fantastic. Yuta just took it and then moved on. I love Taz saying that Eddie had the heart of an elephant. Not a lion, an elephant.
He's thinking like African animals and an elephant.
It's like massive.
Just a massive heart. And I was just like, it was a simple story because that's all it had to be. Eddie hanging on for a bit and then, getting his fight back. And then just, hitting the big old powerbomb for the win.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like this should have, like, I get why this happened here. I get the location significance of it totally. I always thought this would probably be what would headline Final Battle. I feel like that would have been a nice place to finally end it and finally have Eddie win the ROH World Title, ROH Final Battle.
Sorry to interrupt.
No.
Oh,
Yeah,
we couldn't get one match of this.
Joel's back.
Aaliyah has been released.
Say again?
Aaliyah. SmackDown, NXT, lady wrestler.
She was a part of that Performance Center documentary
Wow.
many years ago. Noob and
Breaking Ground?
Breaking Ground. That's the one. Yeah, she was on
She
there.
got hired when she was like 19 or something ridiculous like that, didn't
And
she?
she was in that system for a long, long time before they actually get her onto the main roster. And then she was on NXT. She was managed by Robert Stone for a bit. And then she moved to SmackDown. She got a flash win over somebody on
Natalia? It was like
Natalia?
3 point something seconds, wasn't it?
Oh, okay, yeah. But like, when was she last on TV?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna have to look
It's
on
been a while.
the ever reliable cagematch.net.
How old is she, Maffew? She must still be fairly young.
Her last match was, that can't be right, September 2022.
Yeah, that's over a year ago.
What, has she just been injured then, I take it? Or
I
is it
believe
just-
she might have been because I know she was tag partner.
She's
tag partners
28.
with Raquel Rodriguez. They won the tag titles together.
Did they?
Yeah.
Good lord, that's a shock to me.
Yeah. Because then I think after that,
I
Raquel
remember
started
that.
tagging with Liv Morgan. And then that kind of made the Liv Morgan team. 'cause
That's right, yeah, because it was a very
Raquel
short,
and
it was
Aaliyah.
only 2 weeks they held it for. And then, I remember that. Wow.
Yeah, if I'm not
Okay.
using it.
Again, I've forgotten she was there, so.
Yeah, just no one
Yeah,
has
best
been
of luck
using
in
it
your
a
future endeavours, in a nice way. That's
In a
on a really
nice
dicky.
way.
That's on a really dicky, I'm sorry.
Do you work for the WWE now, do you, Maffew?
No. Sean Ross Sapp might as well. Remember when we used to announce these on the websites? Now just let Sean Ross Sapp do it on Twitter.
God, he's sweating now, and he's Sean Ross Sapp. That first tweet he put out.
Hey,
You gotta.
you gotta be. You can't get it right every time. Either way, like regardless of like, I would imagine that his sort of. If it were me, I go like my ego over getting that right or wrong is irrelevant to people losing their gigs today.
Yeah.
You know, you go, oh, I got that wrong, but really the focus is like, let's,
But what if
show
one
some
of
love
his
for these people.
sources is one of these people going, there's probably not going to be any more releases, and he messaged an hour later, I've been released.
Yeah, I guess he shouldn't be a source anymore. That's the thing with journalists, isn't it? They're only as good as their sources, aren't
Of course, yes.
Like Liam Perrins.
We see Adam Cole visit Roddy Strong in hospital. The Kingdom are there with Roddy. They tell Cole that they're going to the Ring of Honor tag titles. Cole tells Strong that he can't stay. He has to be ringside of every title defense.
I've never seen that before from you. I felt that.
Like Liam Perrin. Shut up. Thank you, Tom. Love you. Yeah, this was good.
The letter he got from the fan where he's like, your attention to neck health awareness has been inspirational. I hope to have a neck as strong as yours one day.
To very quickly jump back to the Eddie Kingston bit, I want to say that he did a really nice promo post-match online. I think it was. I can't remember if it was on Dynamite. It was definitely online, where he talked about how important this was, and he dedicated the win to Xavier, the second ever ROH champion.
On
who passed away a few
commentary,
years
they
ago.
know. On commentary, the Ring of Honor lad, what's his bloody name?
Ian.
commentating- No, it's
Ian
not-
Riccaboni.
Was it Ian Riccaboni?
Yeah.
Riccaboni was on it.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't Saturday. He's free.
Good. He brought up the former Ring of Honor, the greats. He was like Low-Key, I don't know, Danielson, someone else, and then he said Xavier, and I even paused and went, as an old person, Xavier wasn't really regarded that heavily as a champion or wrestler for Ring of Honor, but then that makes sense why you bring him up then, just out of respect for because he has passed away.
but
Sadly.
his place in history is assured because obviously he was because
Low-Key won it in the 4-way, and then Xavier won it the second in when Ring of Honor was trying to be too clever for its own boots.
Yeah, but that was it
being
because
honest.
Ring of Honor was all about like the handshakes and the safe wrestling. So Xavier, all he had to do to be a heel was not shake hands with people, and be a bit cheeky, and it was reinventing the wheel a little bit, but it worked well for Xavier.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a nice little touch. And then
was
Eddie
nice.
went, "I'm gonna go find my mum and dad." Are we done here?
Go
I'm gonna
fight
my
your mum and dad.
I'm gonna find them.
Fine.
Find-
Claudio to me.
They're standing near a tree. No, he says go find his mum and dad.
Oh.
So I thought, it's a
That's
nice
probably
way.
maybe it was a New York thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
makes
she's
sense.
in New York. Nice guy, Eddie.
Bless
I
him.
love Eddie Kingston winning the belt. Nice boy.
Absolutely. Thank you for bringing that up.
Sorry, go back to where we were.
Anyways, in a backstage interview, Christian Cage proposes a triple threat match, the TNT title, Luchasaurus, Darby, and himself.
It's definitely not a handicap match, as he noted.
No, it's
Definitely
not a hand.
not.
No, why would you say that?
He actually said handicap, then changed it to three-way.
We all make mistakes.
Easy mistakes, mate.
He also says that Sting is banned from ringside.
Good for him. It all makes sense.
Yeah.
As it's him keep going. We are the TNT champion.
Yeah. So
He's
great.
on fire.
I love, not literally, but I love him. Jericho.
Why not literally? I literally love Christian Cage.
Do you think Christian should literally be on fire one week?
If he says boo to the wrong goose in terms of boo to the wrong dad, that makes yeah.
Boo to the dad.
If he says boo to the wrong dad, he should be set aflame.
He only likes dads that say boo, though.
I may be hot on fire right now. I'm almost as hot as your mom on Instagram. Yeah. Jericho beats Sammy Guevara. They hug afterwards. Sammy low blows his mentor, like WrestleMania 19. Don Callis arrives. Sammy leaves with him. All right.
The story was about Sammy getting out of Jericho's shadow,
Yeah.
but Sammy came out doing a Jericho gimmick. Is that mind games? Is it these days? I don't think it is.
It sounds like a pile of toss. Yeah, this didn't really click with me because, wait, you mean to tell me after months of them going, no, we're really going to try and make Sammy a face. I know he always ends up being a bad guy because he's just that type of guy. He's going to be a face. And he turns heel here.
He
couldn't have just been respectful Sammy, could he?
It didn't really catch on for me as him as a babyface, though. I never
There
really...
was cheers here. There was, the four-way and whatever. And yeah, I agree. But they
find him
kept on
deeply
going at it.
unlikable.
And you're like, all right. What's that?
I find him deeply unlikable.
That's it. It was funny to me that they threw in the towel, and I'm like, okay. It was an all right match. It, felt like Sammy had to stop what he was doing and work around Jericho. But
I thought Jericho kept up with him, especially in that early flurry where they were doing all sorts of maneuvers. He was there every step of the way. Thank you, Chris Jericho.
yeah,
He did the suplex from the apron to the floor game, which I assumed back in the day when he did it for the first time was an Eddie Kingston idea, but no, turns out it was a Jericho one. He bloody loves it, so he does.
if it's a success, it's a Jericho idea.
There was a lovely reversal out the go to hell. Is it go to hell? Yeah, Sammy's move, the go to hell.
I believe so.
And it was Walls of Jericho by Chris, Big Chris. Then there was another where a shooting star press went into a code breaker.
Yeah.
That was
But
nice.
the story was, Sammy had to win the match to get out from underneath Jericho, but Jericho won, so Sammy's gone and joined Don. I thought the way that was done with like the low blow, then Don walking out, like, oh, it all makes sense. I guess
But like
that was well presented, but I just thought Sammy would have won.
that would have made a hell of a lot more sense, and especially if Sammy had won, then go, I don't need you now.
Yeah.
Instead, it's, well, I couldn't get out your shadow. I'll imitate you, and then join the group who happen to be waiting for me, as if I planned on you. I wasn't going to win, or maybe I just never got. But what? All right.
Maybe win, lose, or draw was always going to happen.
Yeah, I think if he won here, would have been great, and I'd liked it a bit more. But without it, it's just like, all right.
Yeah, I think you should have won as well.
Yeah.
Bloody Chris.
Chris.
But thank you, Chris, for everything.
Oh
you
yeah,
do,
but thank you, Chris. You're amazing. You're great. Thanks for being a source. Like,
Liam Perry.
thank you.
Ainsley
MJF.
Harriott.
He's a source, isn't he?
MJF and Adam Cole arrive at the venue, and MJF vows to choke out Mojo tonight. Cole has to take a call from Roddy Strong, who thinks he's about to die.
I believe they call this in the trade, lads, dramatic irony. Because MJF thinks Cole cares more about Roddy. Roddy thinks Cole cares more about MJF. But in fact, that's not true.
Yeah.
Dramatic irony.
Dramatic irony with the finger symbol there. Callis and Sammy are interviewed backstage, but Callis says, all will be explained on Rampage. I'll forget it then. I don't care.
No, we've got to watch Rampage.
So we'll
this
never
week.
know what happened.
No, fine.
I'm going to suggest we watch Rampage over Collision for the review this week because the match is on Rampage. My goodness, Joel, if you wouldn't mind on Google just getting a preview of Rampage so I can...
Hey, put the dog back
The
up.
dog just popped up again.
Dog for
'Cause
Hall of
the
Fame.
match is on Rampage. It's Grand Slam Rampage this week, so it's a big boy.
Spoilers.
Oh, well, wait a minute. I don't want to please see it. Oh, whatever.
Don't want to see it's just the matches that are lined up.
Yeah,
Not-
if you want to look away, then we'll just tell you what's on there.
yeah, but I didn't
Oh,
put it on
all
screen.
right.
Just like
We're not going to say the
No,
results.
this is not working. This is...
We're not going to say the results. Edge? No. Just...
Everyone thought Edge was going to be there last night, didn't they?
Yeah, I saw a lot of that hyperbole about Edge possibly coming out to the point where it was like 1:45 in the morning. I'm like, do I stay awake just in case Edge turns up? He didn't.
Can we just read out the matches?
Yeah, this is not going well. All right.
Cheers, Gorge.
Joe Rogan makes it look so easy, doesn't he?
No. There we are. Thank you, Joe.
Lovely graphic.
So we've got Sting and Darby versus the House of Black. We've got no, that's last year's. That's Action Bronson's on there.
Sure is.
Jade Cargill's wrestling Diamante. She's re-signed.
Right, just take me word for it, right?
Doesn't matter.
It's
Doesn't matter.
worth
Look,
what- right,
all.
there's one of them.
Darby
Sting and Darby
Allin,
versus
Sting.
Christian and Luchasaurus.
Oh, it's a 2-hour special Rampage.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh,
We've got that
God.
tag team #1 contenders match. The Kingdom, the Hardys, the Righteous, the Best Friends. Ramifications are massive.
no ramifications whatsoever.
There was more match. It was one with the Elite, which I remember seeing.
Yeah. So it's
I
Young
hate
Bucks
this.
and Adam Page versus the Embassy for the ROH 6-man tag.
All right, okay.
Yeah,
good,
'cause it felt
great,
like
great.
a big rampage. Take me word
Great.
for it.
Oh, we believe you. Can we please move on? Callis and Sammy are interviewed backstage, but Callis says all be explained on Rampage. They won't stop it. They walk past Daniel Garcia and Sammy wants to fight, but Callis talks him out of it. He says Garcia is money.
Wouldn't that be funny if Chris's two sons ended up with Don?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that
They
be
turned
funny?
the weigh-ins against us. Ray Fenix beats John Moxley to win the International Championship. Reports emerge afterwards that the finish may have been changed on the fly with Moxley legitimately hurt. I think he was hurt after the first bloody dive by Ray Fenix, and I think it was clear.
Knocked him bandy.
Yeah, so I didn't think this was a comfortable watching it because Moxie's still able to again just doing his whole Terry Funk blah 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 stuff. But I was like, okay.
Was that the one we went over the cameraman onto the floor?
I believe so. I think they showed a replay of it. But yeah, and then I think I don't really matter about anything else that happens apart from the finish, where Ray Fenix hits his bloody
Black Fire Driver.
Black Fire Driver, the Fenix window, as I call it, and on a man much bigger than himself.
He only does it at Christmas.
That's right. And on a man much bigger than himself, and you can clearly see Moxie's bloody head bouncing off, and then referee Knox sees him and goes 1, 2, and you can see Moxie going pin, 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 and Tony's like, oh, like this isn't the finish, and so Ray does it again, a lot more safe for the second time, and then pins him. Still not sure of the press time. That's what I call this podcast, press time. If it was supposed to happen, if the title change was supposed to happen.
This way, Maffew,
or
you're
Mox-
off the screen.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
I was just reclining and having a nice time there.
We've got another Elias
Oh,
has been released.
Anyway,
Elias was still
well,
there.
I mean, there we go.
Oh.
I
is
predicted
Ezekiel
that, yeah.
okay?
There we go. There's the
very good.
joke.
Elias, another one that was
What might have been, eh?
what might have been. He was mixed up with some heavy hitters.
We go back to 2018. He was one of the leading heels, wasn't he, on Raw? He'd come out and just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he was insulting people, people liked it. The re went, let's have him say nice things. And he sounded dull.
Yeah.
Didn't gel. Again, he had the Ezekiel thing with his brother. Whatever, I'm
That was
pretending.
crap, like.
No.
that one
Only
segment.
with Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens getting mad and going, it's him. And him going, hello. That ruled. And then as soon as they put him in, I believe it was Seth Rollins, and we covered it here many times, maybe it was Rollins and someone else, had a match, and people like, without Kevin Owens, it's just clean-shaven Elias.
I
And there
remember
was nothing. There was
His
no
Tron,
love.
His Tron when he was Ezekiel was incredible. It just had quotations like Zeking out, Zeke geek or something like that. Or something like that.
It is every sense of Vince McMahon character. He went, the kids will love this. Ezekiel.
But if they kept him as a heel from that, 2018 sort of time, when it was in the build-up to the sort of the Australia show back then, it was Owens and Elias versus Cena and someone.
Oh, it wasn't a Cena match, wasn't it? You're right. Yeah. And he did have that one great match on a pay-per-view with Rollins. I'm misremembering this somehow.
I'll take your word for it. I can't remember.
Yeah, right.
I'll
Yeah.
take it.
They'll blend together. It's like a 2018, 2019, I want to say. I was like, oh, wow, we could really hang.
'Cause it was mad how long he was in the company, because obviously he had that couple of years, or a few years in NXT where he did Nout.
He was the Drifter Elias
Yeah.
Sampson.
Then he had an album.
Yeah.
An album.
Yeah.
During Mania weekend in New Orleans, he did live shows in the bar.
Did he?
Yeah, they did like a Walk with Elias live show in a bar in New Orleans.
He was entertaining, like when they booked him right, but when they booked him bad, it was bad. Which I guess is how that works. Good analysis.
You know
there.
what? But that's
We've got
you're
another-
right.
Oh, he's back.
An update.
Riddick Moss is gone.
I mean, there we
and
go,
Emma
yeah.
as well.
My cat.
Yeah, again, a guy who they had no idea what to do with post Baron Corbin.
Yeah. He hit the ropes like nobody else, though.
Yeah,
Or ran the ropes, sorry, like nobody else.
we know what you meant.
Yeah. Such speed.
Yeah, looks great.
Needed a gimmick, though, didn't he? After Corbin.
Yeah, we wasn't telling crap jokes. Be serious. All right, take away the jokes. yeah, they're going to do some of Emma where it's just like, you should be King Macbeth. But it didn't really happen, did it? So, oh well.
I guess the theme is it's people that they weren't doing anything with who
Which,
can now go.
Again, look, you can't be with the company forever.
It's not nice seeing them lose their jobs, but now they can go and do
Ali
something.
sucks,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's like, well, you have been handcuffed by the company for years, so
And
everyone
he
else
did-
is like, well, yeah.
He did want to leave as well, which I think we forgot to mention. He put that statement out, didn't he? And then they went back on it. Was
Who,
it
Moss?
No, Ali.
Yeah, Ali tried to get out of the company. I
Yeah.
forgot about that. Yes,
Start of last year, was
the
it?
Great Escape. got
Finally
out
got
because
there.
him and his motorcycle got out.
Yeah, they wouldn't let him go. They wouldn't let him go. And then he goes, okay, I'll come back and I'll start doing some stuff. Right now, you're going.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on this
The
match?
Phoenix thing, yeah. So there was a moment when he hits the pile driver and you can see Moxley go, oh, pin. The ref ignores it and you just see him go, F you to the ref. Very loud. And I get it.
And another
Oh, God.
top
wow.
dollar's gone.
Oh,
Of Hit Row.
What are you laughing at?
Taxi.
Because he used to be a taxi driver.
Yeah,
Tom.
because Michael Cole will go, that man in the ring, can you believe it? Used to be a taxi driver. You're like, yeah.
I'd assume that Ashanti and B-Fab will be soon then, if Top Dollar.
Let's not
Damn it, no
speculate.
payoff between the Cole Top Dollar feud? Money on the table.
Top Dollar was, to be fair, like with Top Dollar, when he joined, he really slimmed down from when he started. He really put some effort into his physical appearance. I think he's one that always, for better or for worse, always tried to make his own brand. He was still bringing out music videos and stuff like that, and telling the story of what he was doing on his own socials when WWE weren't, and he was given a lot of freedom to do that. I genuinely think he's one of these guys that will land on his feet and do maybe not full-time wrestling stuff, but other sort of entertainment-y stuff on the
He
other
was
side
doing
of it.
hosting for what was that show where they were finding the treasures or whatever? That was him on there.
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
it was.
Oh,
wasn't it? Like
WWE's
Treasure Hunt.
complete bollocks. Yes, good stuff there.
WWE Bargain Hunt. That was, I think it was.
Yeah, they said, Kevin Nash keeps on saying that there's an episode that he did for them that they're not putting out there because he just took the piss the entire time.
What were they looking for?
Well, they were like, oh, Mick Foley, you were trying to find that one sock you had at Madison Square Garden, all this other stuff. And some of it's a bit, yeah. So, and Nash is just, took the piss apparently and says that it's there somewhere. There's not releasing it.
Go through all his title belts going pittance.
Yeah, like, whatever.
Pittance.
I think
Don't care about any of this stuff.
I think it was the same show, but a later season where they had Cody on looking for some Dusty Rhodes gear, and they went to this collector's house.
Yeah.
And Cody's like, "This is bollocks. This you haven't got it." But then he shows him what he has. He's like, "Yeah, there's a couple of telltale signs that it is actually the real deal." That was a good watch. I don't know if it was the same show or not though.
It's just, there's reality TV bollocks. But he said he's going to land on his feet, Top Dollar. That's not true. He landed on the ring apron. Dog, he was rubbish. Come on, man. But you're right. He's got a guy who's got his stuff going outside of this, so he'll be
stuff
fine.
going, yeah.
So I can say this and be all right and not look like a complete dick. Yeah, Moxie said F you, and then ref's like, oh, sorry.
Had to be Rick Knox,
Yeah.
though, didn't
Yeah.
it?
Had to be Rick Knox.
Yeah, and so it was a shame that to do that and then to go, okay, we've not finished the match. Let's do the pile driver again.
But yeah, Ray's like, all right, I'll have your head here this time, all right?
Literally any other move.
Yeah.
Any other move, please.
So yeah, we don't know this time if Ray Phoenix was supposed to win the title or not.
Well,
or John's
Fightful
just like,
Select
nah.
say that it was an altered finish. PW Insiders say that it was an unplanned finish. All the
Yeah, but not saying what the result was going to be, though.
Yeah,
is it? Yeah.
The Moxley also says, I think it was Fightful or PW Insider that say that mid-match Moxley was the one that called it and went, change the plans. So optics would suggest that this wasn't Phoenix's night to win the title anyway, because Moxley's clearly on a run with the title, taking it everywhere and beating everybody.
Yeah.
It seems random to have him lose it here.
Yeah.
So all the optics point to the fact that this wasn't meant to be the night that Phoenix won the belt.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. So
And
I
that
hope he's
finish
all
was
right.
definitely bollocksed up by Rick Knox. That's another telltale sign.
yeah.
I think maybe if he's at one, wait, this isn't the finish. Moxie, burn me. Sorry.
It was interesting as well that Moxley went for a couple of stomps. And after he went for the second stomp, the crowd started doing Rollins' theme. Did he pick up on that?
Oh, that's happened before. Yes. Oh, that's it. All right, pinners. I hate this crowd.
I couldn't really tell off the first dive that Moxley was buggered, but I guess he could looking back. When you really look at him, he wasn't quite what he was, like what he is normally.
Bless.
Oh, yeah,
Like
hope
him,
he's
but-
all right, aye.
Yeah, so let's move on. Samoa Joe cuts promo on MGF and says he should be prepared to hold on to his grudge a little bit longer because he's going to lose to Joe tonight. Elsewhere, several teams announced their intention to become the number one contenders to the Ring of Honor tag titles. All the stars are here. The Hardys, the Kingdom, the Best Friends, and the Righteous. Oh, those, whatever.
The Righteous got a win on television.
Yeah.
Big week for the Righteous.
Yeah.
Saraya defends the AEW Women's title against Toni Storm.
Wonderful new
survives.
entrance.
Yes.
Yes.
Tony survives interference from Ruby Soho and the use of the spray can, but misses a hip attack and crashes into an exposed turnbuckle. Saraya takes advantage and retains the belt, but at least there is that get-out clause for the reason for her losing, so that was nice.
This exceeded expectations for me, because I thought Saraya stuck in there with Tony, went toe-to-toe all the way. They had the spots like the DDT on the stage, obviously with, the history of the neck and whatnot. I thought it was a brave move to do. Then I'm turning into Cornette, I think, with the final 2 matches on this show, because then I'm asking, how did Saraya kick out from the second one straight away after inside the ring? Drink some Sprite, yeah.
Cornette was falling off a cliff when he said that statement.
I didn't expect to see a sunset bomb off the top rope from Saraya, so fair play for that one. I thought it was nice tactical work from her and Ruby to sort of properly whizzle-wazzle the referee with the spray can spot. Tony necking on with Saraya was also great tactical work to allow her to hit a shoot storm 0.
It felt like she was kissing her goodbye because she was going to hit this pile driver onto her injured neck. So in her head, she was like, right, bye, mate, bang.
Final scene of the movie.
Yeah.
They should start, the sort of the thing they always play when a big kiss happens in a film. Play that on the speakers when it happens.
It should have been the classic sort of tilt back and kiss, like in a film, and then stop 0.
Yeah. Quite frankly, my dear, I love you. Let's remarry. And again, Jack would be this exact moment. Jack in the podcast would go, Maffew, you remember Tony Storm's Goldberg run in the UK indie scene? Is we'd go when Storm 0 didn't get. No one used to kick out with that.
I was really shocked to see Saraya win, but it was, and in fact, it was, even though the spray paint stuff happened sort of a few minutes earlier, it was pretty clean. The finish looked gnarly in the corner, but I think it's a good thing, which is a weird thing to say, because I think it makes Tony go even more mental, and it'll be making it even more good promos.
We're looking forward to her downfall mentally.
So if she won the title, she just has to defend the title now, doesn't she? So her losing and going even more mental will be a good thing. Honest, it will.
I agree with you. Yeah. And I thought, Saraya was protected pretty well in this match, so good for her.
Good for her.
In the main event, Sojo almost chokes out MJF, but his best friend in the world, Adam Cole, runs out and encourages the champ to fight out of it. Later, the referee spills the outside, of course he does, allowing MJF to use a piece of tape, or the tag rope maybe, to choke out Samoa Joe. The referee doesn't see it and awards MJF the win, which means that MJF was a man of his word. He says, we're going to choke out Samoa Joe. Joe goes to attack Cole afterwards, but MJF stops him. Joe offers MJF a handshake, which the champion accepts.
Christ, there was a lot of taking in this match.
God, there was,
Fantastic. First of all, MJF doing the Bret Hart.
Yes.
Am I adopted? Said Jim Cornette, apparently. I like the fact the neck was made a thing straight away in the match, and the threat of the muscle buster and memories of Tyson Kidd and stuff like that made you think, stuff is going to happen. Straight away, the throw to the barricade in front of the announcers, the timekeeper's area was gnarly. Because it was a simple story of Joe beating down MJF and then MJF having to fight back. The DVD on the apron, Joel Holland, As I Live and Breathe, is my move of the week.
Oh, my. Oh, baby.
The way that MJF landed on the apron.
Do you think, I'm amazed we actually got the move of the week before another announcement was made. So
I know.
Well done, yeah.
We got that in there.
Move of the breaking news.
And I'm going to turn it to Jim Cornette once again. Because
hello, Jim Cornette.
the pile driver on the floor was really good. Maybe should have been the final spot. But then MJF was able to get back in the ring and hit a goddamn Liger bomb.
Drink your Sprite.
I'll have some Sprite. Oh my God, it's 7-Up.
Because the fact that MJF was able to hit the Liger bomb so quickly sort of just buried the fact we've been telling the story for weeks about the neck. He gets pile driven on the floor.
But that's just me being Jim Cornette back out. Give me a cheeseburger.
You are right. We can't put the tube back in the toothpaste. Hang on.
Made a noise there.
Fresh paint a coat.
There you go. There you go. Yes, I'm doing a Bruce Pritchard-ism deliberately. Thanks, Tom.
Your Collision, you are deliberately making mistakes.
Oh, no, take 22. Stupid podcast.
Get me up the stairs and pairs.
Lee and parents.
Green giant.
Linford Christie. No! Linford Christie? I don't know. We'll move on.
That famous jingle. Linford Christie.
Linford Christie.
What a great man. Anyway, the spot with the referee being sort of caught 6s and 7s with the diamond ring.
Yep.
The low blow, then the muscle buster.
Yep.
I was like, my God, it's over. But then it wasn't.
My God, it wasn't over.
Yeah.
It looked like Adam Cole then hurt himself jumping off the ramp to the floor.
Yeah, I saw a few people go, oh no, don't tell me he hurt himself doing that.
Yeah, but then I think he wrestled on the Rampage taping.
Oh no.
So I guess he was fine.
That poor guy.
Well, I heard he went to the hospital.
Oh.
Well, the reports.
He did to check on Roddy Strong.
I read that afterwards he came backstage. He was in pain when he got backstage. He went to hospital, then came back on crutches.
Oh.
Now that not to panic anybody, because by now, by the time this goes out, we might know the score with it.
Yeah.
But I think it's the case of if in the event that he's done something, the rehab begins immediately. Like just get him off that rolled ankle immediately. I think it's probably a rolled ankle. It might. Hopefully that's all it is, and we can rock on. So immediately get him off the ankle and let him rest up. Very much like with Vikingo at the ROH tapings this week, when he dived to the ring and hurt his hip, and then he was later seen backstage in a wheelchair. It was more just a case of I just need to rehab this because I've got a match on Saturday.
Viking stop.
Yes, exactly.
Maffew's given up. He's called Viking Go.
God,
Viking stop.
Liam Perrins.
Great content. But yeah, Aidan was saying upstairs our fantastic news ape upstairs was saying that Cole wrestled the match on the Grand Slam Rampage. So
good for him.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it's bad for him, but
yeah,
a really good. Lost in the sea of confusion that we are in this right now. This was a very, very good episode of Dynamite. Grand Slam definitely delivered.
It did.
Really did.
It won the major. Another tennis references.
Well done.
Clay courts, grass courts.
Yes, and nothing but love.
Yvonne Gouligon.
Da, 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 da.
What a lovely name.
Nothing but love on this court for you for enduring the week of wrestling.
Are you okay?
Yeah, it was just it's a lot to take in, isn't
There's
it?
a lot going on.
Oh yeah.
We're doing all right.
Cheers.
Well done, everybody. We're all heroes.
I think I've aged 10 years in one segment.
Let's have a rummage in our mail bags.
Let's have a little look in the mailbag. Lads, as Joel was missed off from last week's tremendous poem, I composed a heartfelt haiku just for him. Joel, the editor, thanks for filling in for Jack. Heroes don't need capes. Thanks, ex-Liverpool midfielder Alberto Equilani, aka Crapoleon.
I like that. That's good.
Well, that's
Thank
a haiku. What do you say to that, Joel?
Thanks, Crapoleon.
Oh,
That means a lot.
blah, 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 blah. He says, hello, lads. There was a poet laureate last week that listed all Cultaholic staff but forgot Joel. Oh, God. I thought I couldn't have that. To the tune of gold.
We can all sing along with this one.
Ready?
Are we ready?
You are Joel.
Joel,
always believe in your
Joel. You've got the power to Joel. You're indestructible. Always believe in. You are Joel.
Joel.
Now that Tubman has returned, there's something we could have learned. He's indestructible. Always believe in Carlton Cole.
Hey.
Wow.
Thanks from Jack Coyle.
That was fantastic.
Well done, mate. 2 in
Well
1
done,
week.
everyone. Well
What a
done, you.
boy! What a boy!
Good afternoon, lads. I've recently experienced the sudden and unexpected loss of my mother. I have been a wrestling fan for many years. My mom is the one who got me into wrestling, has always kept a bit of an eye on it, even after she stopped watching weekly. While I have my own personal favourite moments, I was wondering what matches, show spots that you guys watch as a comfort watch. I have watched you guys since the Name Redacted days, and I love your content. Have a great weekend. Amanda from Missouri. Amanda, thank you very much for your lovely letter. I'm very sorry about your loss, as we all are a cultaholic. It's nice that you can watch back at these things, though. Things you associate with people and memories and things like that. I think it's a nice way of re-enjoying the moments that you had. That's really nice. I didn't watch it with... I think if I was to do this with my dad, it would be something like a Trish Stratus swimsuit match on Raw, because that's my dad's lasting impression of that. And I know how it's going to sound when I see one of those matches on Raw with Trish. I go, my dad will love this. I know what I was thinking of, but for friends, I remember like just different friends to watch back WrestleManias with, and the Rumble. There's many of them I like to rewatch, but I'm thinking, oh, that was a nice time. Watched Rumble 2020. No, that's not right. That was the one with Brock starting 2019, right? Yeah, that's right.
One of those two.
The one pre-COVID. Yeah. Watching that and just I watched that during COVID going, oh, it was nice when we could do this with mates. Yeah. Plus, it's a really good Rumble match. So, what about yourself, Ross?
In terms of comfort moments in wrestling, there's only one that I watch on repeat. And it's one that sounds like this. It's Shane McMahon getting power bombed.
Shane McMahon hobbing a wonk.
Good mooning.
Yeah. The camera's on. The camera's been on the whole time, huh? Hello. Does sound a bit.
So yeah, this beetroot head, fantastic scenes.
Giant red head.
That and also Rock and Hogan at WrestleMania X8.
yeah.
Puts a smile on the face.
Whatever. What about you, Tom?
It's my comfort watch is one of my favourite matches ever, which is Tyler Bate versus Walter from NXT UK Takeover Cardiff. Gorgeous match to watch. Like, it just tells a lovely story. Really engaged crowd. Like, I also happily stick that match on and just watch it and have a lovely time with it. Another one I watched quite, as a comfort viewing is WrestleMania 15 randomly because it was the year I had a little spell where I wasn't watching wrestling, so I missed sort of the New Generation era and the beginning of the Attitude era. I got back into it in January 1999, and that was the first Mania I remember staying up late to watch. So I was like captivated by like how cool WrestleMania was, and of course, historically, Mania 15 is not massively well remembered in comparison to what it would become. But I always felt quite special. So it's one of those shows that always sort of takes me back to a younger, more simpler time. And that turn by Triple H on turning his back on DX during the corporation.
Yeah. And one the same night, yeah.
Yowzers.
No.
Yowzers.
Oh, well, thank you
He
for
made
that.
a mess in his trousers.
Thank you, Amanda. Hi, lads. You asked on the last podcast about the reactions to Dominic Mysterio on Raw and if they were real or not. Ooh, okay. And while I can't confirm if there was an actual lessening of his mic's volume, they weren't plugging in fake noise. It was one of the loudest reactions of the night in Norfolk. I mean, just to interrupt, maybe they're going to say something different here, but like, I don't think anyone was saying that the noise of the crowd was being altered with, maybe. But they definitely lowered his mic.
Yeah.
They definitely. There's I don't care what that one the employee last week was complaining on Twitter about. Nah, you did. Also, like every time they come here, they play that old clip of DX outside of Nitro. Oh, it was in Norfolk, VA. And the tank looks a little smaller every year because it's a Jeep. Anyways,
away.
my favorite part of the podcast is the NXT review.
Yes.
That being my favorite brand, I was the one who made the multiple maps of NXT land, lol. But I worry most of the time that Ross is the only one who likes it. That's not true.
I worry about this more and more each week, especially this week with you, Maffew.
I like talking about it with you, sometimes more than I enjoy watching NXT
You
by
were
myself.
a proper cum dragon this week while speaking about NXT.
The good bits were good.
You know.
The good bits were good.
Never get a cum dragon and a soup dragon mixed up. It will
Exactly.
spoil your dinner.
Spoil the broth. But I worry most of the time that Ross didn't want to. It isn't perfect, but ever since the start of 2022, the week-to-week of it has been better than most of the majority will give it credit for. Well, I agree with that. At least until the last few months or so of actual recognition for it. All in all, do you actually enjoy NXT? Like, actually. P.S. I've also been sending in the rankings of the Hall of Fame at the end of the year. Oh, thank you. And since he's avoiding the Italian restaurant, Jack hasn't won an actual nomination since the end of March. One of the longest, if not the longest, losing streaks. Love, Chop.
Wow.
Thank you, Chop.
So it's a dirty protest against Jack not going to the Italian
I
restaurant.
hadn't thought about people not voting because he's a coward.
He just needs to do it, doesn't he? He just needs to get out the way and get it done.
Well, the thing is, now that this has been brought to the fore, that is now a fait accompli. Whatever Jack says now won't win.
We need to pay attention and go, all right, so yeah, Jack. Well, Jack's gonna nominate everything. I'll nominate Gandhi for the Hall of Fame.
Don't do that. I tried that trick once, remember?
You have not. Oh yeah, World
Can you remember some of the things that you nominated?
Princess Diana.
Yeah.
That's as far as we'll go with that one. Well, the gag was I'd nominate more and more,
Yeah.
as the weeks went on. And it backfired. I had to apologise.
Look, you meant well.
I did mean well. I didn't mean offence, but people took offence to it.
Yeah, I can certainly see why they would.
Not
right?
here to upset people, so I apologised and stopped doing
Yeah,
it.
if you meant to annoy people, I can see why. But like you actually had good intentions. And but good for you
Just
for
to win
going.
the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, good for you for going. All right, this hasn't worked. Like NXT, which has changed from doing a lot of stuff that was crap, and there are a bunch of stuff on the show that is silly. But I do enjoy watching Delightful Hudson, for example, Ilya Dragunov, that wee lad with the big vein. Ooh, Drake Willie, Kamala Hayes. They're just 2, 3, or 4, 5 different
Gallus?
reasons. Tefty Strats, shut up, no.
DJ Yif.
Okay, yeah, DJ Yip makes me laugh.
Dijak.
This week, yeah.
I'll be honest, like right at the start of our Rainbow NXT 2.0, my opinions and thoughts on it were a little bit satirical, like, because me and Tom always say wrestling's at its best when it's proper silly bollocks.
Yeah.
And that's what it was, and that was bringing it all back for the first time in many years, because wrestling, by and large, takes itself so seriously now. It's all about the matches. It's not about the characters, so to speak, at the very top level. So to see NXT just go balls to the wall with these wacky characters that were straight out the 90s, I was like, yes, lap it all up. And I know that lots of people at home hated the NXT review when it first started on here on the podcast, but I was like, yes, we're getting gimmicks back, stupid stuff in wrestling. I'm here to eat it all up.
Could you say that the success of NXT would inspire guys like MJF, Adam Cole, who've just been doing silly bollocks character stuff?
That's a
and
prime
they main
example.
evented Wembley with it.
Exactly, the kangaroo kick.
Yep.
The little promo segments they were doing, the
clothesline.
build-up to it, the double clothesline as well. Yeah. It's an example of how characters and promos and stuff like that always will supersede 5-star matches.
Yep.
And it's NXT, it's become a bit more balanced. Like the matches have come and crept up on our level with the silly gimmicks now, so there is a nice balance of the two of them, I should say. But I love NXT. It's the most consistently interesting. If you're watching every segment with a fine-tooth comb like we do every week, it's the most consistently interesting show. There's never a sleeper segment. There's always something stupid or something that progresses a storyline or a banger match. It's the best.
Yeah, and the Creed brothers and things like that.
It's not the best.
It's the big thing is it's unapologetic. It is what it is. It does what it does. It doesn't try and be everything for everyone. It just knows its lane, and you either love it or you hate it. And if you don't like it, then you don't watch it, and it's not your thing. You get angry about it. But if you love it, then you are in the universe that is treating you on every 15 minutes with something. So, and I think that's for me, that's a massive part of its appeal. Like whether you love it or whether you hate it, it's unapologetically what it is.
Yeah.
And we all need to be a bit like that, really.
Yeah, I will enjoy it when it's good and laugh at it when it's bad. So I get full when I watch NXT.
Yeah.
Ahoy, hoy, diddlers, and Joel. Oh, that's it. You're an honorary diddler. I will keep this short, so I can imagine this podcast is going long. You said it. I've written multiple times, and most times you ignore me. But you have answered at least one question. It was around the time my grandmother passed away early in the summer. Quick update, she is still not alive. That's what it says, by the way.
If you want death-related news,
God, what? No, we don't.
How's my look, right? You know the song Do You Remember? It's that day today, the 21st of September.
21st night of September.
Yeah, my dad died on the 21st of September. How's my look?
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh, mate.
Imagine me growing up and going, hey, do you remember?
And as a matter of fact, yes, I'll never forget that date.
And I love dropping that fact on people. I only say this because on the football podcast this week, subscribe to Hold and Give, we're speaking about Jack Frost with Michael Keaton. And I like to make people feel awkward.
Oh, no, go
I
on.
like to make people feel awkward in sort of these situations. I dropped it on Jarkins for the first time.
Yeah.
I used to watch that when I was a kid when it was snowing and think, Dad, are you there? And the way Jarkins would react, it was fantastic.
Oh, God.
If you're not going to laugh, you're going to cry.
I might cry.
That
mate,
song,
bless you.
I'm the only guy in the world who can't listen to that song, I bet.
Bless you, mate.
Don't tell
Jesus.
Christian Cage that, for goodness sake.
No.
Imagine Is Christian on Cameo? What a way to make a living out of it.
I will call you
Ross.
or whatever. Like,
I hear you have a father.
Anyway.
And your father is dead.
anyway, please.
Starts playing it on Spotify now.
Can we just go back to this? It really brightened my day. I want to say thank you. As you can imagine, a couple of secrets were exposed during the ceremony, and I was wondering if you have some. Question. Are there any wrestlers that you have legit hit? What? Yeah, I'll move on from that. If you can't say them, explain why there is heat there. I want to thank you all for making content that really does entertain us. Fingers crossed, no big news. Come out minutes after you post this, like CM Punk winning a women's championship or something even more absurd. Like, I don't know, Ryback being employed. Much love from Sunderland. That says a lot. FC Hall of Famer Adam John. Oh, you bag of bastards. Oh, okay, Stuart from Bristol.
You ignore my questions, love. And then you sign off with that. Come on now, Stuart.
Thank you, Stu. What a roller coaster that was. Up and down like a horse draws.
But the question was, in case you missed it, do we have any legitimate heat with any wrestlers around the world? Maffew?
I wonder whether the man who hosts the wrestling version of You've Been Framed has any heat with wrestlers.
Yes, seeing as you said it like that, yeah, me and Mandy Dingle are here. I've said all the important ones, really, over the years. Joe Gacy, I think we're all cool with it now, but that's all right. Did he hit now? I think it was just moved on.
Who were they, just for people who might have missed that back in the day?
Oh, Joe Gacy didn't like me because he just decided to go on Twitter one day and was just like, how do people know, how does Maffew decide what's a botch and what isn't? And I replied, by watching your matches. It was great. He was the ultimate setup line, that guy. And I was just like... Joe Gacy's on the lips, a lot of people's lips today. Lots of people are saying, who's Joe Gacy? Am I starting to Maffew? All this stuff, which is hard. Look. This was like 10 years ago when he was rough. It's not the Joe Gacy of today. It's very much improved. Much more, better body, better talker. I know I say that sarcastically because of NXT, but no, he is. So yeah, no, he's all good. He follows me on Twitter now. I think it's, whatever. I'm not holding a grudge for that long. Jesus.
No, he's got a lot going on with the schism tree.
Yeah.
Withering away.
Yeah. And I believe I haven't been asked. I don't know if anybody else has ever asked him, and it'd be funny if they did. I'm not encouraging you to do so because I respect the hell of his ability, and I think he's a great, amazing wrestler. I don't think Speedball Mike Bailey likes me, which is fine. Yeah, again, wrestlers are completely vindicated by not liking me. It's fine. I'm not gonna go. I can't believe they don't like me. It's actually understandable. I'm a get.
They're completely vindicating hating all of us. Who are we to comment on wrestling?
Exactly.
Mustafa Ali has heat with Jack.
I was on Jack's side on that one though. Jack got him.
Yeah, but now we can maybe get him from interview. We'll be like, oh, well, hey.
Exactly.
What about you, Ross?
Yeah, back in the day, I don't know who, but there was a certain American import for WCPW who let me know that my videos used to get passed around the locker room, and certain 3 or 4 individuals who were named, I don't want to name because some of them are still there, they didn't like me taking the piss, so that's fair enough. JBL blocked, obviously, as a big one from back in the day that I think is unequivocally there. I got called an arsehole by, oh my God, who the hell was it? I've forgotten. During lockdown, for saying, good news, everybody, there's no 2K, the game after the one that everyone hated.
Oh.
Jeff Cobb.
That was it.
Jeff Cobb called me an arsehole.
Yeah, Jeff, I think they had the weird mindset of like, yeah, people aren't going to get money for that. And everyone's like, it was like one of the worst games of all time, right?
Yeah, that viewed it like as a fan would.
No. Fans should just buy them. Like,
yeah,
worst game of all time. Whatever. You're not a real fan.
Yeah,
it was a weird hill to like look at.
That's the last like public one I can remember of.
I don't think Jeff Cobb even remembers, so don't worry about it.
So yeah, I don't know. I just assume wrestlers don't watch our content.
Hello, mother.
Hello, Tom's mum. Tom, what about yourself?
Rhea Ripley's not my mum.
Apart from all the indie people who you're ignoring now. Do you have heat with anybody? Because you can crush them like a grape now.
I fell out with Zion Quinn last year.
Oh.
I did a list, maybe a year before. I did a list. I do a sort of sporadic list video on the channel, which takes the temperature of wrestlers and sort of. So it was like, who will be the breakout stars of NXT going forward? Yeah. So I went through the roster and sort of went, who's hot, who's lukewarm, who's cold. And I said Zion Quinn was cold. And I didn't think any more of it. It's not my place to say, but I didn't think any more of it until maybe 2 days later. I woke up in the morning and I had just a tweet that was from Zion Quinn. It's at Tom Campbell. And it was that Jack Nicholson freezing outside gif from The Shining. And I was like, and then I just sent like a Jack Nicholson one back with sunglasses doing thumbs up. And then I think he sent me another one back of Jack Nicholson, of like something cold. And I was just like, that's the only interaction we've had. Every so often, if he does something, there was a period where if he did something really hot on TV, then he'd reply underneath it with a tweet from me with the Jack Nicholson thing. So I think he took it bad, and I get it. I'm nobody. I'm a mouth who likes wrestling and talks about wrestling. And you know what? Maybe there's a greater argument of being more respectful of people who do it day to day. It certainly wasn't meant as an attack on Zion Quinn, the person. It was just me viewing a TV product.
Yep.
It's the same as me going, who's hot or cold in EastEnders? I don't think Phil Mitchell's running the Queen Vic anytime soon. That's how it is. It's not an attack on Steve McFadden, the actor. It's more like the character stuff. So that's what it was.
But as we said before, the Ali thing, the only people who take offense to that stuff are people who know that they're not hot.
Yeah.
Like Ali again was like, "How dare you, Jack?" And Jack was like, "No, it's this." Other people who said that stuff or said things too, they don't care. But Ali knew, like, okay.
That's because Ali said it as a direct quote and then claimed he didn't.
Yeah. Then again, why would he get worried about that? Oh, because he's worried that he's in the position that he's in. I wasn't very well worded, but I knew what I meant. And I meant what I said.
Yeah, this was months ago, though, we should say as well. Not a recent thing, him and Jack. Was it months ago or years ago?
It was like weeks ago.
Was it weeks ago?
Years ago?
Was it yesterday?
No, it was, I believe the last time I was on the podcast was around the time. It was the time before the last time. 'Cause I
Like
know
maybe
it
a
was,
month, maybe like 3-4 weeks.
maybe about a month and a half ago.
Really? Years ago?
It was.
How many years is it?
It was over the summer.
Oh, Joel.
Shelton Benjamin has been released.
Oh,
Again,
man.
Oh, yeah, right. They
Him and Cedric were flirting.
had that one tag match, maybe 2 tag matches. Because, yeah, Cedric got to go, "Hi, mommy. Hi, dickhead."
Shelton, man. So with the company for, part of the Minnesota Stretching Crew, 2000, 2001 in OVW.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, Brock Lesnar went and did Brock Lesnar things. He came up as part of Team Angle in 2003. Him and Charlie Haas, they became a phenomenal team, and they split them up because Benjamin was being pushed as a solo guy. He got a great run on Raw, pinned Triple H in 2004.
Yep.
The super kick was Shawn.
That super kick spot with Shawn
More of the
Michaels.
bank appearances.
Won the IC title Taboo Tuesday when he wasn't meant to be in the match, and won the belt
That's
anyway.
right, yes.
Get in, lads.
His mom turned up.
Yeah, cheers.
Mama Benjamin and Viscera did a weird skit, I seem to remember. That was a thing.
The gold standard was good.
Standard in ECW, in WWE ECW, I should say. And then just floated around.
Japan he went to for a bit, didn't he? And
Yeah.
came back.
It's Shelton X Benjamin, which to shippers means he's in love with himself. His last match on Raw was July, losing the Indus shirt. That's right.
He's been doing
2
stuff
minutes.
on Main Event with Cedric Alexander.
Yeah, he's been on Main Event
Yeah.
and losing and okay.
And not getting along with me, him on Twitter. Kayfabe thing, of course.
They have great chemistry.
Yeah.
And then just kind
Part
of
of the
been
Hurt
around.
Business, the first incarnation of the Hurt Business.
He replaced
Yes.
Jason Jordan in a tag team. Do you remember those days? American Alpha
Yeah.
on
yeah.
SmackDown with Chad.
Oh yeah, they didn't get
That
together.
should
That's
have
right.
been, that should have been gold, really, with Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable. It was like American Alpha and the world's greatest tag team amalgamated.
How long does this come back? When did he come back?
I'm sure he's
2016.
Was it 26? Yeah.
Did he do stuff behind the scenes as well, or was he still front of house, still like a performer as
You
well?
imagine he must have done.
I imagine he must have dabbled with it.
Yeah.
'cause-
Yeah, Chad and Shelton. Jeez, yeah, I forgot about that. Feud with the Uso. Yeah. Stop it. Well, it's only twice in one podcast.
I know.
That's all right. Bloody hell.
I don't know how to say that.
Okay. Yeah.
Shame, eh?
Shame. 48 years old.
Is he?
Wow.
Christ.
Wow.
He looks amazing.
Don't we all? And you can look amazing as Shelton Benjamin by sending a question or thought to mailbag@cultaholic.com. We have to do something to end this podcast, all right? Wrist piss.
Let's go. Pick it up.
Bonjour, lads, as they say in the States. Bonjour. Recently, a lot of these Reese's Pieces have been focused on your main sports or the classic combination of this person and that person in a fight, but no more. Today, chaps, we'll be giving recognition to much maligned sports on this podcast by having our very own Riss Olympus. That's good. That's good. In this wild world, all the wrestlers ever have accidentally turned up to the Paris 2024 Olympics instead of the Olympians, who now have ended up in that cesspool, Philadelphia, for an AEW Collision booking. Oh, no. The travel company says they'll have it all sorted out for the next day. So naturally, Tony Khan cancels Collision because CM Punk isn't there. Ooh. Anywho, that's what it says there. Anywho, you know that old saying in the Olympics, the show must go on, brother. So which of these wrestlers will be picking up the opening points or medals, I don't know, for their countries? Did you get all of that?
Yeah.
The Olympics
Liars.
is happening with wrestlers with hilarious results.
Representing the country of America, the Dudleys versus the Canadians, Edge and Christian, the table tennis match.
Nice.
Edge and Christian always won. Got to give it to them.
That is true, yeah.
I'll say Dudley's.
Okay, well, I say Edge and Christian because they did always win those. Diving, the Great Khali versus Omos.
Whoever
What?
dives ain't coming back up.
Diving, all right.
The Great Khali's leg strength is not there, so I reckon he'll be better at falling from a great height.
I'm going to go with Omos as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's got Lesnar to push him off, yeah. Ric Flair versus Jeff Jarrett in the figure 4 skating.
Ric Flair, I think.
No, Double J.
Double J is...
He can strut, can't he, with more
Yeah.
timing these days. Is this taking place 2024? Yeah.
Yeah. Jarrett's the greatest politiker in the history of wrestling. So, yes, of course he's winning. He'll politic his way into winning the Olympics. Shooting. Oh, God. Cash Wheeler versus Arn Anderson.
Cash really has a gun, so Cash.
How great was it? Like 2 or 3 weeks ago, that was all everyone was talking about. So much stuff's happened. It's like, oh, who cares, Cash?
Oh,
Carry all
Joe's
the
back.
guns.
Sorry to interrupt. Dolph Ziggler's gone.
Whoa!
No! I thought he was going to just be there forever.
I saw his brother
Wow.
tweet out a picture where I thought he was just taking the piss of like the AEW tag titles, and one of them had the TNT. Maybe they knew a couple of days ago.
I think people in the locker room have all gone.
Yeah.
Come on.
So Dolph's been there since what, 2005?
Earlier?
Yeah, earlier than that, but
So
on
he was-
TV, on TV as the
Spirit
Kerwin
Squad.
White
Yeah, Kerwin
caddy,
Gosh, yeah.
then the Spirit Squad, then the rejigging of "Hi, I'm Dolph Ziggler," stupid name, then the amazing run, that god tier run he had. Don't let like the last 10 years or whatever get in the way of things of how good this guy was
Yeah.
when he was at his best. Entering himself in the Rumble at number 1 and going, yeah, I'm doing that willingly because I'm the best. I'm going to win. And people going, yeah, you might. God, he was good.
There's no way you can convey how like they never seized the opportunity with him, especially.
They
Survivor
came
Series
close
2014.
so many times.
Yeah, when he
Oh,
was the
yeah.
sole survivor, and then he went on and did what? Nothing.
I think he made Tyler Breeze look good. That was the thing. He lost to him. There was a follow-up or something
So that
like
was the
that.
thing.
but-
When I remember when we started doing content for the YouTubes, it was always someone goes from NXT in their first feud is Dolph Ziggler, and that went
That
on
was
for
it,
weeks. That's
yeah.
that's the role he had for much of the last 8 years.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the Monday Val Venus. He was that gatekeeper you had to beat to just establish yourself. His last match, May 29th, going to double count out with JD McDonald Google Me.
Yeah, I remember that.
Vaguely remember that. Then it was
JD got the steps involved, didn't he?
there was a Battle Royal, and then there's just like nothing. And then he's just in Battle Royals. Oh, and then he lost to Gunther in March.
The best thing he's done in recent
In
years,
5
which is
minutes.
a sad thing to say, is that match against Goldberg.
Oh,
Where he kept going,
so
is that
good.
all you've got? Ah!
I remember.
Yes.
I remember we were doing. We were watching that live.
Yeah.
And I picked Dolph to win. And there was a moment at the start of that match where even you did a little number 2 in your number 2s because there was a bit where Dolph got him, and we're like, oh my god,
Yeah.
they're gonna do it, and then Goldberg just cut him in half with a goddamn spear,
Yeah.
and that was it. I remember watching that, and as this spear just cut Ziggler in half. You roar like a lion. It's great. It's on the channel still.
Yeah.
Find it. I think Dolph's biggest curse, and it sounds like a weird thing to say, a big curse of Dolph Ziggler, he's so bloody good and so bloody adaptable that they never wanted to commit to him doing anything in particular because you could slot him in at any point in the card on any sort of faction, heel, face, whatever, tag team, singles wrestler. He was so good at everything that you wouldn't want to lose such an amazing all-rounder from just the general pool in case.
Yeah.
And that was weirdly his biggest curse.
Yeah, there's a clip of Scott Hall one time. It saw Terry Funk at a thing and said, "Hey, Terry, I just want to thank you for the advice you gave me. A while ago, I had a match to make the other guy look good." And Terry said, "Don't get used to making others look that good. Otherwise, that's all you'll do." Mm-hmm. Dolph seemed to love how well he could bump and make people look good. He was with the Dirty Dogs with Bobby Roode. Who
the Dirty Dogs?
They would wear their merch to the ring, which you could not buy on WWE.com. It was just shirts they made for themselves. And it was like, okay, we're on borrowed time here, lads. Unexpectedly, beat Bron Breakker for the NXT title, just, I guess, so they could get the rub by then Bron beating him on Raw.
Yeah.
Looked better on paper than in execution because the NXT crowd went, what? And the Raw crowd went, who are you?
It's just
But still.
because there were so many times when he sort of got there and then he did something to knock him right back down again. It just happened so many times. I remember just losing like the investment because you knew it was never going anywhere with it, which is a massive shame to say, but that's the way it was.
But very, very consistent.
Yeah.
I think we all, a lot of people, including myself, took him for granted because it's like, he's always going to be here, right? And just in that position of going, well, why would I want to go elsewhere? There's nowhere else to go. Maybe he will be elsewhere, but hey, good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can go say hello to his old friend. Was it Amy Schumer? Saying that seems like the best sex she'd ever had and all this stuff. Be like, oh, shut up,
as
Dolph.
well. It was Sonny shagged her for 9 hours or something, didn't he? I saw a video clip of Sonny.
Sonny?
Yeah.
There was a story of them too.
Like, she was hosting an event or something when a pay-per-view was on. And she's like, watch, if Dolph Ziggler does a wink and a nudge or something when he's walking down the ramp, that means what I've been saying is true. And he did it. I've seen that clip somewhere.
Oh.
It's a shame to drag it up now, but there you go.
Oh, well, anyway, Dolph, thank you very much for the memories.
Way I.
Yeah, all the best going forward. I think this is I think this is the beginning of more. I could see him having a Matt Cardona-esque run on the Indies. Like reinventing, redesigning, rebuilding.
If he even wants to.
If he wants
I bet he's made a fair few million.
Yeah.
I hope
over
so,
the
yeah.
past 20 odd years.
Ziggler talked about being dumped by Amy Schumer because the sex was, quote, too athletic. He was doing bumps.
Making Amy look good.
Tsunami!
Speaking of bumps, in one of the weirdest podcasts we've ever done.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Alpine skiing. Ludwig Borger versus Vladimir Kozlov.
I'm gonna say Vladimir.
Vladimir's more playful.
Alpine ski. What?
Down the hill.
Yeah, but
Like
like
ski free.
Finland versus Ukraine. What? Or whatever. Borger. Whatever. I'm saying Borger because I'm hungry. Bobsleigh. Brian Danielson, John Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, and their little boy Wheeler Yuta versus Evil Uno, John Silver, their little boy Brody Lee Jr. And because Alex Reynolds is missing through a pre-tournament injury, Kofi Kingston of the Jamaican Darkroom Order.
Well, because you're throwing Kofi in there, there's only one winner. Even though I think he's Ghana officially, but he was Jamaican for a period.
He was, yes. And he'd have the bobsled as one of his moves, the names of his moves.
I think in Dark Run Order, as long as John Candy can be their manager.
Exactly. Yeah, sure. Futsal, no Americans, because have you seen American kick a ball? Sheamus, Pac, Drew, Mason Ryan, Myla Grace versus Rene Dupree, Kane, what? Giovanni Vinci. What's happening with this? Ludwig
Rene
Reiser and
Dupree
Balder.
is French, Spanish, Italian, German, and Austrian. So
Kane's from Estonia? Oh, okay.
No, Spain.
No, Spain. Born in Madrid, wasn't he?
It's just ES
He
here.
was born on a military
España.
base.
Oh, right.
Kane, Spanish wrestling audiences consider Kane one of their own. So when WWE do shows in Kane, he's like a superhero returning home.
When they do shows in Kane. Look, it's been a really long, weird podcast.
Kane in Spain falls mainly on the Kane.
Tonight in Kane. It's Kane.
Carlos Romo told me on a very
Whatever.
intense Island Graps that Kane was a superhero in.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I'm picking Sheamus because of his workouts.
I'm picking the European nations there because they always beat the English.
I'm picking the English.
And the
Mason
Scottish
Ryan.
in terms of Drew.
Right.
And the Irish in terms of Sheamus.
Yes. Yes, I know it's summer and winter combined. It's the Olympics. Who cares that much? All the best, lads. Former Tottenham, Sunderland, and Finland left back Timu Tano.
Tinyo, yeah.
Tinyo, beg your pardon. Bloody hell. Well, thank you very much, Timu. I'm sure you weren't expecting it to be that dramatic at Reese's Pieces, but if you have any others, there's just as nuts as that. Well, they all are, let's face it. Mailbag@cultaholic.com. Can we get through the next segment before Joel interrupts? 3, 2, 1. Okay, we're good.
Dolph Ziggler even made Reese's Pieces look good.
Yay! Nice, Tom. Nice.
It's Cultaholics.
Well, before we get to the big question, thank you to the producers, Reno2200,
Those double dirty digits.
Noah Anderson,
Anderson back out of his bride.
Dankeschön, producers. Well, it's been a crazy podcast this week, even more so than usual. So the big question this week is going to be, who of the how can I even word this? Of the
Released.
released WWE stars is going to be the most successful
So
these are the people we currently know. This podcast is recorded on a Thursday.
It's currently
almost a live edition this week.
It's currently 5:15 BST
Good God, of course
in the
it is.
afternoon or the early evening. That's the tweet I was referencing a couple of days ago that Owen's just shared in our work chat. It's got Dolph Ziggler with the AEW World title and tag team title.
That is one of the most rubbishly edited things I've ever seen a wrestler put out. Did they put that?
Nemeth put it out. Right.
Nemeth put that out.
do you want to send that to Joel so we can whack it on the screen?
It's on in the morning news chat there, Joel.
Nemeth put that. Why?
So that's there's the dog again.
Don't put it on. Put the bears on again.
I think the Fat Bears will do the best from the WWE releases. All of them. 747.
There you go. Good on VOC.
There we go.
Look at that. That's what the graphics look like in like 2002.
It was just a thing off
Champion Chris Jericho.
You know what?
The floating
What
belt.
date's on that, Joel? On that? The 18th. So they've known about this for a couple of days now. Surely.
What a good brother Ryan Nemeth is to go, hey, Dolph, you'll be the world champ.
How small are they?
I'll be the TNT champ.
They're not to scale.
Photoshop John Iley looking at that and fuming.
But I think...
Don't tease me with greatness, Mr. Hunk, says Tanner.
To answer the question, I think it
Matt
will
Jackson
be Ziggler.
has responded to it.
Oh, has he?
The Nemeth
Yes,
versus
please.
The Young Bucks.
Here, take my money, says Matt Jackson, out of
That's not
context.
the real one.
Oh.
Catch us
Right.
out.
So there have been numerous, jeez, I can't speak, sorry, it's been a very long podcast. Numerous people released.
So the question that we've come up with was one that we decided on as the podcast was in progress because this was a story that was breaking. And by the time that you see this, I mean, you hate to say it, but there is a strong possibility that there might have been more names that have been released since the time this podcast finished. So if there are some glaring omissions from people who we think will do well, bear in mind it's because we didn't know they'd been released at the time of recording.
But why didn't you say X and X, Tom?
Because I'm not a time traveler, you weirdo. Calm down.
I see you coming. I can see you. I think there's two clear answers. I think Ziggler's one of them. Based off what Tom was saying earlier about a Matt Cardona-esque run, reinvention sort of thing. And Ali's the other one. I think that's the two that stick out to me.
Two good picks. I'm going to pick Shelton Benjamin just because, God, he's good.
Yeah, he is.
Look at him. 48. No way.
That's ridiculous, isn't it? Ridiculous.
No way.
Cardona's
Much
just
love.
tweeted himself, to those who were just released,
Of course.
this can be the end of your career or it can just be the beginning. Look at yourself in the mirror and decide. I promise you the work and the money is out there. It's not easy. It's a grind. It's a hustle. It's frustrating. But also, there's another thing coming, I guess, but it's not on
I think you
tweet.
have to click it now because when you go over 200 characters, it doesn't show the entire preview.
Ah, see you now, Tom.
So you
I
might
barely
need
use
to-
x.com these days.
So you might, yeah. So
not?
there you go.
Oh, there it goes. But also be incredibly rewarding, in more ways than one. If you work your effing ass off. I hope to see you a lot down the road.
Well, if there's one man that's turned a negative into a positive, it's Matt Cardona.
Oh, yeah.
Ever since
big
getting,
star.
Zach got pushed off the ring by Kane in the wheelchair. Then Cena kissed his lass. Yeah, he went, nah, I'm going to do what I like. I'm going to play with toys all day. I'm going to have the other lad. What's that guy's name? I forget his indie name.
Brian Myers.
That's it, Brian Myers. I knew like that lad.
The team more I'm intrigued by is Matt Cardona and Steph DeLander. Like Steph DeLander is very much, gone under the learning tree with Matt Cardona and just makes a name for herself as this deathmatch star. She's brilliant. She's great, Steph DeLander. But in terms of the crop that have been released, I genuinely think that there is bags of money waiting for Dolph Ziggler, as and when and should he choose to grab them with his hands. Really, like a chance to really find that creative energy and be the person that you always wanted to be. And be the wrestler you always wanted to be. We may have somebody who can add to the list.
Some bad news for Ross. NXT cuts will be coming later tonight.
Oh, get out of town. They're ending the future
do you
before it's
think-
even begun.
Do you think
Don't say
Because-
Terry Spunk.
because he's in the hospital?
No, he's the heart and soul of the place. They found the gimmick that works. You've been tabled. Everyone loves it.
Everyone loves
Can you
Everyone.
buy that shirt on www.shop.com?
Yes, you can.
Go on, shows it.
I can't.
That's not a good sign.
I think it's a worrying.
5 Eastern time. What time's that over here?
What time is it now, you mean?
Amari Miller's just tweeted with a heartbreaking emoji. We're just seeing live now. She's NXT.
So they may be starting in earnest. Tennille Dashwood, was part of that really lovely and the Knockouts division in Impact. I know we talk about them a lot, but I will never stop giving flowers to the Impact Wrestling Knockouts division because they are such a wild assortment of wrestlers of different backgrounds and styles, and it really feels like a vibrant division. And I remember Tenille Dashwood being a really interesting part of that mix, so much so that it led her back to WWE, and I could see her maybe dipping in again and doing something there. But I still think Dolph Ziggler's going to be a standout in terms of releases. Shelton Benjamin, I would love to see Shelton Benjamin in the mix on Ring of Honor. If they were willing to put someone like that on Ring of Honor, I think his style really fits that kind of wrestling.
You know who else I'm excited to see? Because he's good at social media, is Rick Boogs. Rick Boogs, that's how I first became aware of him, by just him doing stuff on Instagram. So I'm intrigued to see how if any of these people want to stay in wrestling, it's a different thing, I guess. But if he wants to stay in,
he was on NXT very briefly, wasn't he?
Yeah, playing his air guitar and whatnot.
That's right.
But yeah, he used social media very well back in the day. So whether he does that now to further an indie career, I'm excited to see.
Now, obviously, there's not much more we can add to it at this point.
Yeah, so we do have to end the podcast at some point. Yeah. So rather than speculate on who's going to be doing next, which isn't the nicest thing in the world.
No, it's a horrible thing to do.
So we'll just say, look, sorry to hear that this has happened to you, but as Matt Condona says, as one door shuts, another one opens.
There's a phenomenal opportunity to go out there and really do something fantastic, and it is difficult when these things come through. I've not been part of it in the wrestling world. I've certainly been part of it in the radio world, and I'm sure we've all been in positions where we've been let go from jobs that we love, and all of a sudden you go, okay, where do we go from here? But there's always, for as long as you can wake up the next day, there is always another day, and there's always another chance to do great things and be great. So long may that remain for everybody who goes out from here. Bet on yourself.
It's not the end. It's just the beginning.
So, and they were saying that from Cultaholic, which is a company that's full of people betting on themselves.
Professional guy.
Lovely. Well, let us get through the ending bit then and say thank you very much for joining us. Tom, what have you got for us until next week?
Brand new Classic Smackdown review on the podcast feed tomorrow. If you want to join us for that, myself and Maffew Greg watching every episode of SmackDown from the very beginning, and we are in 2002, and what an exciting episode of SmackDown we talk about tomorrow morning. The night that Vince McMahon looked straight in the mirror and decided to inject a lethal dose of
Sprite.
That's right. That's why I went away. So that's on the podcast feed. If you don't already...
Cornet written backwards on the chair.
Chances are you are hearing this on the podcast feed, but if you watch it on the YouTube channel, search Cultaholic wherever you get your podcasts from, like Apple Podcasts or Spotify or any of those. I know Stitcher's gone, which is a shame. But anywhere you get your podcasts from, we put out daily news podcasts and exclusive interviews, loads of other good stuff as well. There's loads of really cool interviews coming up, which I can't talk about just yet because they haven't happened and I don't want to jinx them. But subscribe to the podcast feed. You get stuff pretty much every day of the week. Ross?
There's a new Rise and Fall in the works about Bertie Del Rio, but that's still in the oven for a little while to come yet.
Oh, wow.
It's a riveting one. But in terms of that, I've just been more focused on the football side of things today. So subscribe to Hold and Give, which is a football YouTube channel and podcast feed, which does stuff about football. There's a new episode of the Friday Fun Club out. Joel stars in that. It's a fantastic time. It's just basically games about the soccer. But also, I've done a video about Shrek as well. In the wrestling.
Lovely.
It's a load of bollocks.
A video about Shrek.
Don't be daft.
I've been waiting to see a video like this about Shrek in terms of wrestling ever since I saw the first film.
This is your second connection to Shrek because this week...
I look like him.
No. Because this week, we haven't mentioned it, you made your radio debut on BBC Radio Newcastle.
All courtesy of yourself, Tom.
Yeah, we got
How
you
does that
on.
link to Shrek?
Really?
Because... 20 minutes before you were on, my guest was a lady called Cece Howells, who is one of the stars of the Shrek Rave that is touring the UK and is going to be in November at Newcastle Riverside.
I was terrified you were going to say the Shrek musical then, because have you seen that on Netflix?
Oh, I have.
Yeah. Wonderful time.
I couldn't even get through the trailer.
No, this is a 6-hour rave that people are invited to, which involves party games, dancing, karaoke, and there's a competition to eat an entire onion and you get 50 quid. It's wild. And a friend of mine is in it, so I said, "You come." So we had talk of the Shrek rave, and then 20 minutes later, Ross was already in Newcastle talking about the Newcastle-Milan game.
And the best thing is, if you go to the Shrek rave, every single disco biscuit is shaped like the gingerbread man. Pop 3 of them, you'll be up for days.
You're a monster. Maff.
I'll be listening to Smash Mouth when I get in, I think. Now I've been about me out. Now I've dealt with my desk and no longer have RSI. Great, yay. Up the spine. And I'll just be chilling and probably look at my phone for the next few hours going, all right, here we go. And sending messages to people that used to talk to me online going, hope you're all right.
Cool.
I guess. And then going, how dare you talk to me, Maffew, you'll freak. But until then, mailbag at cultaholic.com, patreon.com/cultaholic. This has been the magnificent Tom. This has been the wonderful Ross. This has been the awesome Joel behind the camera.
Cheers, lads.
Who now has a microphone.
You went,
Just in case it's
have
not
a
conveying
voice.
on Joel's microphone, he's whispering in the studio. It's very
you are having a very quiet voice. You need a big,
Am I?
booming Blackadder voice.
Do I
give
need
it the
to
big
speak
one.
up?
We'll end the podcast. But
Oh, yeah, you can do it, Joe. Yeah.
Choose what we do.
Oh, that's pressure.
Yeah. Thank you very much for listening and joining us and watching. Now Joel is going to say, hi, I'm Joel of Cultaholic on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Hi, I'm Joel from Cultaholic.
There you go. He's nailed it.
Wah, 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 wah.